Yuka can't really
Oh
argue with
boy,
that,
let's
so
get
he
this
agrees
party
to have a
started.
fight with him.
Okay.
And Cass isn't
So
taking
we
spells
get to
on
go
him.
into our
He
world
and Marina
now.
are handling the front line, so Marina charges forward.
We are going to go and finish
Zarnag
that mine
swaps
shaft off,
away
so I don't have to
evidence.
lose my damn
Yuka
mine.
tries
Oh
to use
yeah, I
his
forgot
weird
it's
status
Gloom
effects
Night.
on it.
Fuck.
And while it does disarray the
damn it.
Zarnag, it doesn't do much damage.
Well, I'm
to it.
gonna be. You know what?
He's
No,
running
I
low
don't
on
even
options.
care, dude.
Right now, there's only one thing in his arsenal that can stop this thing, so Yuka decides to go all or nothing. However, he will need Marina to buy
Put down
him
some
time so
rails.
he can finish casting the spell. Marina agrees to distract the beast so she gets up close to it, and does her best to keep its attention while
The
dodging
fuck
its
away
attacks.
from me, you little
And
shit.
even when she's about to get caught, Silk and Rain assist with their magic. Thanks to their combined efforts, Yuka had enough time to finish casting the level 5 spell, a highly destructive prismatic missile. And now
So, where is our base? It's this way?
after the prismatic missile hits, it doesn't look like it did much at first, but soon after, a monster begins coughing up blood, so it has been badly injured.
Get the hell
Rain
away
then
from
casts
me,
a
you little
grade 5
bastard.
Thunderbolt spell to electrocute the monster, and while it is
I feel like the
paralyzed,
torches
Yuka
will
orders
probably do
Marina
a good
to chop its
job.
head off. Marina charges forward and activates her magic sword while Yuka buffs her with a critical attack spell, and as a result, she's able to cleave the monster's head from its body in one swing. Now that's finally over, Yuka falls to his knees in relief because he can't believe they managed to defeat the monster.
Oh yeah, I know where
without
that
anyone
is. That's
dying and
funny.
back in town. All the spectators of the stream are equally as amazed, especially by the spell
Nice
Yuka
shot,
used,
bud.
because no one's
I'll
seen
try to
anything
remember
like it
that.
before. But there's always got to be that
What
one
a-
hit in the crowd. Back in the forest, Yuka is feeling a little lightheaded because of all the mana he had to use during the fight.
Probably went into the water now
He's
that I
still
think
in good
about it.
condition. He's glad everything worked out, but that fight was way too tough.
I wish
for
you could
him
make
to do
venom
like
sacs
that.
out of spider's
The
eye.
only
That'd be
reason they
very
managed to make it out
helpful.
alive was because they got lucky. He tells the girls that he's going to scold them later because of their reckless
I'm a little curious
behavior.
about where that
The girls
web
think
sac
Yuka
went.
was
I mean,
just as
venom
reckless
sac or
as they
whatever
were
the fuck
because
it's
he
called.
initially ran into battle alone. Totally
I
expected
knew I
him to
heard
be
something
self-killed,
crawling around in the
and that's
bushes.
unacceptable behavior. Yuka can't deny that he was prepared to sacrifice himself, so he compromises and says they can all talk about their
Out of my
later.
way,
For
losers.
now, they should probably wash themselves off since they are all covered in sweat, and Marina is covered in Zarnag blood. While the girls bathe in the river, Yuka starts setting up camp, and this whole thing brings back fond memories.
He poses no threat. He's just a waste of our
Back then,
time.
Yuka was in charge of training Marina's team, and he was impressed with how well the girls were adjusting to the job of adventuring. But there were a few areas.
Alright,
that could
fine.
improve it.
I'll fight.
Marina was a little clumsy, Silk was overly cautious, and Rain was really timid. But despite all that, with how well they were performing, if it
Out of the
wasn't for
way,
Yuka,
you
he would have
fucking,
given them
you
their D-rank adventurer
floozy.
licenses right then. Later that night, the girls had set up their tent, prepared firewood and alarms in case of monster attacks.
Huh.
And as Yuka watched them work back then, he could feel a sense of pride because he knew they would turn out to be great adventurers in the future.
How do
But
you
he
die
never
of
could have imagined
gloom?
that he would end
Oh,
up
this isn't
joining
where
the
my
party.
base is. What the
A
hell?
few days later, the party is back at the guild, and it looks like they've been summoned to meet the guild master.
Jesus, I was a ways off. What the
They
hell?
ask Yuka if this means they are in some kind of trouble, but he thinks this meeting is probably about the Zarnag they defeated. A mission like that should have been classified as B rank, however, for some reason it was marked as D rank.
I was about to say, did I really not pick up my damn torch, dude?
Just then, the guild master, Benwood, walks in, and the girls are so intimidated by his presence that they immediately stand at attention.
Cool.
He walks up to Yuka and demands that he explain himself.
Do I
But
want to
Yuka did
extend
not
this?
volunteer, so
Nah,
he
it'll
tells
just be a
Benwood
waste
that
of
he already
torches. I'll do that
provides all the
after.
relevant
Plus, I've already
information
almost
he
got
needs
enough
for
venom sacs.
the
I'm
guild
probably
to
fine. I don't even need to worry about
Benwood
that
isn't
shit anymore. It's
satisfied with
fine.
an objective
It's not a big
report, so he
deal.
demands a detailed explanation. But before they discuss anything, Yuka tells Benwood to drop the tough guy act.
What a bunch of fucking losers, dude. I did get another stack of mushrooms though, so that's pretty cool.
Casually, since he is a really powerful person.
Did I get any venom sacs, I wonder? Dude, are you kidding me? Am I really gonna get Gloom standing in front of my freaking thing?
Benwood tells
Hold
everyone
up.
they can sit down, and Benwood already knows what happened in the forest, but he wants to know what Yuka thinks about the whole
Okay,
situation.
well that's real funny.
Yuka
It's
tells him
12
that he
blocks
suspects that this
exactly
might
from
have been
right
a
here.
result of an
You know, actually, I've got a
overkill,
better
causing
idea. We're gonna
monsters
put
several
glowstone
levels
right
stronger
here.
than usual
Wait,
to
no, we
fear.
can't because then the light will get into my
Benwood
mob
realizes the
spawner and it
confusion
won't. Wait,
immediately has
would
the
it still work?
secretary issue an emergency investigation
They spawn no matter
to
what,
get to the
right?
bottom of it. Both Yuka and Benwood seem to understand how serious overflows can be. But Marina
Whatever,
has
I'm
no
not gonna
idea
worry
what
about
that
it. It's
is,
not that
so
big of a
she
deal.
asks Yuka for
2 mine
information.
carts, not bad, not bad.
Yuka tells her that an overflow is a phenomenon that occurs when a catalyst causes monsters in the dungeon to spill out. Usually, the monsters
Bing, bing,
that live
bong.
in the
Okay,
dungeon
cool.
are bound there by the mana that flows in the ground. But sometimes
Cool.
those shackles can
We'll
be
go for a
broken,
double
allowing
chest
the
of fucking
monster
wood,
to
and then I'll call it a
terrorize
day.
the surrounding
Actually, I take that back. We'll do both of
This
these
could also be evidence
chests.
of a
Excuse
possible
me.
dungeon
Hey,
stampede
yo, what
in
up,
the future.
kiddios?
The girls have heard about dungeon stampedes and the chaos they can cause as they tear through towns like a wildfire. And if monsters as strong as that Zarnag are appearing already, and they don't have much
Oh,
time.
it's
Ben
perfect.
intends to
Oh my
investigate the matter
god.
thoroughly to ensure the safety of the people. But before that, he sincerely apologizes to the girls for putting them in such danger. The girls tell him he doesn't need to apologize since
That's
they
a lot of
already
mushrooms,
had
dude.
lied.
That'll be great for
Although
fucking
if they
hearty
didn't have
stew
Yuka
later.
there, they would have been
That'll be
gone.
my next infinite
That
food
said,
source.
Yuka did most of the heavy lifting. Their live stream proved that
Oh,
the girls were
and the
capable
mount
fighters.
is
As a reward
finished.
for doing
It's so
well
beautiful.
against the Zarnak, Ben Wood intends to promote all of them to C rank. Although the
Wish there was a way to,
promotion
like,
of the
make this
girls had
faster,
Yuka's
but
assistance,
whatever.
Since he is A rank.
Surprised you don't have to piston pack for redstone blocks. I feel like they could have done that instead of nerf it.
Ben Wood informs him that he is getting a promotion as well. Everyone who watched the livestream saw the high-level prismatic missile spell he used on the Zarnak, so it is abundantly clear that Yuka deserves a promotion, and starting today, he will now be an A-rank adventurer. Afterwards, Yuka
I always
and
carry
Rose
around
head
16 of these
downstairs
just
to
in
have a drink
case.
and
You never know.
congratulate each other on their promotions. While they are all together, Yuka pulls out the bag of coins he got as the reward for their
Don't ever
loss,
push
and
your
gives
luck
it
when
to
you're in the
Yuka.
mines. It's
Silver
not a good
opens the bag
idea.
and she is shocked because she has never seen so many gold coins in one place before.
Oh my god, it
Yuka
actually is
explains that even though
perfect.
the quest was originally D-ranked because of the difficulty.
That's a lot. I think we have enough to make a beacon now. I think that's the first beacon that we're actually going to
The
get.
payout is a lot higher than it would have been otherwise. Silk puts all the coins on the table.
I'll get a new
and starts
pickaxe, fuck
counting.
'em.
Then she notices a piece of paper at the bottom of the bag, and it has Yuka's name on it, so she gives it to him. Yuka opens it, and it turns out
How much
to be a
iron did
note
I get from
Benwood,
all of this, though?
apologizing for everything Yuka had to go through. There's also a platinum coin in there as a little bonus for Yuka. Platinum coins are really valuable, so Yuka adds it to the party's funds, and after Silk finishes counting it all, she tells
Nope,
everyone that they
it's
have
not
enough
cooperating.
money to buy a house now. Maria is so excited to hear
What
that
the hell?
she jumps up and accidentally knocks the coins over. Silk is glad they reached their financial
Oh, I'd already
goals as
did it.
well,
Am I
but she feels a little
stupid?
bad
I think
about
I
it
might be
since the only
stupid.
reasons they got this much money was because of Yuka. While that may be true, Yuka tells Silk she doesn't have to think of it that way.
Okay,
They
cool.
made him the leader of Clover,
It's still burning to
and
this
they
very
asked the
day.
leader to do whatever it takes to help out the group.
I have no obligation to
As
go
such,
clean up,
Yuka
though.
played
I
a
refuse.
major
I'm
role
not going to
in
waste my
earning this money
time.
that still belongs to all of them. The group continues
Cool.
to celebrate late into the night.
All
and
my
at
other
one
tools are
point,
fine.
Rain asks
I'll see you
Yuka
kitties
if
later.
there's a dream he wants to accomplish. Yuka is caught off guard by the question, so he asks if there's a specific reason she's asking, and Rain explains that they just reached their goal.
My
of purchasing
ornamental
a house
tree.
thanks to
I made
Yuka.
sure its
So she
proportions were
wants to know
perfect.
what Yuka's dream is so they can help him achieve it. Since she asks, Yuka tells her that his dream is to conquer the deepest floors of the Achromatic Darkness dungeon. As soon as
I
the
could
girls hear
technically
this,
put
they
that
scream
there,
for
but, like,
drinks and
I
surprise
mean-
because the dungeon is quite literally the most dangerous one out there. It even possesses an Abyss Gate, an artifact known to be a direct gateway to the underworld. Yuka says the Abyss Gate is precisely why he wants to conquer the Achromatic Darkness, so Rain
Okay, we
asks
just
him
have to
if
go
he
back
intends to
now.
go
We
to
were
the
quite a
Abyss
ways
Gate
out,
if
though.
he
I'm
reaches
not
it.
surprised. That would make
However,
sense,
Yuka
actually.
explains that he just
This is
wants
the
to
one
see
area of the mine I
what
have
dungeon
not
is
fully
really
explored
looks like.
yet.
An uncle of his once took on the dungeon and tried to get to the gate, and although he wasn't
I only have
successful,
50 torches. Do
Yuka
I
has
want to
told
get
the
more?
story so many times
I
as
don't
a
think
kid
we'll
that
need
he
as many.
decided he wanted to try it
Hopefully.
himself.
Hopefully.
Although he knows that it will probably never happen.
I do genuinely
Maria
hope I
likes
do
the
not
sound
end
of
up
Yuka's
regretting
dream,
this.
So she suggests that they should all
I
go
better
to
not
the
regret
Achromatic
this,
darkness
dude.
and try to accomplish Yuka's dream.
Why did it have to be
Yuka tells
fucking
her it's
Gloom
not
Night,
that
dude? Like,
simple
are
since
you
that
shitting
dungeon
me?
is so
I guess the
dangerous.
torches
It's
make it
just
easier to
entering
find my way back,
requires
but, like,
permission
dude.
from the government, and
Like,
you
what
have
the
to
fuck?
be an A-rank party to gain approval. Even so, Rain still thinks it'd be a good idea, so she says she wants it to be her party's
There's
next
one of
goal.
my torches.
All the others agree and promise to work hard to make Yuka's dream a reality. But they won't be attempting it anytime soon, though. With each passing day, Clover's streams have been gaining more and more popularity. Right now, they are streaming a
What's this
battle
about
against an undead
streaming?
hand, and thanks to their flawless
Is this supposed to be
teamwork,
like some kind
they
of
are able to
sign
take
that
down
that
the
I need to
lightning
move on to
stuff in Rain
streaming?
and a rock scroll
Because
from
I am
Yuka.
not a streamer,
That
bruv.
concludes the
I also
stream.
have a
Anyway, to the
crippling fear of my
fans,
internet
everyone in the
dying
field
randomly,
absolutely
and then
loves
people
them,
calling me a
all
cheater.
except the members of Thunder Pike who hate how popular Yuka has become. Barry thinks Yuka is only looks
Oh,
impressive
there's the
because
whole
he's in a team of newbies, but Simon
jungle.
actually heard that Yuka recently got promoted
This right?
to A
Oh,
rank, so
thank
he might not be
goodness.
that good. Besides, Yuka's popularity isn't their biggest concern right now. Thunder Pike has been constantly failing quests recently, and Simone thinks it's because all the new people they hire end up being useless morons.
No, it's because your
In
fucking
fact,
party
none of them
member
ever
was a
end up sticking
fucking
around
Chad,
for
and
one
you are
day.
all a bunch of
That
cucks.
can't be because there's something wrong with their team, right? Speaking of their
That's
team,
why your
Simone
party
asks
sucks
why Jamie
ass.
isn't here, so Camilla explains that Jamie
It also
wasn't in
sucks
the mood
fat
for a
dick.
drink. Simone gets pissed since after that mission where Jamie got
Oh,
mauled
did
by
I
a
hurt
wolf,
your
she's been
feelings,
slowing the
Seymour?
team down
Well,
constantly.
tough fucking
As for
shit.
Jamie herself, she has locked herself in her room. And has
She's
been
locked
watching
in.
videos of Yuka's live stream on repeat for hours now. The other members of Thunder Pike are starting to realize
Oh,
that
what
Yuka
the
may have been
hell?
born
Oh,
this
yeah,
way
that's
they were
right.
fighting for. So since the reason Yuka quit in the first place was because of
There
his
we
weight gain,
go.
they could just increase his cut a little. And since Jamie hasn't been doing much lately, they can cut her pay instead. A few hours later, Yuka and the others return to the guild to report the success of their mission. But as they arrive at the front door, they find Simone waiting there for Yuka. Seeing Simone again makes Yuka a little angry, so he tells the girls to head inside without him, and then he asks Simone what he wants. Simone gets to the point and says he is allowing Yuka the honor of rejoining Thunderpike. Yuka can't believe the shit that just came out of Simone's mouth, but Simone tries.
Yeah, Simone's a fucking. He's a fat, ugly piece of shit, if you ask me.
This gate can only come true if he's part of an A-rank party like Thunderpike.
He should just go back to the bottle. Just go back to the bottle. And by that I mean commit to alcoholism, because that's all he's good at. Being a drunkard.
But it's too bad he doesn't care though.
It's funny actually, Beast Tamer Anime does a really good job of demonstrating this, ironically. And it's actually way, way more brutal. Like with what happens to them in the upcoming season 2, if I'm not mistaken. I think that one dude that like fucking originally hated him or something becomes a demon, and then fucking the fucking witch girls, I don't remember what her name was, but she ended up becoming a demon too, and she ended up getting killed by fucking, I think, Tanya, if I'm not mistaken.
But as Yuka stated earlier, nothing on Earth would ever make him go back to that shit show of a party. That aside, they still have to report their mission's success to the guild, so they all head to the reception desk, and afterwards, they'll have drinks to celebrate. This was the end of episode 3. Subscribe to not miss the next part. Bill is a failing student at a prestigious magic academy, but since he lacks any form of magic, he makes up for it by using a sword to strike down his enemies. One day in class, Professor Edward is giving a lesson
so I'm gonna not have to waste torches as much.
Catalysts and some magic. But of all the students in class he could choose from, he decides to call on Bill.
There we
to
go.
demonstrate
That looks nice.
No
Okay, let's finish what we started. What is that? Oh, it's a torch. Whoops.
But Bill has no
My
choice
bad,
but
I
to
guess.
obey
I'll be
order,
taking this,
so
though.
he
I
walks
actually
up
do
to
want
the
these
front of the
back.
class and begin trying to make the spell work. But predictably, nothing happens. The whole class wastes no time in mocking him for his repeated failures.
Shouldn't mock him. He's a literal god.
Just because he wants to personally roast Vil for being incapable of such a rudimentary spell. Vil excels at magical theory, but he has no magical talent whatsoever. So Edward despises
But that's
him
the
for
first step.
thinking he can
You have to
attend
learn it
magic
before you can
school
do it,
without any
in
magic.
most cases. Sometimes it just kind of
One student in
happens,
his
you know.
class casts the fire spell from his seat to ignite the catalyst in front of Will. And while Edward isn't concerned for Will's safety,
I hear
at
more
all,
lava.
it
Hang
would
on.
still be bad for his record if
Oh,
his
okay, it
student
extends to a
worked
different
together.
area,
He asks
does
Shine
it?
to refrain from doing reckless things
Interesting.
in the future.
Is there anything under this
Shine
lava that I should
apologizes
know
and says
about?
he was just trying to help a little since
Anything
Will
useful,
obviously
maybe?
isn't going to be able to do
Ooh, a cave.
the
That's actually pretty useful.
With that said, Edward
No
concludes
fucking
his
way,
experiment
dude.
and begins a speech about how
Okay, it was worth it.
magic is
I don't know
real.
what the fuck I'm even
So
saying
people who
anymore.
have no talent for it have no right to exist in this magic academy. And all this is said while making direct eye contact with Will. After class, Will feels exhausted from all the hate he was getting, but people love hating on him, so Cheyenne follows him out of class to continue messing with him.
Yes!
Luckily, there are still some people who are on Bill's side.
This mineshaft is goated. This mineshaft is goated. I swear to God, it's fucking goated, dude. Oh my God. Is it a 5 vein? 5 vein?
But she says that doesn't
5
matter
vein?
since Vil is the nicest
5 vein?
person she's ever met.
5
and
vein?
works much harder
Yes, it
than
is.
any
Okay,
of them
cool.
ever have.
Oh my God.
Shen is stunned for a moment, but then he begins laughing since no matter how kind
I'm gonna find
hardworking
so
Vil
much.
is,
Dude,
it
I have.
won't
Dude,
change the fact
what the
that he
fuck?
uses magic, and Vil is certainly never
I'm
going
finding
to
an
use
ungodly
magic
amount of
against
shit.
magic.
This is the
Cheyenne and his
sludge,
friends
dude.
leave
I'm
Vil
finding the
alone
sludge,
for
the
that.
juice, and the
So while
fucking
walking
drugs, I
together,
tell ya.
Colette tells Vil not to be bothered by what Cheyenne
Anything
and
else?
Professor Edward were saying
Is
since
it
they
4
just
vein?
did it to humiliate him, but Vil says it's fine since he really isn't able to
Okay,
use
cool.
magic,
It's
and
not.
besides, he considers
I'm okay with
himself
that.
lucky since their hating made a cute girl like Colette want to hang out with him.
The
Colette
diamonds
gets
are worth
embarrassed when
it.
He says this, but she tells Vil that flattery isn't going to make her want to go out with him, but Vil says he was just stating a fact since he thinks Colette is really cute. This gets Colette even more embarrassed, and she nearly falls for Vil in the spot, so she pushes him away for a bit so she can think clearly and remain calm. She is technically ignoble, so she can't let herself fall in love so easily. After regaining
Okay,
her
cool.
composure,
Just needed
she
that
looks over
redstone.
to Will,
Gotta get that
but he was
booty.
busy looking at the sky since it is especially beautiful today. Long ago,
We get free lighting
this
from that
world
too, so I'm not
lived
gonna
in a
complain.
constant shroud
Hang on,
of
watch
darkness,
this.
in
Check
fear
this
of
out.
celestial host who ruled over them. However, that all changed when the Shadow Wizard Money Gang joined forces to oppose the Celestial and bring the light of the sky to everyone. These wizards came to be known as the Magiavander, and they are regarded as the epitome of magic. So no mages alive to date have ever been able to live up to the title.
Clever, huh? Not bad.
Elvis Vina is watching over them right now, and Vil says he is sure.
That's a very, very sneaky trick to getting your stuff back. It's very helpful. It's very, very helpful. I'm surprised they never patched that. That makes it so easy to fucking get your shit back, like, super quick. I would have thought the devs would have nerfed that shit because of how broken it is.
See the sunset, since it is supposedly really pretty. So she hoped they could become Magiavanders together someday and see the sun together. Vil promised to become a Magiavander with her.
Okay, what all? Is that a slime? Dude, no, it's a fucking dumbass creeper.
And soon enough, she had climbed to the top of the tower through all her hard work. In contrast, Vil had no talent at all to keep his promise.
Oh, I got you now, bud. Wow, he must have taken quite... Oh, he probably fell from up there, actually, now that I think about it. Don't want that. Fuck off. Did I forget anything back here? I think I did. Yeah, there's coal back here. I'll get the coal. Why not? I am a miner of my word. I actually don't remember if I said I was gonna get it or not. We'll just pretend like I did.
Will end up getting himself killed at this rate, so Vil begs him for forgiveness, but he also asks if he can get his extra credit now. Worker is still mad at him for going into the dungeon alone, but Vil was able to return with proof that he killed an evil guard, so he is awarded with 2 points of extra credit. Vil celebrates with his pet while Worker gets the paperwork ready, but as he does so, he asks Vil if he still hasn't given up on becoming a Magiavander.
Hilarious, bud. Try again. Better luck next time, as they say. I already got most of the precious minerals down here, but I haven't gotten all the coal, which kind of pisses me off. Hang on. No, I guess not. Thought maybe there'd be a second layer, but if the cave cut through the vein, that would make sense why there wouldn't be a whole lot left. Oh, there it is.
Explained to him that it is practically impossible to earn enough credits to pass through practice alone. Vil realizes his chances are slim, but he still wants to hold on to hope that he can fulfill his promise of becoming a Magiavander. In any case, Worker tells Vil that Magiavander is a long way
I guess I didn't need to do that. Whoops.
Graduate, he doesn't start earning more credits. Worker heard that Vil failed to earn any credits during his last exam, so unless he wants to flunk, he has to earn an additional 4 credits by the end of the week. Vil is shocked because that means he only has 2 days left before the deadline. So with no other options left, he begins searching his notes in hopes of finding a monster he can kill that is worth 4 credits. He is really desperate to find something, so while Worker doesn't want to encourage Vil to go into the dungeon, he tells him about a Baskerville monster on the 6th floor of the dungeon, and Vil hasn't submitted that one yet, so he could get the required credits for killing it. Vil runs up to Worker to hug him as thanks for all the help he has offered him, but Worker tells him not to cling so tightly because it could put his job on the line. Unfortunately, Shine happened to be outside Worker's office during the whole
Yes, I'll mine the fucking rock with a fish. Use the fish. I don't even think you could do that. Pretty sure you have to have a sharpstone to get coal dust, if I'm not mistaken.
A while later, Vil arrives on the 6th floor of the dungeon, and he is in a pretty good mood since he's fought at Baskerville.
I'm in a good mood too right now, actually. Things are going pretty well, actually.
He doesn't think it's a good idea for Vil to go into this with so much confidence. But Vil says there's nothing for him to worry about since as long as he is careful about the Baskerville's flame breath, he won't get burnt to a crisp like last time.
Okay.
But in order to find the Baskerville, he is depending on Kiki.
Ooh, well, that was fucking nice, I guess. Not bad.
To ensure that Vil drops out of the academy. His friends are
it's a 3DJ.
So they plan to kill the Baskerville first, and after that, they'll beat up Vil to send a message. They are all on board with the plan, but one of his friends asks if it is really safe for them to be this deep in the dungeon when it's only 3 of them here. But Cheyenne takes offense to the question, saying he is more than enough to keep all of them safe.
We'll go ahead and get rid of this. I have no use for it, at least not anymore. Put a torch there, I guess. Ow.
In Cheyenne's opinion,
God damn it.
Who isn't able to use magic shouldn't even dare to speak of the Magiavanders, so the very sight of Vil offends him.
Where the fuck am I now? He's stuck. What a fucking idiot.
But a second later, one of his friends gets punched so hard that he slams into a wall, and there's no way that dude survived this.
That's just so I don't get tempted to get it back.
He faces the monster, but the other guy starts freaking the hell out. Vil hears the shrieks of the guy and he instantly realizes that someone must be in trouble.
You're better than me, do ya?
He rushes over to help. He can't believe there are other people this deep in the dungeon, but from the sound he just heard, They can't be too far away. As Vil arrives at the site of all the screaming, he hides behind a wall and spots someone desperately shooting fireballs at the monster.
Are we in middle strata now?
But none
What
of
the
his
fuck?
attacks are having any effect.
Oh,
Is an evil sentinel
okay.
Vil knows is worth 10 points. Vil has never seen one in person before because the sentinel's habitat should be deeper down in the dungeon, so it makes no sense why it would come up to the 6th floor. More importantly, the
Yeah, that's fine. I'll leave it.
attacking is Cheyenne. And none of his spells
Dude,
have any
okay, so they
effect
need
on
to
the
nerf
sentinel.
mine shafts, dude.
So he
Like,
doesn't
no joke,
stand
they
a
need to
chance.
take out the mine, they need to
First
take out the
thought
rails.
comes to Vil's
They
mind
need
is
to,
the
maybe
Cheyenne.
make them less common, too. Also, I found, like, what, 4 of them now? The 3 of them were merged together, so technically it counts. And then there's one over in the distance that I'll go to after I beat the game.
He's about to close his eyes.
I might go for all the beacons before I beat the dragon. Just so that way the entire run rides on the fact that I have to beat the dragon to win the game.
Which is why she gave him a pair of goggles as a gift. Vil still has that same pair of goggles to this day, and if he wants to continue being the same person Elfaria has
The hell?
he has to put his personal grudges aside and save Cheyenne, even if he's a bitch.
You're still stuck, aren't you?
Vil jumps in and blocks the
Cool.
strike with his sword. At the same time, back in the academy, Professor Edward comes running into Worker's office to tell him that Cheyenne and his friends have all gone into the dungeon together without permission. He wants Worker to use his familiar to track them down before they get themselves killed. The Worker grabs his bird and asks what floor Cheyenne went to. Edward answers that they should be on
Certainly
the
an
6th
interesting
floor,
area, I
Worker
suppose.
fears that he is relieved
Oh,
to
it's
die.
all char.
Vil
How did this get
them,
burned?
And as long as he is there, he can handle any monster that attacks. He uses his crystal ball to show
They're on
Edward
the
what
other side
Vil
of
is
the
doing
wall,
right now.
obviously.
He's going toe-to-toe with the Sentinel, and he is absolutely blitzing it. In the blink of an eye, Vil has already chopped off one of the Sentinel's fingers. And when the Sentinel tries to counter,
So this is part of middle strata, is it?
Mid-air and backs up to
I won't find any diamonds down here,
Vil then
sadly.
dashes in once more, and the Sentinel can't
I
keep
could
up
find
with
some
him at all.
emeralds, though, which is
So before
fine.
it even realizes what's going on, Vil has already gotten on top of it and stabbed into its shoulder. Cheyenne can't believe what he's seeing since he never thought Vil would be this so strong. Even Edward is left in shock, so Worker explains to him that Vil is an amazing anomaly. He possesses superhuman
Oh my god,
strength
what the
that
fuck?
he never hoped to achieve. He has a body
Dude,
that's more durable than a
fuck.
nuclear phone, and
What the hell? Where did that come from?
skills that allow him to grasp
Well, not a single one spawned, so I guess I can't complain that much. Minecart.
So as
Are
the
we gonna
Sentinel
roll lucky
tries to
today?
slash Vil again,
Yeah,
he's
we rolled pretty lucky, I would say.
dodge, while also slicing off the Sentinel's arm in the process. Vil may not be able to
Dude,
use
there's
magic,
another
however.
one.
He is more than capable of making up for it with his sword. As the Sentinel writhes in pain, Vil proceeds to grab the Sentinel's sword with one hand and prepares to finish off once and for all. The Sentinel fires
Nothing
off a
should
plasma
catch on
blast
fire
as
with
a
that,
last-ditch
hopefully.
effort, but a simple swing
I did
from
find an
Vil's
emerald, so I'm not
sword
gonna complain
is
about that.
powerful, so Vil slices the Sentinel in half, claiming his victory. Once it's all over,
I'm not using
Vil
too many
walks over to
torches with
Cheyenne
this
to ask if
either.
he is okay, and
Get
Cheyenne
away from me.
has a grudge against Vil, but Vil just saved his life from bites his tongue. However, even after witnessing that whole fight and how capable Vil is, it doesn't stop Edward from hating him harder since he won't stand for magicless being stronger than students with magic. Edwards leaves Worker's office in a rage, and while Worker is proud of Vil for saving Cheyenne, he's still mad at him for putting himself in danger. However, once again, he managed to defeat the monster. The Worker awards Vil
the
10
hell?
points for killing the Sentinel.
How did all of this catch
Vil
on
was the laughing
fire,
stock
though?
of
Like,
the whole school
what?
due to his
Is
lack
there
of
lava
magic, and
underneath it,
apparently
maybe?
The only reason he was allowed to enroll here in the first place was because he was friends with Elfaria. But since she had already become a Magiavander at the time, there was no reason for the school to pretend to be nice to him anymore. Vil has had to endure all the ridicule this entire time, but it hasn't stopped him from working hard to graduate regardless. Worker accompanied Vil to be evaluated by the headmistress, and she obviously
they're,
had
like,
her
right
doubts about
there,
whether
then.
Vil was
Good
cut
to
out for
know.
the school or not. But once she hands him a sword,
So this area is going to be the last of the, well, it's going to be the last area of this mine shaft, I guess. Hopefully.
She's so impressed that she says Vil is
There's
allowed
not
to
much
stay
else space
at
for us to
school
go
and
to.
work
We've
with
gone in all
her
directions
since
at this
he
point. I
didn't
mean,
believe
shit.
it is easy to convince her. It is true that Vil doesn't have any magic, but more importantly, she thinks it'll be fun to have someone like Vil around. Vil asks the headmistress if he can be by Elfie's
Hold
side
up.
again if
Don't
he
want
becomes
middle
strong.
strata, big
She
boop
tells him
boop.
that he
Don't
will
want
have to
gravel,
work
don't want
really
rotten
hard
flesh,
and
fuck
remain
that.
unfazed by the challenges along the way. But even then, there's no guarantee. But as Vil leaves, she remarks that it'll be fun to see what Vil can accomplish. Back to the present, Vil is currently in Worker's class as he teaches everyone about the Tower of Magic. Climbing the tower means advancing to the upper institute to the topmost floor where you will become a Magiavander.
Okay.
Now there are currently 2 methods to becoming
Shut
a
the
Magiavander.
fuck up.
And that's either to create a new type of magic or to earn over 7,000 credits in the school.
Don't want
But it is
that. Big
pretty
boop
rare
boop.
to invent new magic. So
Actually, you know what? I might actually take the
credits.
gravel now that I think about it.
However, since this is a remedial class, everyone in here is in danger of flunking out of school, especially Vil. After the classes are over, Colette meets up with Vil and asks how Vil is feeling since Worker's remedial classes are
Don't want
notorious
any
for
middle
this.
strata, but I will
Vil
take
agrees
the
that
gravel.
Worker is a strict teacher, but to be honest, he's
Now let's
glad
go get
Worker
those
is kind enough
bars.
to offer remedial classes in the
I'd be
first
spitting
place, since
fat
most
bars
professors
today,
won't bother to
baby.
do so. As they are turning a corner, they notice a commotion going on, so they listen in and hear Xian's friends glazing him for defeating the evil sentinel. They won't question how he survived, but somehow by the time he woke up, the only thing Mars saw was Xian and a defeated evil sentinel, meaning Xian had to have defeated it. Everyone believes Xian is amazing for being able to kill a monster as powerful as an evil sentinel, but deep down, Xian knows he's a fraud since the one who actually defeated it was Vil.
Yeah, that's
Then
fine. I'll
he
just leave the
notices
torch.
Vil
Not a big
walking by,
deal.
and he takes that as a personal insult. So he goes to Vil and starts picking a fight with him again. However, it's a lot harder for him to see Vil as inferior when he knows Vil could easily one-shot him right now. He's just choosing not to. He lets go of Vil's jacket and begins walking away without saying a word. So once Xian is gone, Colette asks Vil if something happened between the two of them, and something definitely happened. At the same, Edward has just barged into Headmistress Cauldron's office and is demanding that Vil be expelled immediately. Cauldron asks why Edward suddenly wants to expel Vil out of the blue. He's already in his 6th and final year at the academy, so they can't just expel him without a reason. Edward tries to argue that Vil can't be allowed to stay at this school since he's a warrior, not a mage, and he won't stand for someone who can't use magic trying to surpass it. Cauldron pulls out Vil's records and points out that Vil has outstanding scores in his writing, and his magic reports are incredible.
How did you even get here, you little shit?
Can't use magic.
Where did he come
He's the
from?
definition of a perfect student.
What?
If his dream were to become a Magiavander, then he could easily excel at any other profession he chose. And it is the Academy's duty to produce people learning for the fated day. However, Edward states that the fact Vil wants to become a Magiavander is the problem, and Cauldron can see Edward's points, so she proposes a solution. She tells Edward to go and personally test Vil.
Fuck outta here, you little shit.
Test, then he's free to expel him if he wants. Edward asks if Cauldron is sure she wants to leave Vil's test up to his #1 hater, and Cauldron says she's fine with it since it won't make a difference. If anything, she thinks it will be more entertaining to have the one known as the Dark Viper Mage test.
Ooh,
Back on Vil's
lapis.
end, he is getting ready for his next class and asks Colette to help him open his locker for him.
You think I'm
She
stupid,
happily
bud?
does so, and he apologizes for having her do
Yeah,
this
I'm not
to him
gonna fall
all
for
the
that
time
trick
since
so
he came
easily, you
back.
know.
She says she doesn't mind, but then she notices Vil's sword in his locker and asks him if he's still
Oh,
training.
wait, what the fuck?
Vil says he is, but he couldn't get permission to
friggin'
use it while
way.
he's in school and back in his dorm. His roommate
This is
wouldn't
part
let him
of
do
that
anything
fucking area,
dangerous.
dude.
He and Colette later head to the library to study together.
Are you shitting
Vil
me? This is
taking
part
it
of that
very
one
seriously
area.
Despite having already learned this topic before. Colette tells him to take it easy since he's already at the top of the class in writing, but Vil says he needs to keep studying his hardest since he can't afford to lose a single credit. And besides,
God,
he
no,
enjoys
dude,
learning
there's
history
fucking
from the
dumbass
perspective of
spiders.
Other races, especially since
Oh my
they were
god, what the
dwarves.
hell?
They marched to war against powerful mages, but they never gave up in spite
Oh
of
my
talent.
god.
Then
No, you all get to
notices
die for
Vil
that.
has a
I'm
white
sorry.
strand of hair on his head, and she says it's probably because he's overworking himself. She offers to pluck it out for Vil, and even though Vil says she doesn't need to, she still really wants to do it. However, in the middle of their flirting, Edward shows up
Bunch of
behind
fucking
Vil
losers,
and
dude.
tells him to come to the spell hall alone, because there's something he needs to do. A little while later, Vil arrives at the
Well, I
spell
found the
hall,
dumb
and
spider-
Edward says
or
he needs to
spawner,
offer
excuse
Vil a
me.
special remedial class, so we should be grateful for it. Well, can't believe Edward would
There's
offer
another
him a
one, though,
remedial
isn't
class,
there?
but that still
There
shows
always
that he has
is.
no good intentions.
Oh, never mind.
He
It's
wants
just a
to
bunch
see
of
what Vil
losers.
can really do, so he fires a warning shot to let Vil know
Burn
that
in
this is
hell,
serious and
fuckers.
help him, and if he's able to successfully land
You guys
the
have fun
blow,
with that.
then Edward will award
I love how
him
whenever I
half
do this,
of
it
the
never
credits.
fucking burns the
Otherwise, if he
cobwebs for
fails,
whatever
he will
stupid
immediately be
reason.
expelled. He also tells Vil that he is not allowed to refuse this test either,
You know what, I'll just
so you
break
can
these while I
practice
wait.
to take Vil out. Meanwhile, Worker has just been summoned to Cauldron's office, and she apologizes for calling him.
Just
here
gonna
at
seal that
short
off,
notice.
just in
But
case.
she
They
thought
can't get
Worker
out
should
now,
be
so they're
informed of what
completely
Edward was
toast.
doing. She cast a spell to show him the test.
They did this to themselves. They could have left me alone, but nope.
For any reason. She
They
believes
thought
it's
it'd be a
unfair
funny
that
idea to
Edward gets
piss me
have his
off.
request granted
Nope.
Since Worker got the same when he asked to watch over Vil. Still,
Is it gonna catch on fire at some point soon, or am I gonna have to, like, fucking go in there and manually do it?
He's a man who nearly became a Mangiavander. He may have failed, but he still possesses power that is equivalent to one, so Vil is in serious danger right now. So far, Vil has been able to avoid getting hit by
Oh my god, what the hell? Dude. Okay.
So Vil can't believe how much power Edward is producing. Vil has to fight back somehow, so he tries to run up behind Edward and land a kick.
You know what, I'm willing to use a regen potion. I'm okay with that.
The shield is too strong for Vil to break it unarmed. Edward calls him hopeless for thinking he could get through a magic shield with a kick. Edward then blasts him away, and Vil is starting to worry that there may be no way for him to win, as Edward is simply too strong for him to beat as he is now. Edward tells Vil that he will limit himself to 2 spells, one to attack.
Dude, regen is so busted. Holy shit.
However, even if it is only 1 attack spell, one who has mastered that 1 spell can outclass someone who has learned.
Regen is so OP. What the fuck? Why don't I just use regen potions? That'd be way better than instant health. I guess if you were taking a lot of damage really fast, you'd have to rely on the instant health, but like still.
He looks like he's conducting a symphony of Vil's screams. Vil eventually falls to the ground, and he realizes there's no way for him to beat Edward like this, but if he had his sword, he could at least hold his ground against Edward. Outside the spell hall, Colette had been putting her things away in her locker. She was really worried about Vil, and Edward asking Vil to come alone for remedial classes couldn't have been a good sign. All of a sudden, Vicky came running up into the room covered in Vil's blood, and she was trying to get to Vil's sword in his locker. So Colette realizes that something bad really happened to Vil and opens his locker so they can go give him his sword. As Vil is lying on the ground,
dude,
is slowly walking towards him while saying that Vil could never hope to become a Mangiavander if he can't surpass him here.
Where is it?
Even in the past, when dwarves went to war with the mages against an army of 10,000 dwarves, all it took was 1 mage.
There's another fucking spawner, dude.
The sword is never going to compare to the wand, but even if the odds are insurmountable, Vil still wants to become a Mangiavander. He will do whatever it takes to achieve it. Edward can't understand why Vil would go to such lengths.
I wonder how many of these goofy spawners I've broken now.
Sort of noble goal that he wants to accomplish.
Also, never break spawners in Mia. They will give you negative potion effects, and it's not fun. It's very bad. I promise it will ruin your day. It gives you, I think, blindness, wither, and slowness, if I'm not mistaken. I think.
Just then, Colette arrives at the skull hall and throws Vil's sword to him. And now that he is finally armed, Vil is able to counter Edward's fire spell.
Oh.
Edward is shocked that Vil was able to cut through the spell.
Go away.
Vil's sword is special. Even so, he still intends to prove that Vil is no match for a mage. Vil is terrified of Edward's flames, and if possible, he would have run away from this fight a long time ago.
God damn it, dude.
Edward is the only way for Vil to move forward.
How did I miss, dude? Okay, I give up. What the fuck? How did I miss that jump? Oh, of course, I'm starving to death. How original.
Edward is forced to admit that Vil has passed the test, so he awards him his 5 credits and walks away. Vil collapses to the ground out of exhaustion, and Colette runs up to congratulate him on his victory, but he's totally passed out. Cauldron praises Vil's performance, and Worker says his strategy of diving into the attack to close the distance and attack from a blind spot was brilliant. And what's even more impressive is that his sword strike was powerful enough to surpass Edward's shield. So Vil may have what it takes to become a Mangiavander after all. In a flashback, we see the time Elfie gifted Vil his pair of goggles, and immediately after doing so, she had to say goodbye since she was going to the top of the tower. However, as she was walking away, Vil called out to Elfie and swore to her that he would find a way to climb the tower as well so they can be together. Even if the odds are against him and he can't use magic, Vil swears that he will keep his promise and see the sunset with her someday. Elfie was moved by Vil's speech, so she turned around with tears in her eyes and said she would wait for him as long as it takes. And as Elfie finally left, Vil vowed that this would be the last time he ever cries or acts pathetic again. Back to the present, Vil is currently busy with his paper deliveries since he's got to work a lot of jobs to pay for his tuition. While on his usual route, he happens to run into Donnet, and he greets him warmly, wishing Vil luck on his delivery route. He also says he will be visiting the tavern later today, so Vil tells him he will be waiting for him. As Vil runs off to finish off his deliveries, he ends up tripping on some steps and spilling the newspapers all over the place. But that is not a problem, since with his speed, he's easily able to pick all the papers.
Get out of here, you little bastard.
He happened to miss a newspaper, so he walks over to pick it up, but as he does so, he notices an article about Elfie and how she has created yet another type of magic. She's the first person to create 12 different original.
That wasn't a very coordinated attack, bud.
That she's still working hard up there, but he's going to work hard here as well. He's about to get moving again, but then he notices that there's
I appreciate the effort, though I'm flattered.
Elfie has personally passed a request to the
Sadly for them, though, it's just not going to be enough against me. Sorry, bud.
He goes over to his dorm room and begins asking his roommate Rusty if he can help him make a magic item on short notice. Rusty asks what this huge rush is, so Bill tells him about the request Elfie put in, and he wants to be the one to handle it.
Get out of here, you little bastard.
He prioritizes the request and starts getting dressed. The job is to gather Frostwalker ice cores, since she apparently needs a lot of
hilarious.
catalysts, and all participating students are going to
Dude.
be compensated accordingly.
Okay, it's just a dumbass spider spawner. Never mind. I thought it was another fucking cave spider spawner. How many spider spawners am I gonna have to break it? I think I'll just dig up from here. This is a good spot to call it a day. Do these spiders shoot webs? I'm gonna guess no, because that would be very OP if they did. A double chest. Dude! The hell?
However, just as
you know what? You and your friends get to die. Sorry, bud.
And it looks like it was caused by Sheehan, who just blew up a bunch of Frostwalkers. His friends praise him for his display
dude,
of skill,
come the fuck on, stop it.
But internally, Sheehan is agonizing over the fact that he is still nowhere near the level of strength Bill showcased back then. As Bill sees Sheehan, he is honestly impressed by the magic power he used, although he seems really angry about something.
Double chest, not bad though. Way to go.
Bill will never get a chance to slay any Frostwalkers of his own choice to go deeper into the dungeon floor.
Now we're cooking.
He ends up seeing a girl in danger, so he leaps into action, and moments later, all three monsters have been sliced in half. The girl is shocked by what she just witnessed, since this is the first time she's seen a magic student use a sword to fight. Bill asks her if she's alright, and after the initial shock has worn off, she says she's fine and introduces herself as Iris. We cut to a lecture with Workner where he is talking about the great achievement of creating new magic. It is an accomplishment so grand that it warrants unconditional advancement up to the top of the magic tower, and new magic is usually named after the person who created it, or from words associated with it. For example, the dark magic spell Dax Darbikins that Edward used is named after a mage from ancient times called Fire Watchman Darbikins. So if any one of the students here manage to create new magic, they will be carving your names into history forever.
So this leads to a deep strata cave. Interesting.
Mage, and without a doubt, Worker believes that Elfaria is unbelievably good at her magecraft. It is unheard of for a single mage to create 12 original spells by themselves, so it isn't a stretch to say that she's one of the greatest mages to ever live. After hearing about Elfaria's accomplishments, Colette has to admit that she is every bit as amazing as Bill had said she was, but her friend Rose starts teasing her for being jealous of Elfaria because she's in love with Bill. Colette gets embarrassed and yells at Rose for saying such ridiculous things, but that causes a disturbance in class. The worker turns
okay, cool. That should block off any spawnability or any spawnability of mobs there.
Bill and Iris are walking along a passage, and after Bill had introduced himself,
where does this go?
She recalls hearing about him since she was told about an upperclassman who couldn't use magic.
Oh, it's just lava. Never mind.
Bill is shocked to hear that people
dumbass fucking lava, dude. I swear to God.
Iris referred to him as upperclassman. So she explains that she's only 14, meaning she's 2 years
nice shot, bud.
Right now. That makes her a 4th-year student.
Try a little harder next time and maybe you'll win.
Her if she doesn't feel any
well, probably not.
Due to his lax magic. But Iris doesn't see why she should dislike Bill for something like that, especially when he saved her a few minutes ago. Even if he can't use magic, she has a heartfelt respect for people who have their own special talents. Bill gets a bit flustered, so he changes the subject and asks Iris if she's here because of Elfie's request, and Iris
what in the hell?
Saying she wants to be a use to the Magiavander, and someday she hopes to become one of the people to hold up the sky. And she isn't speaking metaphorically, by the way. In this world, people aren't able to see the real sky because their world is hidden. The tremendous energies of the Magiavander cover everything and create a false sky known as the Great Barrier. And according to the legends, when the Great Barrier falls, the world will once again be enveloped in darkness, and a great calamity will begin. That's why students are motivated to fulfill the requests of the Magiavander, not just because they admire them, but also because they believe it will help support their mission to hold the sky up. Iris mentions that she has actually had the honor of meeting Elfaria in person before, and Bill is surprised, so she starts telling him how it happened. She was cornered in the dungeon one day, and as her life had begun to flash before her eyes, she saw no way out. However, before she could be devoured, a burger wall of ice encased all the monsters that were attacking her, and she turned around to find Elfaria standing there and asking if she was alright. It was an experience she will never forget, which is why she wants to do everything she can to help Elfaria. However, even though she came to get the Frost Walker cores, she hasn't been able to find
Free lighting, I'll take it.
And her search spell isn't picking up anything either, so she assumes the other
Dude,
must have defeated
okay.
But
I
Bill
see
doesn't
how
think
it
that's the
is.
case. He shows Iris an ice fragment that Frost Walkers leave behind.
Ow.
And it's normally
Yeah, what sucks about that is that eats up a torch. Yeah, not fun.
That can
Bad.
only mean that there must be a powerful Frost Walker nearby, probably somewhere that Iris' search
Get
spell
out of
can't
here.
detect.
You're not a
Iris
threat,
asks
bud.
Bill
You're
how
not
he
that
could possibly
guy.
know all this when he can't use magic. So he explains that he studies magic because he thinks it is amazing, but it's not almighty. Especially not inside a place like the dungeon, so he who lacks magic has to use all his knowledge, wisdom, and experience to make up for it. Iris asks what Vil means by experience, and seeing as they are standing in a large open room, Vil's experience tells him that there is about to be a boss battle. As the Frost Walker tries to sneak attack them, Vil dashes forward to get Iris to safety, and as she finally realizes what's going on, she identifies the monster as a Frost Rex. A Frost Rex is the highest form of a Frost Walker, and it's worth 6 credits on its own, so it's basically a special boss monster of the 4th floor. The Frost Rex fires an ice laser towards them, so Vil jumps out of the way to avoid being frozen to death. He sets Iris down and asks her to stay back while he handles the Frost Rex, but Iris warns him that physical attacks won't work against the Rex, as anything it touches will instantly be frozen. For that reason, close combat has been completely ruled out as an option, and it is generally believed that the only way to deal with it is with long-range magic attacks, but Vil isn't worried as he has a plan in mind to deal with the Rex. As it begins charging up another laser blast, Vil prepares the magic item he got from Rosti and charges forward at it. He evades the ice beam and lands behind the Rex before sliding underneath. The Rex can't keep track of Vil, so it begins firing in random directions, and while it's not paying attention, Vil uses the magic item to latch onto its body before dashing around the room to entangle it. Before long, he has completely ensnared the Rex in wires, and Vil states that the main weaknesses of Frost Rex are fire magic and explosive attacks. So as the Frost Rex is about to fire another blast at him, Vil activates the magic item and causes the wire to ignite, leading all the way back to the bombs that were attacked to the hook and causing a huge explosion. The Frost Rex is reduced to a pile of rubble, so Vil retracts the tool and makes a mental note to thank Rusty for his help later. Iris is stunned at what she just saw, but then her true personality comes out, and she remarks that Vil is far stronger than the rumors had led her to believe. She wonders how she should report her findings, but while she's thinking, Vil gets her attention and tells her they've gotten a really good ice core, so they can head back now, and Iris smiles in agreement to maintain her persona and avoid suspicion. A while later, Iris heads to the wizard tower, and as she is walking along the halls and taking off her disguise, she goes over what she learned from following Vil. He truly can't use magic, but he compensates for it in creative ways. That, along with his insane battle sense and experience, means that while he's not qualified to be a mage, he is an incredibly talented warrior. As she reaches the end of the hallway, she walks up to a huge door and opens it to meet with the Mangiavanders. She asks them for a moment of their time and apologizes if she is interrupting something important. But Carriot tells her that there's no need to apologize since they were just having a boring meeting for the sake of it, but the situation is still dire, since if the sky barrier were to be breached now, the world would certainly be destroyed. The celestial host that has been watching them from beyond the sky would overwhelm them instantly with the number of mages they have now, so they need to hurry and find more promising mages to aid the fight to come on that fated day. Otherwise, a calamity in the lore will come to pass, and they can't allow it to happen. They ask Iris how her observation mission
Yo, what
went,
up,
and if she happened to
dog?
find anything useful, and she confirms that she managed to find a promising person
You
who
hit
could
like a
use for
girl,
their
bud.
cause. The no talent who can't use magic bills her for it, and she recommends that he be inducted into the
Damn,
tower.
dude, this cave just
Carrion
never
and
fucking
Eleanor are
ends, I
against the idea, but she
swear.
thinks it could be fun, while Elfie chooses to
Oh,
reserve her
I guess it
opinion on the
does.
matter. Geo honestly doesn't care who it is as
Go
long as they are
away.
useful. Eleanor thinks it would be crazy to bring a magicless person here. They are about to start a fight over it, but Carriot calms them down and says they don't need to make a decision now as the Grand
Okay,
Magic
I don't know if we
Festival
should
will
keep
occur
going in this
soon,
cave.
and they can just use those results to decide. The useful ones will naturally end up in the top positions, so if Vil doesn't make it...
Well, I have no torches now, so we're gonna have to go back to that spawner and go back up to the surface. As much as I hate to admit it, I don't have a choice. I should have brought more torches down here, but then again, I'm running out of space.
As part of the next test, the students have to participate in, they are all set to fight against golems. And if you manage to defeat one, then you pass. Shian and Colette are up first, and they both manage to defeat their golems with ease. Meanwhile, Vil is struggling against his. Vil tries running behind the golem in order to land a clean punch. As the students see him about to attack with his fists, They begin mocking him for not being able to use magic, and this distracts Vil long enough for the golem to backhand him across the room. The students begin to leave after being satisfied by Vil's failure to defeat his golem, but on the other end of the room there are a few students who are having no trouble with the golems at all. They are Lehanna and Wignall, and they both pass without a doubt. But there's one
I'm not stupid, bud.
Begins casting ice magic. With a wave of his wand, he sends icicle shards into all the golems, causing them all to be encased in solid blocks of ice. This is Julius, and he is one of the top 3 students of the academy, along with the other 2. Lehanna commends Wignall and Julius for keeping up with her and not slacking off, but the banquet is going to be starting soon. So there was never a reason for
denied.
On that note, Julius says
Not stupid, but I know you're there.
Oh,
you think I'm just gonna let you do what you want?
To deliver their defeat when the time comes. As a token of his sincerity, he offers an ice rose to them. But neither Wignall nor Lehanna seem to be amused, although Wignall does seem to be looking forward to a face-off with Julius. These 3 are pretty much celebrities within the school because they are the only students who all have earned more than 10,000 of the total 12,000 credits. Some people think of credits as a reflection of a mage's capabilities, but Vil is nowhere near that level. Right now, he doesn't even have enough credits to graduate in the first place, and this is his final year in this school. As Vil is sitting there and wondering what he's going to do, Julius and his Blazers walk up to him and begin insulting him for his lack of magic ability, and Vil just gets out of his way to avoid causing any problems. As Julius and the others leave, Vil hears them talk about the Grand Magic Festival, and he hadn't realized it was that time of year already. Later that day during lunch, Colette comes up to Vil and tells him that his only hope of becoming a Magiavander is to get scouted at the Magic Festival. Attempting to graduate based solely on his praxis and writing isn't practical. There have been cases of students getting scouted without having the 7,000 credits needed to graduate. The Magic Festival is a huge event that takes place once every 2 years. It holds several different events and draws in high mages from the tower who hope to scout promising talents. The festival is a place where the different magic factions fight over the right to recruit the best students, and it wouldn't be a stretch to say that admissions from the upper
How big is this fucking cave, dude? Like, seriously.
There are 5 factions: the
Ow.
Thunder faction, the Elf faction,
Alright,
the
I guess we're
faction,
going
the Ice
around.
faction,
Never
and
mind.
Mysterious Noah. All these factions, excluding Mysterious Noah, are led by their respective Magiavanders, so if they scout you, it's a guaranteed promotion.
Well, there's the spider spawner. Good, I don't have to go around.
Since he's
Ow.
already failing, and for him to even get noticed, he would have to have some kind of amazing magic that would put the high mages to shame. And while he's right about that, there are still other ways to get scouted. Colette has heard rumors that Watchers will come to look for talented students, but Vil thinks Watchers are just an urban legend. There's no way a magicless no talent like him would have a place in the festival, so he's just going to stay behind the scenes and help with the preparations instead. Colette thinks that Vil could change the way people look at him if he entered the festival this year and show them what he can do, but Vil still doesn't want to enter since it would end up becoming an athletics contest if he were there. He has tried entering the festival once
We will
before
dig
back
up
in
from
his second
here.
year, and he
Wait a
really
second, I
got
can't do
booed
that. I
off
don't have any
stage for his
torches.
physical attacks.
Fuck.
He got a bad reputation for that, and he still hasn't gotten over the humiliation of it, so he really doesn't want to enter. Students all over the school have begun practicing in earnest for the festival, and Colette reminds Vil that aside from the high mages, many scouts from the capital will be there as well. So even if Vil can't earn a place as a Magiavander, he could still get scouted for another career. The Magic Festival is a great place to showcase your abilities, so Colette really wants Vil to show everyone how capable he is. But Vil still doesn't think it's a good idea to participate without being able to use magic. Just then, Colette notices something strange, so she goes over to one of the other lockers and tells Vil that there's something off about it. It's well hidden, but she can sense a barrier here. Vil asks if she is sure it isn't just a locking spell for the locker, but Colette can tell that the barrier is made to block sound and obstruct view. Colette could break it with her magic, but that could be troublesome, so she asks Kiki to do it instead. Once the barrier is dispelled, they find a staircase hidden behind the lockers, which leads to a secret gambling ring. A bunch of students all gather here so they can place bets on who will come out on top the Magic Festival. Colette finds it deplorable that the students would turn their locker room into an illegal gambling ring, but then Vil notices Xian standing across from them.
Okay, good, we're back in the mine shaft.
Xian doesn't seem like the kind of guy who enjoys betting.
Oh, God.
Xian gets defensive and starts yelling at Vil to mind
Disgusting.
his own business. But Colette steps in and warns Xian that if he gets into a fight with Vil for no reason, then she will make sure he regrets it. Xian calms down, so Vil asks him again what he's doing here since he doesn't seem to be participating in all the betting. Xian doesn't feel the need to answer Vil's questions, but it's totally not like he came here to see whether people were betting on him or not, and he definitely isn't upset that no one thinks he has a chance of winning even though he's the 4th best student in the school. Sure, the top 3 students may have slightly more credits than him, but Shion's credit score is in the high 9,000s, and the only reason he ranks lower than the others is because he failed a writing test once. Since then, he has been working a lot harder to make up for the lost credits and catch up, but his magic skills are still on par with Lehana and the others, but he is just as likely to win at the festival as any of them are. Although, he doesn't know why he is trying to justify himself to Vil. After that, the rest of the day goes on like normal, and once classes are over, Vil gets up to leave. Before he goes, Colette gets his attention and asks if he is free after school because she would love to hang out with him, even if it's going into the dungeon together, but unfortunately, Vil has work to do tonight, so he won't be able to spend time with her today. Later that night, Vil is at Jana's restaurant on the outskirts of the city, and he's working as a waiter there. Our story starts with a boy who has shut himself off.
Yeah, that anime's getting kind of boring, not gonna lie.
Every day. As he lay in his bed scrolling Reddit with no future plans and no aspirations, a bright light suddenly shines from his phone, and he is greeted by a goddess with a huge personality.
What the
She
fuck?
congratulates him on being selected to reincarnate into a new world, and he now realizes that he must have died in his room and ended up here. The goddess cuts straight to the chase and tells him that she'll give him a cheat power to make his life easy in the new world. She must feel bad that he ended up as a shut-in in his last life. The guy takes it all in and declares that there's only one thing that he wants in his next life, that is for it to be peaceful. He still wants to be a shut-in, just without the bullying part, so he agrees to be reincarnated. He wakes up as a baby and a king is standing above him. Happy to have such a healthy boy, he praises the boy for being so healthy and having the royal mark on his chest. But then they measure his magic power. The king thinks that his power should be really high since he is a royal, maybe 40 or 50. But once it is measured, the orb only shows a power level of 2, and he has no attributes except barrier magic. So it seems that the boy was born with low magic capabilities, but his parents should still love him, right? Nope, they are worried about their image as royals for giving birth to such a weak baby. And just like that, they make plans to throw the baby. Looks like this guy can't catch a break. He was reincarnated into a new world only for him to see one life. Meanwhile, the goddess is panicking that they are about to throw the baby. She gave him a cheat power, but they misunderstood it. She actually gave him a magic power of 1002, but the measurements they use can only show 2 digits, but he's going to be killed on the misunderstanding. The baby has been left in the forest and he cannot move since while he's a baby. He tries to think of a plan for his survival and remembers that the measurements said he could use barrier magic. He starts imagining a barrier and light begins to congregate above him. And finally, a box is formed in the air. He remarks that magic is actually pretty easy to use, so he plays around with its capabilities and is able to change its size, shape, and color. He is also able to apply it to himself and levitate, so now he's a floating baby. But then, a giant wolf appears behind him.
Oh my god, stop. Get out of here. Dude, where are they coming from? I swear to God, where?
But the barriers aren't able to do much on their own. So he switches tactics and starts
whatever, I don't even give a shit. Yep, this whole area just went fucking pitch black, dude.
The wolf knew it was outmatched when the baby started chucking islands at it and decided to give up. Later, the wolf apologizes for trying to eat him. She just wanted to regain some magic power. But she didn't know he would start throwing land at her. He tries to respond, but he's still a baby.
I love how they always get stuck in there.
He thinks of a way to solve the problem and creates a barrier that can create sound and puts it in his throat so that he can talk through it. He greets the wolf and she asks who he is and what he is doing in the forest as a baby. He introduces himself as Hart and tells her that he was yeeted by the palace since they thought his magic power was too low, but the wolf sees that he has power that far exceeds the limits of a human being. She deduces that he must be the reincarnation of the demon lord. While he is actually just a shut-in, he plays along and declares himself as the demon lord. The wolf is now terrified and accepts her death willingly, but he doesn't want to kill. He just doesn't want her to eat him. She is moved by his generosity in sparing her life and swears to serve him loyally for the rest of her life. Hart just wants to be done with this and agrees with her and calls her Flay so that he can leave. But as he is floating away, she calls him back and informs him that a contract has been created between them since he named her Flay. While he is trying to explain that he didn't mean to create a contract, a problem arises and he falls to the ground. He hasn't had anything titty milk since he was born and is starving. He asks Flay to help him and she does her best and turns into a human, but she is naked. Hart is embarrassed, so he uses a barrier to make some clothes for Flay, and Flay once again tries to provide him with breast milk.
What the hell? Dude, he's gonna get breastfed, wow.
Later, Flay apologizes for
her name is Bobby Flay.
But then someone is heard approaching them from a distance. Flay wants to kill them immediately, but she is stopped by Hart, who wants to at least talk to them first. He creates two barriers that act as communication
Okay, so we
devices
labeled the way
and
back.
asks Flay
Good,
to
good,
confront the
good.
approacher. The person is a man, and when Flay asks him why he is in the forest, he says he is here to collect the baby. Flay refuses to hand him over, and the man asks why she cares so much. She then proudly exclaims that she is serving the baby. The man is just here to rescue Hart, since he is a relative of the king and can't just sit by and let the baby die. He even brought fresh titty milk for him to drink before he starves to death. Flay is angry that he went up to her since she can't make any milk, but Hart just wants the milk before he starves to death. Flay asks him why he wants to rescue the baby, and he responds that it's because he lost his own child, and he can't just let a baby die in the forest because the king abandoned
Okay,
it.
so we got all of our shit. And I labeled the path back, so that's
Flay is
good.
moved by the story
This
and starts
area is a
crying
lot
her
bigger
eyes
than
out,
I
and the
thought it
man
would be.
finds
It
her
took almost a
behavior
stack of
strange
torches
for
to
human.
accomplish that.
Since she has made the baby her master, he makes a deal with her to hire her as a servant so that she can watch over the baby as much as she wants to, and Flay agrees to his terms. They then destroy the cradle to make it look like Hart died in the forest. Then, to make it believable, he rips off Hart's cloth and pours animal blood on it to sell the cover. But Hart still hasn't gotten his milk yet. It has been 9 years since that night, and Hart greets his new family in the morning. They treat him very well, and he loves them dearly. But there is one problem. Even though he has
there's
been
a way to
living with
do
them all
this.
this time, he is still hated by his little sister. And he didn't even do anything to her. Flay walks in, dressed in a maid outfit, and prepares to serve the family their breakfast. And surprisingly, the little girl likes Flay a lot, which only rubs salt in the wounds of Hart, who has no idea why she doesn't like him. She asks Flay to play with her later, and she initially refuses. But then Hart orders her to play with the girl, so she agrees to the play date. The girl is ecstatic that she gets to play with Flay, and later she chases Flay in the garden and has a wonderful time. Hart is watching them from a distance and feeling left out, but then his mother comes up to him and tries to cheer him up, telling him that his sister, Charlotte, only avoids him because she doesn't know how to approach boys around her age, so it's not because of anything that he has done. After all, she is really attached to Flay.
Yeah, let's
But Hart feels that something
go.
worse might be going on. Maybe Charlotte knows that he is actually nearly 30 years old inside and thinks he is a creep. He falls to his knees in defeat, and his mother tries to cheer him up again by suggesting that they go shopping to buy a gift for Charlotte.
That's so
After all, there is
satisfying. I
one way
love
to
that.
deliver a kid's affection: bribery. But shopping is a big
Okay, the
issue
gravel
for
gets to
him,
stay and the
someone with
rocks get to stay. I do
absolutely
not
zero
want
social
either.
skills. But his mother is adamant that it will be a good experience for
Here's
him.
what we're gonna do.
Since he's always in
We
his
need to
room.
label the path
One
back
day,
to
he's
this.
going to be a heir to the castle, so he needs to go touch grass, and as his mother, she'll support him all the way. Later, Hart is in his room with a clone of himself right next to him. He contemplates leaving the castle permanently, but if he leaves, he has to take Flay with him, and Charlotte loves Flay, so she'd be sad if she left. But if he left Flay behind, she would most likely end herself, since her whole purpose in life is to watch over Hart. But if he
You mean
stays,
not
he'll
Hart, more
eventually
like
learn to put a
fart?
bunch of responsibility on his shoulders, something he really doesn't want. In the past 9 years, he's been researching the capabilities of his barrier magic, and now he is able to make a clone of himself with it. But the clones still can't talk or move on their own. Just then, his father knocks on his door and asks him to come outside to learn the way of the sword for a bit. Exactly what Hart didn't want: responsibility. His father wants to train him in the way of the sword since he still thinks that Hart's magic power is extremely low. He has to be good at something, so Hart tries to use his research as an excuse, and his father is supportive, but he still wants Hart to at least try the sword first. He is supposed to attack, but his father is known as a war hero, so he doesn't expect to be able to get a hit on him. For now, he covers himself in a barrier so that he doesn't get hurt badly, and then lunges at his dad. He surprises him and ends up smashing his sword on the ground and leaving a pretty big hole. He now takes an attack stance and tells Hart to try avoiding his strike, and Hart leaps into the air and dodges it. This is really surprising.
We're gonna be
since
really
normally you
excessive
need to be
about
at
this
least
because
level
I
30
want to
to dodge
make
that strike.
fucking sure
Hart
I
doesn't
can
think
find
that
my
it
way
is
back.
strange, since even when he checked his magic power in a crystal that went up to 3 digits, it still only showed 2, and the highest number ever recorded for a human is 77, so how can he be so strong? His dad brushes it off and is now determined to turn Hart into the best sword user.
I think I can probably find it now. I think I've probably gone a little overboard with this.
Hart and has a chat with his wife about Hart's power, and comes to the conclusion that Hart might be part demon. There are records showing that long ago someone in the royal family clapped some demon cheeks, and now there is a rare chance for members of the royal family to be born with demonic traits. His wife protests.
Well, this is not looking good. It's raining.
But he does have strange
damn
power and a
it.
demon servant. But these guys are decent parents. They aren't going to abandon Hart like some other baby-throwing people. They want him to be happy, and Charlotte overhears their conversation. Some time passes and Haruto is up in his room.
Why is there already a creeper,
He wonders
dude?
why his father has been so busy lately.
The
But then again,
fucking hell do
being
you
busy
want?
means
I'm
less
not
work
interested.
for
Get
himself,
away.
So he can't complain. He hears a commotion downstairs and goes to check
You're not
it
gonna
out.
leave
and
me
upon
alone, are
entering
you?
the castle, he sees a bunch of badly wounded men laying on the ground, and his father seated like he just
What a
lost his
fucking
game of poker
idiot.
and gambled away his life savings. He asks what happened here, and his dad informs him that they had set out to lay waste to a band of thieves. They planned ahead of time, got the right equipment, and even laid an ambush. But yet, they still got their ass handed to them by a bunch of thieves. His father doesn't want to be seen in his shame of defeat, so he asks Haruto to go back inside. Haruto turns to leave, and
it's a
Flay
nice
starts roasting
grass
his father
ring.
for being trashed
Don't you
since
dare
he was
ruin
beaten
my
by
work,
his
you little
father.
shit.
But trash or not, he is still Haruto's father, so he gives Flay one warning to shut her mouth, or she may not have a mouth to shut anymore. He continues walking, and as he goes, he heals all the soldiers. That night, Flay is standing outside Haruto's room, and he can't get any sleep because of it. He opens the door and asks her what she's doing, but she doesn't answer because of the warning he gave her earlier. He tells her that she can speak now. He's not angry at her anymore, but he can't let the attack on his father slide, so he's going to deal with the thieves himself. On the roof, he uses his surveillance barriers to scan the city for any signs of the thieves, and he finds them out in the woods having a drink. He wonders how they were able to defeat his dad's army, and Flay suggests that there might be a spy among them. Not that it matters much, since none of them are going to live past the next 10 minutes. With that, he flies off into the sky with Flay, and as he goes, his little sister spots him. At the thieves' camp, Bucktooth overhears praising their captain for forcing Haruto's father to retreat, and he starts gloating about returning to his home country after killing him. However, unbeknownst to him, Haruto was standing there and heard the whole thing. He freezes them in place with his barriers, but then Bucktooth starts running his mouth.
They need to learn their
Haruto
place.
has no patience for the English chatter. His conditions are simple: answer his questions truthfully, or have all 206 bones shattered. After his interrogation, he finds out that the thieves are actually soldiers from the neighboring empire who were tasked with pretending to be thieves and attacking to cause man. The captain starts begging for
Okay, so that takes care of all the nitty-gritty, I guess.
Batman has a no loose ends policy. He orders Flay to burn down the entire fort.
I don't want the flowers, I'll just leave them be. I won't mess with them. I will break all the grass and the fucking ferns at like this level and maybe on the top level too.
The next day, Haruto's father has received the letter and has confirmed that the thieves' fort had been burnt down. Charlotte asks him
Oh, thank goodness I'm finally back.
I only have 2 more stacks of torches left.
Upon hearing this,
That better fucking be enough to finish this. If I spread them out, probably.
Last night she saw him fly off, and when she went to his room, his clone was in
Wait.
bed. Flay
I
takes
got
the
another
opportunity
minecart.
to brag about Haruto's immense
Nice.
power. Later, Flay tells Haruto everything that happened with Charlotte, and Haruto now realizes that Charlotte must be incredibly suspicious of him.
Okay, we'll sleep for tonight. I'm gonna wait for my thing to get done.
Following him around wherever he goes, even when he's taking a bath. She keeps it up for an entire week, and by the end of it, Haruto is now spying on her too. During breakfast the next day, Haruto finds out that his mother and Charlotte are going to be going on a trip together, but later in his room, the surveillance barriers that he set
Damn,
up
dude, I'm already out of
because
space in
she's
that
being
chest,
attacked
dude.
right
What the
now.
fuck?
Their guards got jumped, and the assailants are now after them. Natalia is doing her best to defend Charlotte, but there is no way she can handle 4 guys at once. A barrier appears on Charlotte's ear and suddenly has a good idea of where to go as if she is receiving instructions. His mother wonders where Charlotte is receiving instructions from, but she's not going to complain about being saved. They get to the edge of a cliff and Charlotte says to jump, and left with no other choice, she jumps off the cliff and runs into the cave Charlotte had been directed to. And this is where she makes the dumbest decision I've seen all day. She leaves Charlotte in the cave in order to go find the person that was directing Charlotte, and is almost immediately captured. She now decides that it's not worth it to be captured, so she is prepared to off herself. Haruto arrives just in time to save her from herself, and now he's really angry, so he blasts the attackers away. He then heads into the cave to speak with Charlotte, and he tries disguising his voice to keep his identity secret. But she already recognizes his aura and calls out to him as her brother. She asks him if he is a hero of justice, and he just plays along with it for now. He's still got to go deal with the attackers, no loose ends policy and all. Haruto returns home where his father is receiving a report on what happened. He tries to play it off like he had no involvement, but Gold is still suspicious. He realizes that the Imperial soldiers must have been led into the kingdom by a mole on his side. Not long after, Charlotte and Natalia return and are greeted warmly by Gold, and Charlotte has finally warmed up to Haruto. Haruto is happy to finally have his sister's love, but Flay is joking.
Okay, cool. So that's
From now on,
good.
Charlotte has been clinging to Haruto nonstop.
I'm running out of
She
food,
bargains
though.
with
I need to
him
hurry
and
my
sees
butt
the
up.
barriers he has set up, and she faces
It's
ancient
amazing
magic.
how much shit I have.
Haruto
Like,
goes along
what
with
the
it to get
fuck?
discussion over whip, but Charlotte
That is a
tells him that she knows
disgusting
where he
amount
can
of
get some
iron,
quills
dude.
on
Like,
ancient magic.
holy
She
shit.
takes him to the library, and he is amazed that he has never seen it despite living here longer than Charlotte. She grabs a stool and starts picking out books related to ancient magic for him, and they sit down to read it. Charlotte wants him to read one of the books to her. So she
The
says
iron
this
nugget
is
will go
a
there,
whole
right?
other experience.
That's a lot of
While
iron,
reading,
dude.
he gets
Holy
reminded of
shit.
anime and starts complaining
We've
about
almost
how he
got
never
enough for
gets
the
to
iron
watch
beacon,
anything
actually.
he
Go
wants to.
figure.
Charlotte has no idea what he's talking about, so she asks him to explain what anime.
I need to double that and give it to the next person, though, for the last bit.
Charlotte, it sounds like a fake fan trying to explain the correct watch order.
We'll have to double the iron that we have currently in total, plus at our base, too, to be able to make the soul beacon. Thankfully, that's the hard part. You know, maybe trading for soul steel isn't such a bad idea.
To get an internet connection to Japan. He wants to give Charlotte a chance to watch anime, so he logs into his streaming service and creates a child account to spare her the trauma of watching Boku no Pico. She gets her first look at anime and she is entranced by the colorful movie pictures. But there's one problem: she doesn't understand Japanese. Haruto thinks it might be hard for her to learn Japanese, but Charlotte is a goddamn...
Oh, it's thunderstorming. Oh boy. Hey, at least I get to sleep, right? 3 hours of watch time, dude? That's a bunch of bullshit. I didn't get that much when I was a kid. Holy fuck. But he tells her to keep that a secret, and after they finish, Haruto heads to bed. But he can't sleep since Charlotte crawled into his bed while he wasn't looking, and from the corner of his eye, he can see his mother shipping them by the doorway. He's a firm believer of it's not incest if you're not blood related. The next day, Gold heads into battle to take care of the rest of the thieves, and Charlotte is now sad that he has to go. Later, she asks Haruto why he can't just go and solve all the problems with his power, and she's basically asking him to create world peace. He wanted to keep out of all fights that didn't directly involve him, but if that's what his sister wants, then he will do it. She also asks him to become a Power Ranger, and if he's going to fight crime, he might as well go all the way. He sets up a camera for Charlotte to watch and flies off only to find the thieves hiding in a cave, so he beats them up. He is then spotted by Gold, who realizes that he is a little late to the party. When asked about his motives, he just says he's here for justice, but internally he dies of cringe. As time passes and he continues to beat up bad guys, he has become known as the Black Knight. Dark Knight was already copyrighted. After some time, Haruto has finally perfected his clone, and it is really similar to him. But when Flay comes to tell him to come downstairs, the clone is also similar in Haruto's laziness. Haruto goes downstairs where his father is greeting the princess and prince, his biological siblings. The prince is a little piece of shit, and the fact that he will become king went to his head. He sees Haruto and decides to assert dominance by dueling him. The duel starts and Haruto scans the prince's level, and he actually has a pretty high level cap for this world, but that's still nothing compared to Haruto's 1002. The prince lunges at Haruto, but with the level difference, he is too slow to actually hit him. However, he gets pissy about Haruto dodging, so Haruto just puts a shield around himself and takes the beating. However, the prince got too cocky and mocked him for not fighting back, which then prompted him to lay the smack down on him. He tries to fight back, but he keeps getting bodied so much that he resorts to using magic. However, something so weak does not affect him, and he can just absorb it all. If the prince wants to throw around fire, then Haruto would be more than happy to show him how it's done. But the prince has been scared out of his mind and gives up. With that out of the way that night, Charlotte has really gotten interested in this whole crime fighting thing. She spots some bandits doing bandit things, and she asks Haruto to go deal with it. We are down to the last leg of our journey in the mineshaft. I'll come back to this base a little later to do other stuff, but we're just gonna probably be AFKing up here until I get enough venom sacks. I think I have like, what, 4? Yeah, I've got 4 so far. I need another. I need at least 4 more to be able to leave. Preferably, I would like to have. I think what? I need to have at least 4 other potions, or I need to have 4 other venom sacs for potion brewing. So in total, I need to have another 8. Did nothing really spawn, dude? Are you shitting me?
He finally gets her to stop and tells her to head home for now. The bandits have had enough.
Oh my god. 21 bars? Holy shit, dude.
The prince is still all pissy about losing the fight to Haruto. But he realizes that he was
Dude, I'm running out of space. What am I gonna fucking do?
Just then, his butler comes in and tells him that he has to get ready for the banquet that evening. The butler also tells the prince to ask Charlotte to accompany him on the tour he's going to do tomorrow.
Oh shit.
Doesn't see a reason to take Charlotte.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna do this backwards, just so that way it looks a little bit nicer.
Ends up agreeing. After the banquet, Charlotte barges into Haruto's room with the clone that he sent to the banquet.
There we go. I'm about to get a stack of diamonds. That's so many diamonds, dude. Like, what the fuck?
So that banquet was the equivalent of torture. The clone is done for the day and jumps onto the bed. Charlotte tells Haruto that the prince asked her to accompany him on his tour, and hearing this, Haruto has to take some precautions. He scopes out the route of the tour and finds some cloaked people doing a ritual. He goes up to them and asks if they have a permit for their cult summoning ritual.
Those eggs are for emergency use only.
He decimated them, but they still had a trump card
What
up
the hell?
and summoned skeleton soldiers.
Dude,
Black Knight was
okay.
able to destroy all the skeletons in a single strike. But
I
they
don't
destroyed
even know.
themselves rather quickly, and no matter how many times he does it, they kept getting up. He then notices the cores on them and messes with it a little to get them to attack the others. The leader now has no choice but to summon his real trump card.
Whatever.
Haruto is amazed to see a real golem, but his all leaves him.
Why is Haruto wearing a Power Ranger getup?
He is knocked back and smashes into a tree, and after he regains his composure, he is then able to see the golem's weak spot on its chest. So he chucks a spike into it. The golem stops moving, and the summoners are shocked that it failed. After
There's
some
still
moments,
2
the
minecarts
spike
down there that I
again
never
and is now
got.
attacking the summoners. Haruto has rewritten the golem's magic formula, so now the summoners are out of trump cards. He gets the skeletons to tie them up and interrogates the leader on who he works for. But the guy...
I wish I knew where they were.
Haruto isn't much of a people's person, so he gets straight to the point. Tell me the truth, or I bury your team. Hearing the pleas of his subordinates, the leader finally cracks and discloses that they are part of the Queen's summoner team. Haruto probes further, and the leader reveals that their plan was to attack the tour tomorrow and assassinate Charlotte. The Queen fears that Charlotte will one day grow too powerful and end up challenging her power. Haruto has not pieced together, and all the recent trouble has been the doing of the Queen. There are a lot of things going through his mind right now, but one thing is certain. That bitch is gonna pay. He lets his emotions get the best of him and
I'm kind of surprised that they never nerfed pig breeding to require more than just a fucking bar of chocolate, dude.
Even if she is his biological mother, he's done playing Batman. He's taking the Punisher.
Really, there's no way to nerf it reasonably, though. At least not without making it more convoluted.
Charlotte tries to break the ice by telling Prince Laius that he doesn't have to be too upset about losing to Haruto, since he never stood a chance to begin with, but that just rubs salt in the wound. After accepting his defeat, Laius is a lot less of a brat and is just interested in knowing how Haruto can be so strong. With no other explanation, they speculate that Haruto might be part demon, but there are no signs of any demon traits. Charlotte confirms that Haruto has no demon traits, and she can guarantee it since she has bathed with him, shocking the siblings. Charlotte asks if there is something wrong with it, but Laius says it's not necessarily wrong, it's just not normal. The carriage stops and they get out to see the wheat fields.
Okay, let's get back to business.
Haruto asks Gold what he would do.
Right, on to
after
business.
Charlotte's life. Gold had anticipated that the Queen was trying
I need to be very conservative with my torches, dude.
After Charlotte.
If I run out of torches, it's not gonna be good. I'm not gonna mine the wood here or anything.
Haruto says it might be better if the Queen just disappeared, but as wicked as she may be, she is still the strongest warrior in the
Okay,
kingdom.
forgive me for getting sidetracked, but like...
There would be a civil war to fill the power vacuum. But if someone else of equal power were to take her place, then it would be fine. Haruto suggests that Gold become king, but he knows he is not cut out to be king.
Yeah, they are definitely above me. They have to be. Yep, there it is.
Haruto decides to protect Charlotte until she can become queen.
Okay, well that's not what I meant to do, but whatever.
But he still has plans to go see her. The queen receives a report on the failure to assassinate Charlotte, and she is not happy about it. She throws wine in the face of the knight and calls him useless.
Okay, cool, he's
The knight
gone.
tries to
Thank
explain that the
goodness.
Black Knight has been
Get his
foiled
bitch
all
ass
the time.
out of here.
The queen doesn't see what the big deal is with one measly vigilant. She thinks she might just have to take him on herself and put an end to this. and the chance to put her money where her mouth is presents itself as Black Knight is right there. The Queen's Knights try to guard her, but they are immediately choked out by barriers. The Queen asks how you managed to get into the castle, since there should be several layers of barriers around it.
What the fuck? Dude, okay, wait.
So it's not like that was going to stop him.
Dude.
She doesn't care anymore.
What the hell? Did I turn me on or something? Why did that creeper explode? We found it.
She creates a ball.
Okay, maybe it's not so smart for me to be standing right there.
She just jumps straight out of it. Next, she tries throwing spikes.
You're gonna go get that iron, though. That's a good iron. It's good. Any iron is good iron. It's gonna take me a while to fucking smelt all. Oh, this is gold? Worth it.
It's now his turn to attack, and he just casually pelts her with blast after blast until she runs out of mana to defend herself. With no other options, she
5 main, not bad, not bad. That's really good, actually.
Killed the Demon King, and she exclaims that she is the strongest in the world. But immediately after, she gets disarmed and is now defeated. He still can't kill her, despite how much he wants to, so he puts a collar around her neck that will kill her if she ever does anything against Gold or Charlotte again and leaves her to wait in her defeat. He walked in, asserted dominance, and just left right after. After a long night of asserting dominance, Haruto's threat has kept the Queen at bay for 5 years, and now he is spending the day playing with Charlotte in the snow. Not much has changed as Charlotte is still...
Dude, Haruto fucking takes over the entire kingdom. What the fuck?
As Charlotte and Flake
we will follow the stones to go back to our main area later.
Gold talks about how the Queen hasn't made another attempt on Charlotte's life since 5 years ago, and all of a sudden, she's wearing a slave
It's just straight ahead.
At first, the other nobles thought it was just some weird fashion statement, but after a while, they started wondering.
That would definitely explain that water source, I suppose.
However, one thing is certain with Charlotte now safe. He can continue to live his peaceful shut-in life. That peace lasted for all of 2 seconds as Gold tells him that he has to go to school now.
Wow.
Doesn't want to go
look at that, I found it.
There, but there are factors that he can't refuse. The king
what the fuck do you want?
And it was most likely
why did that creeper explode also? I'm a little concerned, but also kind of... it made me laugh a bit.
Gold says he can take
on the inside, not on the outside. Okay, new area, nice. I like it. There's water up there, cool.
But that is basically handing yourself over on a silver
just
plate.
Gonna go ahead and do that real quick, just to add a little extra layer of protection.
But still has plans for avoiding school altogether. He's going to send his clone instead, but the clone also doesn't want to go. But there is another plan. Since the clone can't use magic, Haruto would be expelled for lack of ability, and he would not have to go anymore.
Okay, I don't need that torch there. I thought maybe I might need it, but it looks like I'm not gonna need that.
He doesn't have any main character powers to defend himself. So Haruto compromises and promises to use barrier magic to make sure he at least doesn't get hurt. In a log cabin in the middle of the woods, Flay is lighting down the windows while Charlotte is watching anime and Haruto is playing video games. He then suddenly recalls something that his procrastination had led him to neglect. He's still about to find an attendant for the
Wait a second.
to go with him.
Give me a sec.
While walking in the forest, Haruto comes across a barrier in the forest and walks into it only to find
don't let me cook ever again.
The skeletons to live in. What else was he going to do with them? After he defeated them 5 years ago, they swore their loyalty to him. So with no idea what to do, Haruto just gave them some land and chucked them into the wilderness. The leader tells Haruto that he can order them to do anything he wants. But what he wants to know is why there are other monsters here too. The other monsters are from the monsters that Flay scared the living daylights out of. So now they live here and recover from the PTSD. Haruto thinks it's fine as long as they don't cause any trouble, but he is still surprised that the settlement seems to have grown quite a bit. And they've even started farming.
Get out of here, you little bastards.
Haruto starts thinking,
you know, and if you ever wonder why spawners don't spawn skeletons with their bows, it's because if you were to, like, farm them out, you could get bows and easy straight from them. It'd be very easy. You could literally just fucking kill them manually.
Haruto's face and asks if he may have done anything wrong. But Haruto denies it and says he's just impressed with how well Johnny is handling things here. Later, Haruto sits by the lake and talks to himself about how tired he is. He had thought he could just spend time alone in the forest, but that whole thing happened. And while he is sitting there, the golem pops up behind him and sits down. The golem is named Jigen and is a lot more soft-spoken than Johnny. In that respect, Haruto would like to take her as his attendant, but I assume the academy doesn't make 10-ton beds. As Haruto walks back to the cabin, he realizes that picking an attendant might actually be really difficult. But seeing as he has learnt nothing from his procrastination, he decides to forget about it for now. He returns home and Flay asks him what all this talk of attendance is about, But Haruto remembers that Flay is
Ooh, there is more gold. Nice. I knew it.
The next day, Charlotte
I'm allowed to
starts
cook
coming up with
again.
new names for things and ends up naming the monster village Pandemonium. Elsewhere in some mountains, a party of adventurers is cornering a blizzard dragon. But the dragon starts to fly
Too
away,
fucking
so
easy.
they chase after it.
Yeah, that's a
Dragon
that's a
takes
fucking
blizzard
jungle. I
dragon
mean
to the
cave
mountains
spider
and ends up
spawner,
buried
of
by an
course.
avalanche. A blizzard dragon losing to snow is pretty ironic. Gold calls Haruto in to discuss something and tells him about the blizzard dragon that got wounded in the
God
mountains.
no, dude.
It hasn't entered their region yet, but if it were to go on a rampage, then there would be several casualties. So he wants Flay to go deal with it, but Flay refuses.
I thought I heard a
saying that
creeper
she
just
only
now.
follows orders from Haruto. But even when Haruto asks her to do it,
How did I just do that? I didn't
the
even
reason
intend to
is
do
that
that. I
she's
thought I was
never
gonna
met
fall
that
just for a
dragon
sec.
that it chose not to help during the demon
Not
plague.
bad, Hi
And
Kaylee,
she
not
can't bring
bad.
herself to
Way to
tell
go.
the coward. After talking a little more, they exit the office and Charlotte is outside eavesdropping on the conversation.
There's a lot of resources down here. I'm not sighing because I'm like sick of it. I'm sighing because there's a shitload of stuff to do.
They head to the mountains and
Yeah, I'm not gonna complain though.
scanning the area until he locates the dragon.
We'll have
But
basically
eventually,
every
the
single trade
dragon,
besides
so they
farmer
attack
trades.
back. The
Like
adventurers
potatoes
are
and
about to finish
fucking
off the
wheat or
dragon,
whatever.
But Haruto jumps in to defend it and heals its wounds.
So that's
Flay
good.
then starts chucking fire at the adventurers, who so far have done nothing wrong whatsoever. The dragon gets up and freezes Haruto immediately, which is not how you thank someone for saving you, and after Haruto breaks free, he's really angry. The dragon can speak but ignores Haruto, and asks Flay why she's obeying a human. And this sets off a long, unskippable cutscene. 1 hour later, Flay is done with her speech. The dragon now believes that Haruto is the demon lord and apologizes for not fighting the war between humans and demons. She lived alone for 300 years and doesn't like conflict. She recounts that at first she just slept in a cave, but then an adventurer dropped the book and she loved reading it so much that she left her cave and took on a human form so that she could go to a human village to read books. But while they may seem harmless, she still stole those books from the library and one
Oh,
day
get outta
adventurers
here.
found her and attacked, burning
Get the
down
fuck outta
all the
here.
stolen books in the process.
I never got this iron. That's weird. Usually I'm not that, like, I'm not usually that, like, what's the right word? Distant. Yeah, they're right above me. They have to be. I just can't put any torches down here, dude. Because they'll light that shit on fire. There we go. I don't know if that'll actually work, but I'm hoping that it does. Wait, do I even need to do that? No, I don't even need to do that. That was a waste. Never mind.
Flay is stuck on the ground. When they get back to the castle,
Oh my god, what the hell?
Gold is already way beyond questioning the things that Haruto does, so he says it is fine.
Nope, we're gonna have to take care of this thing from the front. There's just no way, dude. I'm not dealing with that shit. I refuse.
The food Lisa made is served to the family, and they all love it and praise her for her skill. Haruto's mother asks Lisa if she is good at anything else, and she says she is quite knowledgeable in basic magic.
Oh,
She's
it's
made
blocked
Charlotte
here.
personal maid.
Wait a
Next morning,
second.
Lisa gets up to get Charlotte out of bed dressed for the day. They then go into the courtyard and Lisa begins teaching Charlotte about basic magic and assisting her with her studies.
Oh.
After a few lessons, Charlotte
Bunch of
is already
fucking
able to
losers,
manifest a
dude.
gigantic fireball.
Get out of
Haruto praises
here.
Lisa for her capability and apologizes for making her do so much work.
Dude,
But Lisa doesn't seem bothered
that did
by it.
4.5 hearts of damage. Nope, 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 nope.
Charlotte doesn't
I'm not
want
playing
to cause
nice.
trouble for her.
Regen potion.
So she tells her to
Fuck
open up about
off,
any
you little
problems she may be
shits.
having, and asks to become friends with her.
Well, it was fun while it lasted, I suppose. Well, for me. Maybe not for you.
He realizes that she's the perfect
Dude, Regen
candidate
is so
that she's
fucking
only
OP.
become friends with Charlotte.
Like, look at this shit. I can basically do whatever the hell I want with this.
Create a magic door to allow Lisa to return here to be with
Dude,
Charlotte and
oh
also
my
as a
god.
human at the same time.
Dude, they have to nerf
Later,
Regen. There's just no
Charlotte is
fucking
feeling the
way.
depression of finishing her favorite series and is bored out of her mind. Liz informs her that she has to head back to the castle, and Haruto finally gets around to telling her that he will be going to school.
Yeah, I would much rather not light all of this on fire, thank you. Okay, I think that might be all of the spider spawners. This time I'm for real.
And Flay is upset that he didn't tell her first. She wonders why he even needs to go to school at all since he is the demon lord.
Where is he?
She
Like,
forgets that she
bro.
isn't supposed to tell Charlotte
They're
about
so
that.
annoying, dude.
Charlotte asks
I can
Liz
deal with the
if
cave
she
spiders.
doesn't
They're
know
not that
about
bad.
Haruto.
Actually, I take that
But
back.
others
They're pretty
find him
annoying too,
opinion
honestly. But,
position.
like,
Back to the matter
I
at
can
hand,
deal with them
Charlotte
since I have
finds
regen
immediately
potions.
that
If
she
you have
can
regen
see
1
why
potions, you
Haruto
basically
goes
can't
to
die
school
unless you're
early.
fucking
She
retarded.
knows for a fact that he hates school with a passion.
Dude, is there
He goes to
actually
school
another
and he
one?
serves to fuel Charlotte's
Oh my
imagination.
fucking
She now
god,
believes
dude.
that there's a secret student council at the school which is leading students down the path of evil.
Might want to consider putting that right there,
She thinks
but
Haruto
whatever.
is going to go fight them, and everyone believes her without a second thought. So Charlotte makes a plan for them to investigate it at the academy, but they don't ask Haruto about any of this. Lisa, as the only one there,
Yeah, it's another
with
dumbass
no
cave
brain
spider
cells,
spawner.
actually
Big
goes to ask
surprise.
Haruto about
Dude,
it.
this has to be like
She decides
5 or
not
6
to
mine
tell
shafts
Steve
fused
and makes up an
together.
excuse for why she must go with him to the academy. Haruto still plans to get kicked out as soon as possible, but at least his attendant issue is
Dude,
solved.
how far in
Haruto
does this
is about
shit
to leave for
go?
the academy with Lisa and has hidden her tail and horns to prevent drawing attention to her, but she seems a little uneasy about having lost them. And Flay is over there in the corner crying about not being the one to go with Haruto. Meanwhile, in the royal capital, the princess...
I'm not gonna complain though, I guess. It's easy resources, isn't it?
Right now. He tries to disinterest
No
her,
fucking
but he's
way.
the one who
Dude.
went through all the trouble to get Haruto recommended to the academy.
Another bar of
The
iron.
prince has gone through a lot
I mean, I'm
of
getting a
trouble
shitload of iron
since he
regardless,
was
but
asked
like,
handed to him
dude.
by Haruto. So now he wants to go to the same school as him in hopes of learning a little about him, that's all. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to the latest.
And I get free bread
He's not the
too.
only one, because the
Fucking
prince knows that
goated,
Marion
dude.
went on a whole
Don't
tangent
need the
with him.
melon
So
seeds,
their
that's
father gave
unnecessary.
permission for Haruto
That's
to
a lot of
leave.
rocks,
She
dude.
tries to play it off and says it's not like she's in love with Haruto or anything. But the prince isn't stupid. But she basically just admitted that she loves Haruto. The conversation got real awkward real quick, so the prince changes the subject and asks if she has been alright with all the cultists doing cult things in the school.
Doing cult
The church
things.
believes
Oh,
that
okay, cool.
They are
Yeah.
using the shield of calling themselves a
That's what I
religion to
fucking
get away with
thought.
a lot of shady things, like tax evasion, and recently, they have been throwing around the idea of overthrowing the monarchy. And what's worse, it seems that the queen is a part of all this.
Oh, thank
The prince
goodness.
hasn't been able to figure her out since she had that collar put on her 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think
And
I'll
even
just
before
avoid
that,
touching
she
that.
was
Wait a
scared
second,
of
is
her.
this gonna trigger
Right
it?
now, she might be trying to crush the king altogether since they aren't on good terms, and they don't know what to do about that. Marion thinks Haruto may be
No.
able to change things.
Oh, thank goodness, dude. Holy shit. Okay, good. We can proceed with caution, but not like just leave.
Wrong, but she still has no proof of that.
Okay, I'm gonna throw my
Prince
fucking
turns out
shitty
to be
items
a
into this
hero of
hole.
Gold's province called the Black Knight, and he might be able to resolve this situation if they ask for his help.
Want it.
Queen then
Don't
comes
need
into
it.
the room acting all nice, but the reaction of the prince and Marianne is like a psycho just walked in.
There's a song called Marianne where it sounds like the guy singing it is saying derriere.
Marianne for looking at the collar.
I swear to God, I'm not even
The prince
even
begs her to
kidding.
let go of Marianne, and she just says she was just joking
Derriere.
around. She then
Derriere.
talks to the prince,
That's
and
what it
just
sounds
now
like.
realizing he's gotten a lucky fire. She gets him close and tells him to learn everything
So
he can about
stupid,
the Black
dude.
Knight from Haruto, and tell her about it. The light death threat
Spread out the
makes sense.
torches.
What a perfectly functional family this
The
is, right?
fuck is this?
The prince apologizes in his mind for getting
Fuck do you want?
Haruto involved with that crazy lady. Meanwhile, Haruto is still
I want the
lounging around
smoke.
his cabin. It would take a few days to get to the capital by carriage, but with barrier magic, he is able to
Anyways.
open a door that allows him to teleport anywhere he wants to go. It's already been a few days, so he is scheduled to arrive at the capital anytime now. Clay is still begging to be taken with him instead of Lisa.
Hey, I know this area. Wait, no, I don't. Never mind. I'm stupid. Okay, well, that's nice, I suppose.
They end up in a forest near the capital. It is still quite a long walk to the gate.
We're at deep
and they
strata
can't fly
again,
there
aren't
because they
we?
are definitely spotted, so the
Ain't
trip will
we?
have to suffer through the trek. They notice some people being attacked by a bison that is looking for an easy meal, and Haruto doesn't really care if they get eaten. But if Charlotte found out, then he would never hear the end of it. So he begrudgingly
What's that red?
transforms
Red
and
mushrooms.
heads
No
out to
fucking
save
way, dude.
the cart loses a wheel, so Black Knight uses some soft barriers to save a boy from falling first.
What can I get rid of? What can I get rid of?
The white-haired girl in the
Don't
group
need that.
runs out and tries to distract the bison.
I cannot believe I just found red mushrooms. You know how rare those are in, like, the underground? Dude, that shit's, like, disgustingly rare.
She was not able to handle it. She's about to get ran through by the bison, but Black Knight knocks it out before it can harm her. He then heals the girl, and she thanks him for his help. The kid also comes up to him and thanks him, and Haruto still has a soft spot for kids. He does his pose and announces himself.
Okay,
as
dead
Shinobi,
end, whatever.
But no one responds.
Spread the
However,
torches
kid
out.
left,
It'll
and
make you
Wolf Hog
use
away.
less torches and
He
it'll be
then
more
fixes the
efficient.
wagon and says he's going to take the bison back to its herd since it shouldn't be here. Later, he and Lisa arrive at the academy.
Him and Lizo.
Haruto
Oh,
drinks the most.
jeez. So many
Crowded lines.
memes.
This whole thing is literally draining the life out of Haruto, and after signing a mountain of paperwork, he finally gets his room. But he can't handle being here for another minute and heads back to the cabin, looking like a shriveled up raisin with another magic dwarf. When he gets there, he asks Flay to cook something for him, but Charlotte suggests that they go to a restaurant in the capital. They have lunch at a restaurant, and afterwards, Charlotte pulls out a map and tells everyone to split up to monitor different sections of the city. She then goes with Haruto and grabs his hand, saying it's a date. He takes a moment to process what she just said and then goes into full-on rationalization mode. They look different
I think he meant to say
but no one was able to
de-rationalization
tell if they're
mode,
siblings.
because his
They
sister is
wrote down
obviously
date
in love with
before
him,
and wrote on the wall.
obviously.
The DNA says it's
Ah,
not
yes.
incest, so the date is a yes.
A bro complex, yeah.
But Charlotte accidentally bumped
Sorry,
into
that took me a few
Haruto's
tries to
bicycle.
convey that into my
She seems to
thoughts.
recognize Haruto's magic power from before, but she is late for a job interview, so she has to leave. As she goes,
There's a lot of coal that was up here. I don't care about the
rocks
rocks, though.
But Haruto doesn't want to get involved with any special people, so
Cool.
he's just going to stay in his room until the
Wait.
entrance ceremony. But before the ceremony, Haruto is required to take an acid
So where does this go?
and if he does it poorly, he might be kicked out of the school for lack of ability, which is exactly what he wants. Haruto heads to the examination hall and is met by one examiner who has been waiting for him. He is given a test to finish, and he is determined to fail it.
Oh my god, stay out of my way.
Doesn't know how to answer these questions.
Y'all don't have to die if you just stay out of my way. I'm not doing this willingly. Or I'm not doing this because I want to. I'm doing this because I have to. Think before you act.
Not to know anything about barrier magic, since that is his special magic. So the answer that page truthful. Last is ancient magic, and Haruto thinks back to all the time that he spent.
Oh, they're in here, aren't they? Yep, they're right there, of course.
Before he knew it, he had accidentally answered
There we
all the
go.
questions on the paper
Should shut them up.
The
Just for a
examiner then
while.
takes him to another room to have his magic
Oh, okay.
examined,
I
and
only
he
got one out of that
checks
deal.
all the
Not
boxes
terrible, I
and
suppose.
But don't worry, she's at least 50 years old. Her name is Tyria Luciano, but that is a whole mouthful, so we will call her Tyr.
What the fuck was
She's a
that?
professor of ancient magic at the academy, so even with a recommendation letter, if Haruto gets
Oh
a
well,
bad
that was
sign,
easy.
she can have him expelled from the school. But that is all good news to Haruto. She's going to read his test answers to evaluate his magical knowledge.
Okay, you know what?
She gets an intense look on
Not
her
worth
face.
using the damn
She says it's
potion.
now time for
Sorry,
magic
bud.
power evaluation, and Haruto expects it to be 2 again.
Easy?
This time, the magic
Easy.
crystals are broken to pieces. Those
Okay,
magic
that's
crystals
another
are
cave
special,
spider spawner that has
even
been
though you need to break it. He's hoping that she will use
decommissioned.
it as an excuse
Dude, how
to
many am I
keep
gonna
her
have to
school,
break?
but
That's at least the
unfortunately,
dozenth
it's
one that I've
unreasonable for her.
fucking
I was
busted.
rather impressed by the amount of magic he possesses to be able to destroy a magic crystal. And after reading his answers, she remarks that the
Ooh.
first page is some pretty high-level magic stuff, and it would be understandable to not know the answer. She is also impressed by the amount of balls it took to write I don't know on the test. And the second and third pages all have perfect answers on them. Tyr decides then and there that she will take Haruto under her wing as an assistant to her research. But Haruto is a certified shut-in, so he goes, hell no, you can do that by yourself, I'm out of here. Later he fills his clone in on what happened. And it seems they made a good impression by accident, but all hope is not lost yet. They will definitely find a way to get kicked out quickly. Plum Haruto now has to go to the entrance ceremony. From now on, we call him Haruto 2. He doesn't want to do it, but since he is the clone here, he has no choice in the
I'm
matter.
not gonna take all the coal that I have back. That'd just be a waste of time. I will take back every single resource that I have, though.
He gets through the ceremony.
Except for maybe like 3 iron, I guess. I might leave 3 iron here, so that way I can make a pickaxe in case something shitty happens. I'll leave 3 iron and 3 diamonds, and 3 creeper
The
balls.
leader of the group calls the white-haired girl, and Haruto 2 gets roped into it. The blonde guy
I
is
see you,
elevated to
bud.
build and
You think you're
clothes
sneaky,
him in
don't ya?
past, But Haruto 2 wants no part of what this guy is saying. He tries to
Sorry,
fake
bud.
his sick
Maybe in
sickness.
another life,
But the
but
guy
not
sees
this
through his
one.
fake sickness and is so enraged by it that he starts casting a spell. Haruto 2 isn't about to wait around to see what he's cooking, so he makes a break for
He's
it. and tries to
cooking.
escape. However, the fireball still hit him, but he's fine thanks to the defensive magic Haruto cast on him. However, Blondie isn't done cooking yet and fires off more spells.
I'm not filling that in,
forcing
dude. Fuck
Haruto
that.
2 to defend himself and 360 no scope his ass with the gun. And after that, he dips. Well, that was one hell of a first day, so Haruto 2 is going to take a much-needed nap back in the cabin. A while later, Haruto receives a duel challenge from Blondie, but he wants no part in it, so he rejects it. However, his rejection was rejected as it would bring dishonor to Gold, so he now has to fight in the duel. Haruto notices the white-haired girl talking to the messenger and heading forward to Blondie's mansion, so he decides to keep an eye on her. In the mansion, Blondie is in pretty bad shape after getting 360 no scope by Haruto 2, and the girl is trying to get him to call off the duel with Haruto.
Okay,
Blondie says
cool.
he might consider her apology if she dances
Awesome.
naked for him,
Wait.
and she agrees to do it. I'm going
There.
to be honest, this is the first time I've seen events play out like this. She starts stripping down and has gotten to her bare chest. But Haruto can't stand to watch this anymore, so he turns out the lights and yells at her to have some respect for herself. He tells her to get dressed so that he can take her back to her
Ow.
dorm. In the meantime, he's going to deal with Blondie. He places a vice on him, which prevents him from using magic without severe pain as punishment for everything he did up till now, and then leaves. Later, Haruto is receiving a lot of praise for his trick shot against Blondie, whose name is Halfen. By now, the entire school has heard about it, and it will definitely be replayed on the highlight reel for years to come. People can't believe that Haruto is actually only level 2 despite the level of power he displayed. Haruto leaves the office disappointed since he thought he was being called to be expelled for beating Halfen, but he got praised instead, and now there are school-wide rumors about him, which can only lead to more main character moments if he wants to avoid it at any cost. However, before he can return to his room, he is stopped by Tyr, who still hasn't given up on having Haruto become her assistant. She explains to him that there are only 2 options in the academy, either become a knight or lock yourself away in a lab to do research. But Haruto still doesn't want to join her regardless. As she's trying to force a contract on Haruto, Prince Laius spots him and tries to come in for a bro hug.
I just heard a creeper. I don't know where he is, but if he sneaks up behind me, I swear to God I'm going to scream.
Behavior, and Haruto notices that Laius has been hitting the gym a lot. Marion asks Haruto if he has decided where he wants to study yet, and when he says he hasn't, she invites him to join her research group. However,
oh my God, that was so close, dude. That could have been a disaster.
Backing down either. They continue to fight over who will be taking Haruto to their group, but then the white-haired girl approaches Haruto because she wants to talk to him. Haruto has no idea why she wants to talk to him, but he takes the chance to get out of the situation and runs off with her, leaving Marianne worried that he might be in a relationship with her. Haruto and the girl make their way far from the academy, and she asks him why he is different.
Well, that was interesting, I
suppose.
suppose.
Haruto gets caught off guard by this and immediately creates a barrier around them out of instinct. He realizes that she was able to distinguish him from Haruto too, and when asked about it, she says she can feel immense pressure coming from him. The only other person to have said that was
okay, so that takes care of all the mineshaft in that area. Well, except for this. But we don't talk about this. This had lava in it, if I'm not mistaken.
She is really happy that he didn't turn her down since he is the first friend she has ever made, and Haruto wonders how anyone could be more of a loner than him. Her story is really similar to Haruto's, as when she was a baby, she was abandoned. But in her case, she got yeeted 4 separate times.
Stop.
It would be because she started speaking to communicate as a baby. The same thing Haruto did, only he didn't do it in front of humans.
Is there a zombie spawner, maybe?
But even there, they had treated her poorly, leaving her isolated from the outside world. So she kind of missed the memo on what common sense should be, which is why she was hoping to learn from a friend. But Haruto is also alone, so he's not sure what she would be able to learn from him. However, she's fine with learning together with him anyway, and hopes that they can get along as friends. The idea of being friends with her isn't too bad, and she's a lot better than the other options for friends he knows of, so he's fine with her. He asks if she has decided what course she's going to be taking, and she says she will be taking Ancient Magic, which belongs to Tyr. So he says he's going to go there as well, and that makes the girl extremely happy. And for the first time, Haruto's heart beats for a smile that does not belong to his sister. He regains his composure and asks what her name is. Back at the log cabin, Charlotte is missing Haruto, so she decides to pop on over with a magic door, but Flay isn't allowed to come, and she would most definitely cause property damage. As his servant, she is supposed to be by his side, and since he won't allow that, she is stuck.
Yeah, that has to be a spawner. It has to.
All the demons under the Demon Lord, who was actually very kind towards both humans and demons. He dreamed of a world where both could live peacefully, but also resign himself to being defeated by the Queen for the greater good. And Flay believes that Demon Lord was reborn as Haruto, but lost all the memories of his previous life. Lisa asks what the name of the Demon Lord was, and she tells her that it was Iris Philia, which also happens to be the white-haired girl's name. So she's the actual reincarnation of the Demon Lord, and also remembers her past as the Demon Lord. Our boy shortens her name to Iris, and is about to walk away, but she wants to do their first friend activity and pick out classes together. So Haruto invites her to his room. Charlotte was already sitting there watching anime, and immediately thinks Iris is his new girlfriend, but he denies it.
Okay, cool. That should make it a little easier for me to do lighting. It'll also give me free lighting, too. Even if these things get burned to a crisp, it doesn't really matter to me, honestly.
And maybe she isn't that serious about it. She's very serious about it. Even Iris, who has 0 life experience, can tell that something isn't right here. Anyway, they get to filling out their class forms, and Haruto is taking the Dind approach since he doesn't care which classes he takes. He gets bored and just asks Charlotte to do it for him instead, and she is more than happy to be of help to him. After that is done, Charlotte leaves his room, and Haruto covers Iris' eyes so that she doesn't see the magic door. They finish off the rest of the documents and are ready to be
Ooh.
brand new friends.
Okay, cool. Bread.
The next day after spending
Go
the night,
away.
Haruto was dreading the reality that he has to be in school today, as all students feel at some point. He knew it would be coming, but it doesn't make it any easier to deal with. Charlotte gets his attention and says she'll inform him of his schedule for the day. Based on his performance,
How do you gain fat level from bread, dude? Like, serious question. How?
Classes are shuffled around based on regular exam performance, so Charlotte is sure he can advance to a class soon, but Haruto has no intention of doing anything of the sort. He takes a look at his courses and immediately
There we
realizes it
go.
was a mistake.
I'm gonna assume this is just a dead end. Yeah, it's just a dumb fucking dead end. Big surprise.
Panic attack inducing calculus. She picked those classes because she thought Haruto would be able to breeze through them, but there's no way he's going to.
Yeah, I don't need the melon seeds.
Although the more he thinks about it, this might work
They're
out.
mostly unnecessary at this point. I literally have a shitload of
He
melons.
selects all these high-level courses. The teachers will think he must be really smart and have high expectations of him to pass the class.
Damn, that's a lot of rocks
Giving
right
him the
there.
perfect
What the
opportunity
fuck?
to let them all down.
And I'm
He's
running
about
out
to
of
set off
torches,
for
which
his
is
plan
not
to
good.
But before he leaves, Charlotte gets his attention again and reminds him that he forgot something while opening her arm. Haruto turns around and gets his goodbye hug from her as she wishes him a good day at school. But is it just me, or is this hug lasting way too long? After 30 minutes of hugging, Haruto finally heads out and is met by Iris, who greets him. She notices Liz next to him and asks who she is, to which Haruto informs her that Liz is his attendant. Being the reincarnation of the Demon Lord, Iris can tell that Liz is no human, but who is she to judge? If she's Haruto's attendant, then so be it. She greets Liz as well, and they both walk to school together. On the way, Iris is shocked to learn that Haruto was put in C class despite the skill she knows he possesses. She herself was put in A class, but from what she had heard, written exams held the most weight in determining your overall grade, but she's sure he will eventually be joining her here. Haruto still isn't thrilled about the idea of getting moved to her class.
Wow, it's a good thing I did that, or I would be in trouble right about now.
As she's leaving, Liz speaks up and says that no matter how many times she looks at her, she can't discern whether Iris is a human or a demon, but she asks what Haruto thinks. He doesn't really think she's a demon, but even if she were, she hasn't done anything evil yet, so it should be fine to leave things as they are.
Ah, yes, lighting my torch from the inside of a fucking... from the inside of water. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Hey, I'm not gonna complain. It's difficult to argue with results, isn't it?
His introductions to the class, he states how Class C is right in the middle.
Nice. Yeah, that's just a waste of torches if I use it like that.
And to do that, they'll have them all take an assessment test. Take a moment to think about.
I knew there was more mineshaft. There's always more mineshaft.
But this works out in favor of his plan to fail the class. He'll show them just how incompetent he truly is. And
Mineshaft always goes forever.
The questions are way too easy. These are the kind of questions Charlotte was able to cover in 6 months, just after she learned how to read. He wonders what the teacher was thinking to put such simple questions on a test, but he also thinks the teacher might be trying to reassure the students with questions that they can't possibly fail. This makes it a little hard to know how to respond here if he starts failing questions that are so easy. Then the school might start to suspect that he is doing it on purpose. So he comes up with a plan to find a balance between right and wrong and answer 60% correctly. After the test is over, the teacher takes a look and says he is very disappointed. Out of the whole class, barely anybody managed to get above 20%. But then again, he isn't surprised because even B-class students would only be able to average a 50 on this kind of test. Haruto hears this and can't believe what his ears are hearing because that means his score is actually the best in class as confirmed by the teacher who calls him out by name. The students clap for his achievement and he starts to realize what went wrong with his plan. It's not necessarily that his classmates are a bunch of idiots. Well, maybe a little, but the real reason is because Charlotte is just way too smart, so the things he learned with her are actually advanced questions. The teacher promises that with his outstanding performance, he'll make sure to put a good word for Haruto to be able to move up to Class A before the next lesson begins. And just like that, 20 minutes after the first day of school, he had been promoted to a class. As soon as he sets foot on the class, he is spotted by Iris and Ringhart, and they immediately
Good to know we're still in the mountain biome, I guess.
Haruto. Their argument is cut short, however.
I'm out of room for coal, though, which is a problem.
She introduces her as their teacher and an elemental magic theory expert, but Haruto is just upset because he can already tell that this teacher is going to be a pain in the ass. She singles out Haruto, Iris, and Ranhart for being only first years, but having signed up for her incredibly advanced class, and still having the nerve to sit in the very front row while chatting away. The moment they fail to answer even one of her questions, she'll be throwing all
I had a
three
feeling
of
this
them
led
out.
somewhere. It always
And
does.
Haruto
Oh,
and Iris
jeez.
get
I'm
her
out of
to join
space,
Kira's
bro.
research group, and she's got a meeting with Lily. so she's going to take it out on the two of them. After her rant, Oratoria starts class and says they'll begin with main elements and sub-elements. But they will also be learning
I
about
can accept this, I
quantification.
suppose. Okay, well, apparently I can't accept it.
She approaches the desk and does as she was asked.
I love how every time I come down here, I got like 3 stacks of iron, dude.
But it looks like her mana is only in a 5. Tori changes her opinion of Iris really fast and starts asking her to join her research group. But Iris refuses, which may have been partially due to her previous threats. Tori moves on and says the element 1 is most proficient at is their main element, meaning it's the one they're strongest with. But alas, that is that the crystal is able to show. If the proficiency with the main element is taken as 100%, then how
Found another cave entrance, did I?
There is currently research being done to calculate this, but has proven to be quite difficult. Though Haruto doesn't see why it would be hard to do, so he uses his mana calculator, and it seems to display the information just fine.
Yep, like I suspected.
Part of the reason it is so hard to quantify a person's proficiency in a particular
Ow,
element,
this goes up to another part of the fucking mine shaft, dude.
It was originally thought to have something to do with mastery over the spell, but research has shown that to be false. Haruto thinks about it and concludes that it must be due to
Go away.
Like he was being smart a little
Obnoxious
too loud.
little twat.
Managed to hear him blowing up in a frenzy to get Haruto to repeat himself. He's messed up. His mana calculator also shows some attributes that he has.
Okay, well, you just had to hit me before you died. You're gonna die regardless, so why fight it?
Spoken to Charlotte and the others about it, but now he screwed up and mentioned it.
Another one.
He is pressured, so he answers honestly about thinking elements can have hidden properties that lead to varying levels of effectiveness when used, but Tori just shakes him harder and questions how he has that information when all the top mines in the country.
Actually, wait, that's a scam, isn't it? 2.5 hearts. 1.5 plus 2.
Ahead of anything they could ever accomplish themselves.
Yeah, that's a fucking scam. Why am I even
utmost
doing that,
caution.
dude?
They haven't even told the royal family yet, but hear a high schooler figure it out in 10 minutes. She is amazed by Haruto's insight and asks him to join her research group. Once again, those threats she made earlier aren't doing her any favors. Plus, it's technically against school rules to recruit students to your research group during class. Tori questions if Haruto might be the mysterious figure that was sending the research, but while it wasn't him, he has a good idea of who could have been behind it. Seeing what the other professors are like, Haruto later goes to hand the paperwork to join Tear's research group, and she is excited that she now has enough members.
Damn, dude, that's a lot of iron right there. What
so
the
to
fuck?
celebrate, she decides to hold a welcome party for them and puts Polkos in charge of it, leaving Haruto and Iris just standing there. They decide to just sit and read, and Haruto too is annoyed that he had to come into school today when it was meant to be.
See you later, Endertard.
But laziness got the better of him, so number 2 had to come hand in his application. But speaking of which, he has technically done what he was sent here to accomplish, so he should be fine to leave. But before he can get away, he hears a scream from Polkos, and now has to go investigate because he is still here. They find Blondie, otherwise known as Schnile, lying on the floor nearly lifeless. Tyr had forgotten he was just lying on the floor there. He had come to her because he was afflicted by some strange magic, so he assumed it must be ancient magic, and she would have some insight on it. But all he got was a lot of testing done on him by Tyr, leaving him in his current state.
What am I picking
So
up?
happens to be unconscious,
Oh, I see. It's
he
because I
wants to
filled that
demonstrate
in.
why you never want to be the first person to fall asleep at the sleepover. She begins experimenting on him and shows that there are barriers that attract each other in his shoulder whenever he tries to use magic, but inanimate objects pass straight through it. She asks Iris what she thinks it could be, and based on what she has seen so far, she thinks it could be non-elemental barrier magic. Haruto too is impressed that Tyr was able to identify the true properties of the barrier magic, and a little concerning considering he is made of barrier magic. She asks Haruto if he can tell what the difference is between ancient magic and more modern magic. This isn't the smart one, so he's having trouble answering the question. To put it simply, ancient magic isn't elemental in nature, making it special, but it is also said that this type of magic doesn't require constant magic input to sustain itself. And that's why she believes the magic that was used on Schnile was actually ancient magic. Otherwise, anyone who cast something like this would have easily run out of magic after only half a day.
What a
But this magic
fucking
was
loser,
placed on
dude.
Schnile almost 2 days ago, meaning there must be someone alive right now that is capable of casting ancient magic. Tyr is speculating on who could possibly have the power necessary to use such magic, but Iris clearly denies having the capability to use such powerful magic, and Tyr can tell that she's being sincere, so she turns to ask the guy who saw the culprit himself. She grabs him and proceeds to smack the shit back into his body. After regaining consciousness, he recalls all the horrific experiments Tyr did to him and threatens her with his family's position. However, she isn't very scared since if her unethical scientific practices had ever had consequences before, she would be on death row. She gets straight to the point and asks Schneil who it was that did this, but he isn't sure. All he knows is that it was a strange man covered in black from head to toe. That description coincidentally matches that of a reported hero of justice that was running around in Haruto's father's kingdom. And even more coincidentally, he started to appear in the capital soon after Haruto also arrived. She may be short, but she would beat out any NBA player when it comes to leaping to conclusions. She's on to him and pressuring him to admit that he is actually the hero of justice, and Haruto number 2 is freaking out because of all these social interactions. Luckily, the original Haruto had a plan ready for a situation like this and has Shiba make an appearance in the research room to clear himself of any suspicions. He tells Schneil that if he calls off the duel he had set with Haruto, then he will undo the binding, and left with no other choice, he agrees to do so. With that, was about to take his leave, but he was then caught in a binding spell by Tyr. She is very proud of her binding spell, and she plans to keep Shiba trapped here until he answers all her questions about him. But Shiba had other plans and breaks free from the binding, trapping her in an invisible barrier as well. Tyr is slightly threatened, but turned on at the same time and offers her chastity to Shiba if he will answer her questions. But he doesn't seem very interested. She then realizes that she needs to go to the bathroom. But if Shiba doesn't undo the binding, she's going to wet herself.
Maybe?
So she promises not to investigate him anymore. After successfully not wetting herself in front of her students, they finally have that welcome party that she was planning to do for Iris and Haruto. While sitting, Haruto asks Pokos why he is always around Tyr. He begins explaining the long story of how he met Tyr. He had been hired by
Well, looks like that's all that we need. That's all that was left. I can't think of anything else to do besides go get that fucking spawner.
By her intellect. It was about as useful as a glass of water in a river.
Oh, we're not done yet. Never mind. Looks like that area over there we managed to finish off though, so that's good.
She had to go and pick ancient magic. No one even knows if the magic is still useful, so she ended up as the laughingstock of the school. Haruto too tries to cheer him up by saying normal people could never understand the mind of a genius. That only makes Pokos even more upset. Now it's gotten really awkward in here, but luckily Iris
that's a good amount of
to
light.
make things awkward in a whole new way. She's been drinking a lot and realizes that she loves alcohol a lot. She offers Haruto a sip, but he declines, so she pours herself another cup. She then remembers that she wants to thank Haruto for being friends with her.
So there's no way that that's top strata. We're way too deep for that.
He is freaking out, but then Iris just falls asleep, which gives him relief, but also some disappointment. After putting her to sleep on the couch, Tyr comes up to him and starts talking to Haruto about Iris and the theories she has on why she chose to join this research group in the first place. From her aptitude test, she found that Iris has an aptitude for every single element there is, which is an incredibly rare trait to possess, maybe even enough to call her a hero in the making. But life often doesn't go so conveniently, so despite her high number of aptitudes, her mana is only at a 5 out of 35. Being a teenager and having such a low level means it likely won't be able to increase more than what it already is. And that is why she believes Iris came to the Ancient Magic Research Group in hopes of uncovering some sort of ancient secret that could lead her to a breakthrough in her level. Though that's just a hypothesis and something she wouldn't normally just blurt out either, but due to all the alcohol in her system, she's just saying whatever comes to mind. Before she accidentally blurts out the formula to something that violates the Geneva Convention, she decides to take a nap to sleep off all the alcohol in her system.
Okay, so that's done. Damn, fucking 3.5 stacks and 3 fucking carts, dude.
Everyone in school will soon learn about it and start making fun of him for being
Hey, my torch gets to see, it lives to see another day.
Pharaoh in order to make sure his father would be the next king of the kingdom. But then Haruto and Shiva had to come in and mess up his plans. But really, Haruto doesn't give a damn about him and would have been fine to keep doing what he was doing if he just hadn't messed with Iris. And his brain must have gone on vacation for the
let's go back up to that spider spawner and dig up from there. Assuming there's no other areas here to do. Oh, there is. Oh, shit.
For threatening to harm Haruto. He gives the orders for the assassins to go and eliminate Haruto and the others in the research group. But in the corner we see one of Haruto's camera barriers recording the whole thing. The assassins head to fulfill their mission and close in on the building. They see the targets all laid out drunk after a celebration. Haruto seems to be asleep on the sofa. They have passed a sound barrier around the entire building to ensure that no one is able to hear any of their activities this night. They also have at least 20 of the most elite members of their organization here, so the job should be easy enough to accomplish. They move out to commence the operation, but as one runs full speed towards the building, he crashes face first into a barrier that had been set up around the building. They investigated a
we're going further away from it, are we?
Entirely, and they can't even scratch the thing. Just then, the door suddenly appears, and I don't know about it. But this situation reeks a trap. The assassins were informed that Shiva would be protecting Haruto, so the leader asked them to proceed with caution.
Oh, there's water underneath us, I see.
He gets dragged in where you can only presume that he was immediately
Dude.
killed. The rest of the assassins see this and shoot a fireball at the door in hopes of destroying it, but their fire is just ignored. Now behind them, dozens of floating doors appear, and they are all pulled in one after another. The leader keeps his cool and focuses on finding the person behind all the doors. And as he locks onto it, he shoots a fireball at what he believes to be Shiva. But there are now dozens of Shivas coming from the doors, and he is greatly confused, but fires at them nonetheless. They all fall to the ground, but he finds that the people he just shot down were his own teammates. He then hears a voice above his head and looks up to find the real Shiva sitting in the air. He tries to attack him, but gets bound by one of Shiva's barriers.
I see, so there's more mine shafts still.
Can't believe Schneiel would be
Color
so
me
stupid as to send an
unsurprised.
assassin group after him. So he's got a lot of questions he wants answered. All the assassins were apprehended, so Shiva pulls up to Schneil's house and dumps their bodies on the ground. He asks Schneiel if he knows why they are here right now, but he tries to feign ignorance and claim that he has never met any of these people before in his life.
Yeah, there's nothing in there. That kind of sucks, but I'll take it. It's better than fucking getting attacked.
To go and kill them, so he won't be able to weasel his way out of this one. And really, was it necessary to send assassins after them over a simple grudge? He clearly didn't learn anything from the last punishment he was given, so he is going to have to receive a more strict form of punishment. Schneiel doesn't want to even begin to imagine what form of cruelty that Shiva would inflict upon him, so he walks over to a needle he kept stashed away in a wooden case, and Shiva was so intrigued that he just let it happen. Schneiel injects himself with some form of power-enhancing drug that causes his power to rise far above what he would normally be capable of, but as a side effect, turns him into a grotesque monster.
The
He
hell?
punches Shiva through the wall
Go
and out.
away.
It turned out to be way more horrific than he had thought, so he wants to just kill this thing and get home to go to sleep. But he then receives a call from Charlotte asking him what's going on. It's past her bedtime, but she says she had a feeling Haruto was going to go fighting for justice or something, so she couldn't help herself. Coincidentally, he actually is fighting a huge monster. Charlotte asks if he is going to save it. He wasn't planning to before, but now that she has asked him to do it, he decides he might as well try.
Those little shitheads can fuck off, dude.
He engages in battle with the monster and dodges
That's
around
right, come on.
strikes until he gets hit
Oh
and
my
is sent flying into the wall.
god.
This monster form of
Piss
Schneiel
off,
was
you little
stronger than
shits.
before, so Shiva goes for a
Fine,
very
have it your
aggressive
way.
punch.
If you want to do this
But
the
it
hard
doesn't
way,
do
then we'll
much.
do this the hard
He's caught
way.
in the arms of the monster. To free himself, he uses his barrier magic to surround his arms and pull them apart. He's now got his arms restrained, so he thinks this battle must be over. But he couldn't be more wrong, because the monster...
What a bunch of
off its own
fucking
arms,
losers,
regenerates
dude.
them and continues fighting. Charlotte calls Shiva and asks if he noticed anything weird after the monster regenerated itself. Its body shrank and it got paler, leading them to being that if they are able to cut off all of the overgrown parts, then Schneiel should be able to return him to his original form. Now that he has a clear idea of what to do in order to save Schneiel, he begins to chant and calls upon his unlimited blade work.
Okay,
The
I think
sky
that
blade
was the
allows
last
the blades
one.
and a rubber mallet for some
Okay.
reason to
I get the
slide
feeling that
inside
was not
and
the last
slice
one.
Schneiel up.
God damn it.
And after he is done, with the rubber mallet landing on his head,
Dude, Regen
Schneiel
1 is
has been
so
perfectly
OP.
restored
Like,
back to his
what
normal
the
human form.
fuck?
To be honest, the idea of cutting a guy up to return him to normal seemed far-fetched, but Shiva is glad it all worked out in the end. Charlotte calls to thank him for such an amazing show, though there was some light in the way so she couldn't see everything. And Haruto has never been more happy to see the holy light of censorship doing its job. Charlotte goes to sleep, leaving Shiva to clean up the mess that is Schneiel sitting naked in the courtyard. He tries to get his attention, but Schneiel's mind has returned to Monkey, so he no longer wants to deal with him. He decides to just pick up the evidence and fix the mansion up before anyone notices and go back to sleep. The next day, somewhere in the royal capital, Flay is doing some intel recon by yelling at an old man.
Nice. Lapis Lazuli is always a fucking joy to find. I love it.
And beat the answers out of some local hoodlums. One of the hoodlums ended up knowing something about the current situation in the royal capital, and the team now has intel that the queen and king are not on good terms right now, and additionally,
Get
there has
out
been
of
some
here.
unrest among the aristocracy.
Not enough time for your
meaning
bullshit.
Everything Charlotte predicted is true, and the doomsday of the royal capital is fast approaching. They plan to infiltrate the capital and fight the evil syndicate that is controlling everything behind the scenes, and Haruto is watching from the log cabin. This evil syndicate is apparently real according to Tyr, so he's going to have to keep an eye on things to make sure Charlotte doesn't get hurt. But if it means he'll finally get a chance to relax, then he is ready to take on the world for all it matters. The end. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more anime recaps.
Sheena was an orphan boy that reincarnated into a different world after accidentally meeting his dude. In this new world, however, the
Crap, I'm
gods
almost out of
bestowed
space
upon
for
him
rails.
level system, granting him stats to become the most overpowered human
Oh,
ever.
fuck.
While walking home one day, Sheena saw people rushing out of a store chaotically.
I am running out of torches though, and I don't have
Right
much
next to
space
him.
left in
The
my
thief waved his
inventory.
knife around
I think
and
this is
began
gonna be the
sprinting
last
towards the
run
woods.
through of this
But
mine
instead of
shaft.
abandoning them, Sheena rushed towards him, tackling him down. He screamed at the girls to escape, but before he knew it, he began bleeding out of his stomach, causing the bandit to run away in fear. In his last moments, he was glad to have saved those two girls, but wished he didn't end up making them cry. His consciousness began fading, but when he opened his eyes, he found himself in a mysterious room. A maid
Is it
began
above
crying
me?
and calling him king. Confusing.
Yeah, it's
Mommy
fucking
Milkers
above
came
me,
to
of
hug King,
course.
asking him if he remembers his mother. None of this makes any sense to him, but when he takes a single glance at the mirror, he begins panicking, wondering who he's become. After being in a coma for a week, the maid thinks that his fever is messing with his memory. His mother asks Sylvia to go and prepare him soup, and after they leave the room, Kane still has no idea how he's become a child. He wonders if he's an anime protagonist in an isekai. This guy's onto us. Without wasting any time, he begins investigating his entire room to find any overpowered weapons. But it appears he still has an Asian persuasion. Sylvia thinks he wet himself, but poor Kane cries for losing all his manhood. After she left the room, Kane was able to extract all the information he wanted out of her. His name is Kane Gon von Silver. What a fucking name. A 3-year-old boy born to Gon, and Sarah with a sister called Rihanna. However, Garm is a top G and has a second wife, Maria, and she's given birth to his 2 older siblings. His father is a high-ranking Margrave and
Yeah, looks like I found the rest of the mine shaft that didn't get lit up.
Of monsters. Kane is excited to hear
Is that
those
lava?
monsters,
Please be
but
lava.
the
Okay,
maid
no, it's
tells
just
him there's
torches.
a vendor
My bad.
who can wield magic. And Kane gets excited. Sylvia promises to teach him some magic as long as he can learn to read. So he begins practicing right
Cool,
away.
now the water's
Kane
dead.
learned about magic. He
It's
knew
about
he wanted
fucking
to live
time,
the rest
dude.
of his life here, because in his last world, his parents had already perished. And
Nice.
his last relative, his grandpa, had just passed
Look at
away,
that.
leaving him with nothing to miss. During dinner, Garm learns that his son can write, and Reen tells him that he can do
Yeah, I don't
whatever
have enough
as
space
well.
for all this
Sarah
shit.
thinks her son is a genius, but Kane compliments Sylvia for being
I
the
hate to
best
dump
man
out my
in the world.
fucking
His parents get suspicious about why he
blocks, but I
becomes
don't
genius out of
exactly have a
nowhere,
choice
and
right
Sylvia
now.
sticks
I
the milk
kinda
that he
need the
extracted
space.
from his mother's plot. Garm wishes he was there to witness the extraction. Kane explains that he just wants to learn all about this world so he can become an adventurer, and Garm commends him on being so motivated. To help him pursue his curiosity, Garm allows him to read all of his magic books, but warns him that he won't be able to use magic until he's baptized at the age of 5. His mother thinks he won't be able to use magic until then anyways, but the mischievous plot maker is already cooking up fire with his hand. He realizes that he can already use magic and has achieved every otaku's dream. But while
Anime
casting his
recap
next
channels
spell,
are my
his
fucking
hands
spirit
burn
animal,
and he
dude.
begins losing control. Kane thinks that these magical abilities will allow him to become the strongest edgelord.
How much
The
space do
only
I have?
thing
I'm
left
almost
to
out of
complete
space
his
for
otaku
iron, dude.
dreams is that this
Fuck.
fine relationship
I'll
cannot
just
be
throw the
so long.
fucking zombie
But
head
when
into
there we
lava if
go.
I have to.
Release
Not much
into
I
the
can do
room,
about it.
telling him that
Oh,
he's
maybe there
discovered
is.
all about his slave. He's discovered that he's been
Blocks are
studying
coming
the
back home with me.
outside world in secret, and Kane is glad that his sister is an idiot. From then on, his sister taught him all about the outside world and about the first adventurer who built this kingdom, Yuya. Kane realizes that this guy is from a different anti-climax video, but decides to just ignore it. After learning all about the wonders of the world, he couldn't wait
Oh
2
my
more years
God.
until his baptism. But the day finally came. He walked inside with his new outfit, and his family was impressed by how handsome he'd become. They head off with horse carriages throughout the entire
Wait.
town, and Kane is surprised to see
No, that's
this
not cool, never mind.
medieval-looking world for the first time. He's curious about the blessing of the gods, so he asks his sister to see
Oh, I
his
know where
status
this
window.
is.
He's marveled by all of her stats, but sees she has the Brocon status. She immediately tells him to forget whatever he just saw, and Kane pretends he has no idea what she's talking about. His father explains that there are multiple levels to the protections granted. Each magic protection is given between level 1 to 5, and they're given by the gods to determine one's prowess in a specific field.
Damn, dude, my pickaxe is already almost
Kane
down to like a
receives
quarter of
protection,
its
and
dura.
the priest begins the baptism. Before their eyes, the pillars of the gods begin to shine a blinding light, and Kane is
You know what, you just do your
teleported
thing,
to
bud.
all 7 gods. They welcome him by his
I'll
name
just be
and
over here.
And Cain wonders what the hell. Sorry, what the heaven is going on.
What a fucking idiot, dude.
Zenom, the god of creation, introduces himself, but Cain thinks that Christmas came early this year because this nutcase looks like Santa Claus. Zenom tells him that he can hear everything he's thinking, and moves on to talk about his reincarnation. Cain's death was unexpected, because in reality, even if he didn't stop the criminal,
What a fucking idiot, dude.
He's basically just a useless dweeb who isekai'd himself because he wanted to simp over 2 girls.
It's an evil world we live in.
The goddess apologizes for being so harsh, but since he met his doom for a good deed, they reincarnated him to keep his life going. Even though he looked stupid, Cain isn't upset one bit. After all, he's been reincarnated into a loving family and can now use magic, which is one of his dreams.
Damn, dude, how down bad are Japanese people if they fucking fantasize about isekai animes constantly? Like, holy shit, dude.
Well, along with the god of war, making him the strongest jujutsu.
Okay, yeah, I don't have space for my fucking mob head. There's just no point. I would rather have the building blocks. It's better security.
And the god of commerce grants him the judgment ability, an item box, so he can become the richest Tachi. The god of earth comes and gives him the greatest protection of all, the power to develop plot. Zenom tells him that his status window will show him the effect of all of his protections, and starts laughing before sending him back. The priest has never seen the statues shining so much, so Garm asks to see his status window right away. However,
oh wait, shit, there's still one coal.
So he runs away to the bathroom.
You know what, I've actually changed my mind.
It's worse than he ever
I'll get rid of my blocks and in exchange, wait a sec, is there anything else I might be able to toss out of my inventory?
The highest level in this world. Cain knows that he needs to hide all
Nope.
of this, and
My
so the
blocks
secret
get to go.
ability granted to
I
him
salute you,
called
blocks.
status
You've been a real
concealment
Chad.
uses to hide his strength. That night at lunch, Cain sat with his family who wished him a happy birthday. Garm asks him if they
Hold
can
on.
finally see his status window, so he goes on to show it in front of everyone. All of his family is left in disbelief, as he's received the protection from all 7 gods, and has magic over 340,000.
I
He's
salute
only
you,
5
blocks.
years old and is stronger than most mages in this entire nation. So his father panics and makes him promise to keep his stats a secret. Cain reluctantly agrees and goes to bed, seeing the notebook about summoning magic in front of him. Knowing that Sylvia won't be around, he tries to do his first summon to get a cute animal. In his mansion's backyard, he activates the summoning circle, but a giant monster appears from the inside. His sister and Karma scream in fear.
Uh-oh.
Just like the last time
Is
he
this the
remembered.
way to that one
But this
spot?
time,
Oh my god,
he
it
promises
fucking
it
is,
will be
dude.
different.
I'm pretty
So
sure
he
we've
rushes
cleared the
to
mine
tackle
shaft
the
now.
monster, but it punches him away and crushes his stomach. Even with all the pain, Cain promises that he will no longer allow the people he cares about to cry. He wants
Wait.
to protect others, so he uses all of the energy in his body to cast a spell that makes the monster disappear. As he lies on the floor, he sees the fluffy cat ears and wishes he could have touched them just one last time. He wishes he didn't have to make people cry again, and worries that he's going to get isekai. After a few minutes, however, Cain wakes up and realizes that he's still alive. This time, the people he tried to protect aren't crying. In this world, he realizes that his powers can actually help save people. On the day of his birthday ceremony, his father asks him
There's
if he
so
aspires
much
to
shit,
become
dude.
his future.
To be honest, I really do not want fucking deep strata. I've already gotten enough. I don't need any more, please.
So in order to protect everyone's smiles, he will become an adventurer. After hearing the determination in his voice, Garm promised to hire a tutor for him. Inside his bedroom, he wondered what his tutor would be like, but she had finally arrived. Cain was so excited that he ran to the window and accidentally teleported outside, falling in the most convenient position possible. He apologized to the girl, and the butler introduced Cain's 2 tutors, Millie and Nina. Inside the mansion, Millie struggles while she fantasizes about why Garm has been given the title biggest wood in the country. But Cain is too busy noticing that Nina is an elf. Garm says they don't need to be so formal, and Cain asks them to talk with him as if he was their
Crap, dude, that was
Millie
all the
is
space I
excited
had
to
for
finally
iron. Are
see
you
him,
shitting
and they
me?
begin lessons right away. Inside the mansion's training area, Cain demonstrates his
Oh,
swordsmanship
no.
prowess, which
Yeah,
tests
there
Millie.
goes the wood.
Without
That's
Cain's
funny.
abilities, she
Anyways.
asks him for a mock duel. Immediately, Cain
Crap,
rushes
dude,
forward
there's
to
still
strike
more in this
Thorfinn,
mine
but
shaft.
barely manages to hold him back. Nina wonders if he's received the war god's blessing.
I have to, I just don't have a
Cain
choice.
says he was
I have
supposed
to have
keep
extra
it.
space for
Millie
my
gasses out
fucking...
and begs Nina to teach him some
I need to
magic
have
before
extra
his
space
sword
for
training
my,
coincides.
for my iron.
Nina
I am not
reveals that
wasting
she has
I am
level
not
2
wasting a
magic
cent
protection.
of fucking
But
iron.
Cain has already learned all the basics. He demonstrates his ability to summon magic from all the elements, and his spells are so powerful that they pierce through stone targets. Cain reveals that he's received the protection from the magic god as well, and Millie worries that they can't teach him anything after all. He pulls out a towel from his item box, and the girls realize that they're basically useless. If they were to try to teach him anything over here, he would end up
just so I'm not tempted to try to take these with me.
They go outside the mansion to study.
There you
He
go.
never left the premises, so Millie and Nina think it would be better for him to go outside anyway. They explain
better
to
this
Garm
way.
that Cain's abilities will destroy the mansion. And Garm panics when he finds out his son is this strong on the first day. He knew this day would come eventually, but hoped Cain would mature more first. Reluctantly, Garm agrees to let him go outside on the condition that he never enters
How much
the
lap
forest.
piece do I have? Okay, I have
Cain
enough
promises
space,
that he will,
probably.
and he leaves the mansion for the first time with his tutors. Nina begins with his magic training and asks him to demonstrate his intermediate level magic. Immediately, Cain readies a fire spell and casts it towards the stone, knocking both of the girls and leaving a giant
Yeah,
crater
there
where
it
the stone
is.
once
There's
was.
always a
They
second
wonder
one. I
if
swear
all
there's
that
always a
knowledge
second
tired
one.
him out, but Cain hasn't broken
Okay, well, I have
a
no more
single
space for
sweat.
lap
As he
piece.
lapped off
Okay,
his
that's not a
opponent,
good spot for that
Millie
torch.
realized there were enemies nearby, and a rabbit jumped out from the bushes to
Cool.
attack Millie. But her attack missed. It rushed towards Cain, but he dodged the rabbit and shot air bullets to defeat it. Millie wondered if he was going to sell the drops, but Cain wanted to show it to his family, so he stored it in his item box. Millie is amazed since she's been saving up for years to get a magic bag, a less powerful version of his item box. In the meantime, Nina uses her search ability to scan within 300 meters for monsters. Cain thinks what she did was cool, so he tries to copy the same spell, casting it to locate the exact location of the 4 rabbits, surprising Nina that someone could even count the specific number of monsters. He runs towards it, and Millie tells her that she should just give up all.
Okay.
They defeat all of the rabbits together. However, one of them runs away and Cain tries to pursue it, but Millie warns him to never go inside the forest since
Interesting.
it has legendary monsters living inside. Every few decades, all the monsters try to break into the city, which is why their wall is so fortified. Cain realizes how dangerous it is, but wishes to one day explore it on his own. That night, he realized that he'd already reached level 8 after beating just a few rabbits. He investigated the reason for his massive level up, and saw that the God Chosen title granted him 100 times more XP. But not only that, each level up granted him 100 times the ability points. Cain's power has already surpassed most humans, and he's realized that the entire nation is going to try
This
and
is
get
the
rid of
same
him
pathway, is it?
A few months later,
Okay,
Millie
now
takes
I think
Cain
we're
the
all good to
Adventurers
go.
Guild so he
We can
fight
go
some
back up
stronger
now.
monsters. Inside, Roxanne. Sorry, wrong show. Inside,
Roxanne, oh, of
Wrong show
course.
again. Rudy asks what brings them here today, and Millie wants
Rudy,
to acquire
like,
some
dude.
device that would be perfect for
Oh.
Cain. However, a man comes and
Ooh.
mocks Millie and Nina for being
Meadow.
D-rankers and babysitting a child, since she's a D rank. He tells her to ditch the kid so he can show her what a real D looks like. Nina tells him to back off, but Cross is fed up with her disrespect and picks her up while 2 others restrain Millie. As he's about to grab her face, Cain holds his arm and says that he will not allow him to treat his tutors like that. Millie begs Cain to run, but Cain tells him that he needs to start training, and smacks him in the face. Cross recovers and tries punching him, but Cain evades and destroys his sword,
Shit!
saying
There
that his
is
name
another
Cain.
one.
But Cross continues trying to fight again. He grabs a knife and tries to strike towards Cain.
Let's
with
get this
incredible
shit out of the way. This
but
is the
Cain
last
evades
fucking
every single
one.
of the attacks, going as far as to even hold his sword with his fingers and throwing him out. The other 2 hold a knife to Millie, but Cain makes quick work
What the
of them
hell?
and kicks them out.
What?
Nina comes to help Cain, promising that she'll protect
What
him
the
next time.
hell?
After years of
What the
training
fuck?
and enjoying their time
Where's
together,
the
Cain is
spawner?
thrown into a
Did
tough
it
call.
die
Sylvia
already?
lets him know
Well, I'm
that
not gonna
his final
complain, I
class with his
guess.
tutors will be in a few days,
Looks like a
and
failed
Cain is
spawner, if
excited
anything
because he
else.
wishes to find a way to thank him. He remembers that Millie wanted a magic bag, so that night Cain snuck into the deepest parts of the dark forest. A blood ogre appeared before him. Next, he defeated an earth dragon, and the guards thought that a monster rampage was about to commence this decade. The entire army was deployed and Garm led the troops to defeat them. Cain's collected everything he's came to get.
It must have been like
Teleports
closer
away,
to
leaving
the
behind
bit
his
right
tower.
here, or it
Garm
just got
arrives at
despawned
the
by the
scene, and
rocks
his
or something.
subordinate informs him that all
The rock
monsters
saved
have been
me.
eliminated
Thank you,
in the
Dwayne.
forest.
I am very
Wondering
grateful.
who could be so overpowered, Garm looks at the ground to find his towel.
Can always count on the rock.
Alone in his
Always.
bed. The final day,
Always, always,
Cain's
always.
tutoring arrives, leaving Millie and Nina
I
with
do hear another
bittersweet
spawner
feelings for having
potentially,
been with him
though.
all this time. They come and let him know that today will be his graduation. and congratulate him on working hard for the last 3 years. Cain thanks them for all the time they've been with him, so he hopes that the magical bag he's created for them will show them how grateful he is. He's collected the materials from the Blood Ogre and Earth Dragon inside the forest, but he tells them not to worry.
Yeah, that's all the space I have for coal.
It won't hold too much, just an entire mansion. Millie tells him that the most expensive magic bag can only carry 2 carriages worth of items, so this magic bag will be national treasure class. Millie's worried people would try to rob them, but Cain reveals that he's enchanted them so that if anyone else carries these bags, they'll be as heavy as everything held inside them.
Let's go up and see if we can find this stupid fucking zombies.
And they both get on their knees.
Zombie spawner? Please, I really hope it's a zombie spawner, because I want to dig straight up from here and then come back down. Plus, I want to fight some shit. My sword is my sword is about to be cooked.
They tell him that if he ever needs their help when he grows up, he can always come to them.
Where are they, bro?
He needs help with. At that moment, their contract was over, and Cain felt like he grew a little more, and so did I. Months later, inside a deep cave, Cain battled against a red dragon and struck it once, defeating it instantly. He's defeated one of the strongest mobs in existence. So when he
What the hell?
he realized his
Is that
magic
my
was over
handiwork?
80 million, and he's earned the title Dragon Slayer. 2 years have passed since that day, and Cain is finally 10 years old and will be attending a noble event to commemorate his birthday. It will take a week to reach their destination
But why?
as long as monsters don't interrupt
What
their
the
travel.
fuck?
So Cain casts his search ability to scan a 3-kilometer
Oh, I see. It's because there's a
discovers
cave right
monsters have
here.
ambushed soldiers ahead and tells his dad to hurry so they can try to save the people. However, the horses are too slow, so Cain jumps out of the carriage like Spider-Man and activates his wind magic. Dashing towards the source
Out of my
the
way, you
The
cretin.
soldiers are cornered.
You know what? I'm
and
just gonna
about
pretend
all
like that
be
cool
defeated.
doesn't exist.
But Cain jumps
Besides,
in
this
the
isn't part of the
face
mine shaft, so it's not
and
official.
continues flying around, using his air cutter ability to decimate every single one of the monsters in his way.
Ooh, more mine
charge
shaft
towards
for
the
me.
carriage,
You don't
so
say.
Cain summons his sword and destroys them with a single swing until he faces the boss. Immediately, he dodges the
Dude,
beast and jumps into the
I must
sky,
have missed an
enchanting
area.
his sword with fire before ending the monster in his way. The soldier warns him to stay away from the carriage, so Cain tries to introduce himself as the son of Garm. Just then, Garm's soldiers arrive and realize they're completely useless. The
Don't
soldier
break any of
collapses,
that. It'll
losing
just
all
be
of the
unnecessary
blood, so Cain
carnage.
holds him tight and activates his healing ability, helping every
Death to
single
you,
soldier recover
Father.
instantly.
Oh,
Garm
please
finally
no,
arrives
not
and
you,
sees the
Father.
terrible scene that
You,
unfolded before him,
Father.
but instantly
Oh,
recognizes
shit.
the crest on the carriage as the royal families. From inside,
Dude!
Telestia, the princess, and Sylph, the duke's daughter. They thank Garm for saving both of them. But
What
Garm
the
lets them know
hell?
that it was his son Cain who saved them. Telestia nearly faints, so Cain goes on to use a relaxing spell to make her feel better. The light soothes all of their pain and anxiety away, but the little suckers enchanted it with
Okay,
some
I need
other
enough
type
space
of
for
magic.
2 items.
Immediately, Telestia runs over and thanks him for saving them. Sylph holds his hand and thinks he's the greatest sword.
I hear lava too. I
ever
wonder if I'll find some
but
diamonds
Telestia
down there.
says that he's going to be hers, and they begin fighting over him. They drag him to their carriage and take him away in front of his father's eyes. Inside their huge carriage, Cain wonders why they're sitting so close to him, but Telestia is too scared for him to leave her. He tells him to call her Teles, and Silk asks him to call her
Telicia?
Silk. His spell was
Tanisha.
too strong, and they continue trying to charm him until he succumbs. The soldier informs them that they're finally approaching the rest area, and Cain thinks that this is a mess. But the girls want to rest with him after they arrive. At the rest area, Cain tries to escape this situation, but Telestia and
Is it
Silk tell him
above
that they
me?
want to spend the night with him or they'll be scared. Garm tries to say that it's inappropriate, but the girls claim they're
Uh-oh.
too traumatized and are afraid of a dragon to come attack them. Garm says that he can take care of them, but Silk tells him that he's worthless compared to Cain.
You're a victim.
You were a
They beg Cain
victim.
to stay the night with them, and he accepts if they would separate the beds as far as possible. Garm says he may have
Yeah, I hate
two
to do
wives,
this,
but
but
he should
coal
be
is
careful
not
because
on
he
the
has to
menu
deal
right
with
now.
twice the headaches.
Rip, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Inside the bedroom, the girls beg him to sleep next to them, and they push the beds close to each other. But pushing the beds next to each other wasn't enough, so they decide to use Cain like a body pillow all night. The poor Giga Chad has created his own harem at the age of 10, but he's already learned that he would rather be single for the rest of his life. He didn't get any sleep that entire night, but after a few more sleepless nights, he
Here, go be with
finally
your friend
arrives at the
Sticks.
capital. The head knight greets them, and they continue clinging on to Cain. The knight bows to honor Kane's presence, having already heard the news
Cool.
about Kane heroically saved everyone.
So we got another minecart and a diamond. Wow, this has been a really successful,
Bodies to their families.
Damn it, this thing's locked me in, dude. I can't move it because of stupid gravel.
Meeting with the king inside the heart of the castle. Every major politician has
Anyways.
with the king. He takes a bow, and the king's count commends him for being able to save Telestia and silk from all 50 orcs single-handedly. To reward him for his bravery, the king bestows upon him
Isn't
a
this
mansion
part of the area that I've already been in?
and the honorary title
I see
of
Charredwood, but yeah, this is part of the
politicians.
same area.
This is controversial, and some fatso waltz in.
It's like I never fucked with this area. Looks like, okay, this is definitely the last part of this mine shaft that I need to get, like, sealed up. Damn, dude, he just roasted his ass.
The king says he would have never been able to save the girls in his position. This kingdom needs more knights like King, so the king's decision will not change.
God
Cornigo
damn
running
it.
away. The king asks if Cain will accept.
Well.
With no room for objection, Cain humbly accepts
Oh
all the
my
awards.
god,
But the king
why?
isn't done with him and wants to talk with him in private. Garm and Cain wave to meet
Dude.
him. His father congratulates him on getting his own mansion before his other boys. The king enters along with the two girls, and Cain realizes that he can't tell the king
Damn
about his
it.
daughter calling him daddy last
Are you
night.
fucking
The
kidding
knight
me?
thanks Cain for saving his daughter, and the duke also
Guess it's
expresses
fine,
his
but
gratitude
still,
for
dude.
saving his daughter, Silk. The king tells
Well,
him
that wasn't a
there's
very good
something
idea in
important that he
hindsight, I
wants to discuss, and
suppose.
asks him if he would
Okay,
take
where
his
is that
daughter
coming
in
from?
the
I need to
duke's
deal
daughter's
with that.
hands. He wouldn't be married yet, but they will wait until he's an adult. After all, he linked arms with them and slept with two unmarried ladies. No one
I don't
will
want the
ever
coal
take him
anymore.
as
I
bride
think
now,
I'll pass.
And he'd better accept this offering before he faces the wrath of the gods. Earlier on, this genius idea was concocted by the count
Just
to
need to keep it
investigate the true
contained.
identity of King. But the king was shocked to find out that both of their daughters wanted to marry him. Hearing of his great accomplishments, he was determined to keep Cain in this.
It's so
And
stupid,
Cain
dude.
thinks that this is the worst possible situation
Either that or
he's
it's like a
found himself
one
in.
pocket or
Cain's
something
father
like that.
offers no advice.
I think it
The
is.
pressure of the entire situation begins
No,
to
it's a
collapse
dumb
on him.
fucking... I know
No
what
other
this
option
is.
but to give in. Cain accepts to become their husband. Telestia and Silk think
Yeah,
they will
it's
never forget
burning.
the
Not a
night
big
they spent
surprise.
together, and Cain explains it was just a
Here's what we're gonna do. We need to
because of
seal
all the
this
different
up.
positions they had to do. They
Emerald.
asked him what the he said.
Okay, there we go. It's
Cain
been
tried to
sealed
say
up.
that he meant the position of the beds. Poor guy can't get a break. A few days later, Cain visited the royal church.
It's like I get a reward for all my troubles.
Venom wondered what took him so long, but Cain explains that his stats.
I will wait here for this to go away,
Because
because I think we're done. Like, I think that's it.
Human alive. So Zenom asked him if he would like to become a demigod.
You know what, while I wait, I'll go ahead and mine this out.
There are still
Don't want to be
limits what
tempted by
he
it
can
later.
achieve alone. So Zenom advises him to make strong relationships. He goes on.
There's a freaking lava pool above us, but I'm not going for it, dude. That's literally just suicide, dude. I'm not doing that.
Can create the perfect game, and Zenom and the god of technology beg him
You
to
can't
create
even
something
swim in
more.
fucking lava if
Later
you
that
have
day,
fucking
Riri
armor
was
on
shopping
anyways.
for some clothes, and Cain has had enough of her BroCon obsession. He ran out and noticed Parma outside.
They
The
really
girl
do
he
not
met
want you
5 years
exploiting
ago.
anything
Her
in this
uncle,
mod, dude.
Tomas,
You're not even allowed to
introduces
swim in
himself
lava
to
if you
Cain
have
and is shocked
armor
to
on,
find
dude.
out
Like,
that
what the
he's an
fuck?
elf. Cain asks him to just treat him like every other
I'd probably be like level
person.
150 if
Shop.
fucking
It's an
ores gave you
antique store where
experience.
every item is crafted by
Sadly, they
someone.
nerfed that, so
Cain
you can't just
asks him if he
spam
can make a
levels.
special order for
Oh,
him.
what's
Tamani is
this?
interested. So Cain shows him the blueprints of the game he's trying to create. With such an interesting concept, Tamani's thinks this would be a great hit. So Cain asks him to create a prototype.
Ooh.
Full gold coin.
Worth it.
Tamani's couldn't accept such a high payment, but Cain tells him that he should treat it like an investment into their relationship.
Ah,
Tamani
crap.
humbly accepts and promises that he will create the best game board for him. Cain is glad and leaves the store, but finds out that Riani is ready to destroy him for disappearing on him. She asks him why he didn't see all the clothes she tried on for him, but Cain says she would look like shit in all of them anyway.
Emotional, damn it!
Riani is glad to hear that her brother thinks she's ugly, because she's going to teach him the hard way what he's supposed to say to her. This book is scary. He spends all night trying on different outfits to try and impress
It's
her.
amazing. It was just that one little
Punished
fucking
by
block
having
that
him try
completely
them.
fucked
However,
everything,
Sylvian
dude.
comes in to save the
Cool.
day and informs him that Tamani's has finished the prototype inside his shop. Cain is amazed that it looks exactly like the Reversi he imagined. They spend the afternoon playing the game together, and Tamani
I am getting
thinks
sick
this
of
will
that.
become the next trend and is positive it will become a bestseller. Cain suggests
Well, I
they
think that
create a
takes care of
fancier
that. We just
version
have to
for the
find that
nobles,
one
since
area that
he's
I was
sure
in.
the
Ooh, I
wealthier
found
people
it.
will want a fancier product. To begin with, Cain suggests making 50 of the noble version and 1,000 of the
So we just have to dig straight up from that spawner and then we'll be done.
But his company can't afford
I fucking found it. I'm so happy I labeled this.
So Cain smashes.
Could have ended badly if I hadn't done this, but hey, look at that. I actually used my head this time.
We'll create all of the boards as quick as possible. To make sure their product isn't stolen, they create an off-brand patent by presenting the board to the commerce god and vow their commitment to the contract. The board begins to glow a golden hue in front of them, fulfilling their contract with the gods. Cain makes one more request
He can
and
fuck
asks
off.
him if they could create an extravagant game for the royal family.
Wait, what? It dead-ended. Where does it go? Oh wait, I must have taken a wrong turn. At Albuquerque. Okay, well apparently there's no light here. For some strange reason, I did not light this area up like a fucking idiot. Good to know, apparently there's always one last little area for me to light up in the mine shaft. I don't even want to know how many torches I used on this, dude. It's probably some obscene number like 20 stacks worth or something.
Inside the castle, Cain sees Cornigo with his children and thinks he looks nasty. The Duke
Oh, I see. I have to go. Okay, that's not what I meant to do. I have to go up this way. Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Realizes that he's screwed, but he won't back down. In front of her own father, Cain tells Silk that she's the most beautiful girl in all of the lands and promises that he will never leave her, unlike her father's ex-wife, who cheated on him because she was so useless and ugly.
Emotional damage.
Her father went on to say,
You're ugly, you are disgusting, I'm gonna kill you, give me $200.
Garm won't allow someone to roast his own son, so he tells the Duke
Okay,
Silk's real
level with me here. Why is there so much iron in here?
They walk off.
I mean, I'm not gonna complain.
He definitely destroyed every bit of his confidence, and Cain says he's glad he was born to such a gigachat. These fuckers are straight up savages. The royal guards blow the trumpets, and the king makes his entrance. Cain doesn't care about anything he's saying because he's too smitten with the princess's beauty. After his speech, Cain greets the king and says that she's more beautiful than a goddess, and her presence has him choking harder than she. He decides to not say that part, but then Cain
He's
promises
tilting.
that he will never leave her, unlike the queen who's constantly sleeping with the royal guards. To hurt this dude, the king tells Garm that he's a worthless dad for raising such a mistake of a child. But Cain goes on to say,
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
Do I really have no more space for rails? To be fair, if I have to, I'll just throw these three in the lava and call it a day. Maybe.
The king with a gift as an apology. It is the reversey game he's developed with the company, and the king wants to hear all about it after finding out what his daughter's been actually saying. He commands him to come to his room later or he'll be executed, and Cain reluctantly agrees. Garm asks Cain when he became such a business
We can come back down here a little later. I don't have any more torches, though, is the problem. What the fuck? Where is he? Yeah, I can't take any more chances. I have to go back up. I have to. I do not have a choice. Get out of here.
Cain is glad to have such a caring dad who helps him roast everyone. But just then, Silk comes and tries to...
Okay, I don't want to get too lost down here. This will be the next area that we mess with. Wait a sec.
But Cornigo's children come to interrupt their party. The guy says that she's wearing a beautiful dress, but Silk does her best.
Hi, dude. Go away.
Blackie tells Cain that he should get out when Habit is having a private conversation. Cain tries to introduce himself, but Habit tells Cain that he should apologize for bothering Mrs. Silk, upsetting her. Cain tells her that he'll make Habit apologize first, and he tells her that he's being rude right now. Habit
How did you even manage to get there, you little bastard?
But they don't have cars in this world, so they meet in the field.
What a fucking idiot, dude.
So she does everything she can to hug him, but Habit is tired of...
I actually just realized I'm not going to be able to dig up to the surface from this, because my pickaxe is too worn down. Wait, maybe I will. Maybe I will. Hold up.
Cornigo's lackeys get angry, and they do some rain dance to make the lightning strike towards them. The next lackey thinks he can do the rain dance,
fuck?
so he begins summoning...
Get out of here. Disgusting.
Silk tells them to stop all this crap already because Cain isn't just any ordinary child.
Okay, cool.
He's a bear. Silk
Lighting up every last cavern in here is honestly top priority. Dude.
Silk says he saved the princess from an army of 30 dogs.
What, do you think that's gonna do something?
Cornigo and his lackeys bow to Cain, begging for his forgiveness, and run away.
Yeah, maybe in
like
a million fucking years.
Silks realized he could have revealed his status this whole time, but just wanted to make them look dumb, so she'll tell the princess about it. Cain begs her not to, but Silk promises that she'll keep it a secret if they go on a date together. Tellys comes in and asks what they're keeping a secret, so Cain immediately stops Silk.
Ah, shit.
Tellys tells him that she's going to tell on him for being so intimate with
Well,
Silk. But Silk reveals that
let's
they're
see.
going on a date
What the
together.
fuck?
Tellys is jealous that she's been left out and wants Cain to make it
did he
up to her
shoot
by
that
going
from?
on a date with her as well. He thinks she looks cute, so he promises to go on a date
Little
with her.
asshole.
The king comes from behind and asks what he just said. Tellys goes on to say,
Your mom's a hoe.
Cain realizes that he's raised a monster, and the king says that they're going to have a long man-to-man talk. And Cain realizes that he's finally going to be executed for all the jokes he's been saying. Indeed, the king executed
Oh, this just
him,
leads back
and
up to
this
the
is
top.
end
Never
of the
mind.
story. This is so tragic. Please spam Rip Cain in the comments section because Silk and Tellys will now be widows. The next day, Cain
just need to get this to the
back
chest and then I'll be
because he's been
happy.
overpowered, and when the king found out, he was about to execute him again. But the count did everything in his power to save Cain. The Duke comes in and congratulates him on his revival, but wants to play the creator in a game of reversey along with the rest of the palace. And Cain wishes he would have never been revived. After a week of hiding from the king, Cain is finally ready to see his mansion. He sees it's a rundown mansion that hasn't been maintained in years.
I'll put the iron bar in there since it's gonna be able to merge with the others.
To begin cleaning. With his magical powers, the entire mansion along with the backyard is automatically cleaned and repaired. Every one of the rooms returns to brand new, and Sylvia has finally made it here. She was extremely happy to hear that she's going to be his personal maid, so she's brought along an entire harem of maids and a butler to help him take care of all the nobility matters. Sylvia tries telling the maids to begin cleaning right away, but they tell her that there's not a speck of dust anywhere. Cain reveals that he cleaned everything up.
Where?
And Colin is
I don't think we're gonna be able to dig back up to the fucking surface. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen.
All PF Cain's items, and Colin tells him to start heading home.
I mean, I'm gonna try, but I don't think it'll be possible. My pickaxe is probably gonna break before that happens, or before it lets it happen, I guess. The only instance is if I find a cave that I can use, but not getting my hopes up.
But Garm is confused because he remembers it being completely run down and destroyed. SB, he asks Cain if he's the one responsible. Cain says,
And if I'm not on a mountaintop, that'll also help too, but that's not a guarantee. Because once your pickaxe goes to no color on its Dura, that means it has like 60 Dura left. 40 preferably if you're trying to be conservative with your estimate.
This generation show their class with paintings, vases, and even mounted monsters. Cain thinks he has the perfect solution.
I probably have enough torches to get back up, probably. But I have no torches now, which is a major, major
All
problem.
the maids are scared of the red dragon in front of them. Garm asks Cain what the meaning of this is, and Cain tries to say that this is a red dragon. Garm says no shit, Sherlock. But
How
wants to
much
know why
further
he
is it
left
to
the
top
things in the
strata,
first
dude?
place.
Like, come
So
on.
Cain says that he defeated it alone. It's
Okay,
a
there we
calamity
go.
that
Now we're at
has
top
never been
strata.
defeated
Oh, the
before.
dirt
But
just
Garm
saved
is
me,
glad to have
dude.
such a strong son. A mounted red dragon is worth 10,000 platinum coins in this world.
Way to go,
And
Dirt.
Cain realizes that it's actually worth $100 million in
Dirt
this
is the
world.
best.
Just then, Sarah screams in fear and they run together
This should be
towards the
enough
bathroom.
distance, right?
Sarah
Yes, that
asks
is
him
enough
what the toilet
distance.
is, because it's made her feel better than Garm ever did. Thinking she's just exaggerating, Garm tries to investigate for himself. After he goes inside, Garm realizes that he's been
Okay, yeah, I
missing
think
out
we'll
his
have enough
entire
dirt,
life.
albeit
He thinks
just
it won't
fucking
cost
barely,
him
but I
anything.
think we'll be okay.
Cain wonders
Unless we're on
why
top
he
of a
would ever
mountain, then that's a
visit.
problem.
When a noble owns a mansion, they must hold a debut party and invite all the nobles, Garm explains, but doesn't want to deal with all of that
Nope,
again.
apparently we're not
And
at the
wishes he
surface,
was
my
just
bad.
again. Colin tells him he's prepared a list of people to invite to make things easier for him. As he looked through the list, Cain noticed Cornigo has been invited, but wishes he never had to see his face again.
One
The
more
only
up.
one that wasn't on the list was the king because only counts or higher ranked nobles can invite royalty.
Actually, I think we can
Cain
go higher than
realizes
that.
all the preparation and gifts he has to prepare, but has no idea what he can
Oh
give
boy,
to
I'm
him.
famished.
Sylvia suggests for Cain to create his own type of gifts along with his unique form of hospitality, and this inspires him. Using his magical abilities, he makes a
Yeah, I'm not
copy of
breaking that with my
glass
pickaxe.
and
That's
porcelain
wasted
with the
Dura.
only material
And
used
every
for
Dura
the
counts, as they
As
say.
for the food,
Thankfully,
Cain
you can
plans
break
on
this with your
serving
fist, and
everyone
it's
hamburgers,
honestly not that
and
big of a
Sylvia
deal.
thinks it's the best food she's ever
Cool.
tasted. As for the drink, he takes a sip
Yep,
of
there goes my
carbonated wine
pickaxe.
and loves every bit of it, but says that she doesn't know how she feels about it. He wants to get another glass. He continues drinking all the bottles, but Colin comes to inform him that the king has requested his audience. He's infuriated.
We're at
with
12
King
blocks, by the
and
way.
asks him why he hasn't received an invitation to his debut party yet. He slams the desk and says that he's the one who's given him the mansion. But the Duke waves his invitation in his face and says it's clear that Silk is the better daughter. The king is ready to cry and says that he's disappointed in how he's treating his future father-in-law. Kane tries to tell him the truth, saying that he's never been given the opportunity to hand him an
9:30.
invitation
God
since he's
damn it,
so busy,
dude.
So he's hand-delivered it for him today. The king takes it and shows off to his friends like a little...
Oh, 36 blocks.
Kane that Tellys will be attending as
Is
well.
it really Gloom Night, dude?
Party arrives, and Kane invites everyone
And it
inside.
just became
The Duke
Gloom Night
arrives
too.
along
How
Silk,
nice.
and Kane calls her
Good
the
to
most
know.
beautiful-
Here we go again.
They see his red
I'll
dragon
go down
statue,
one
and
more.
Silk can't wait until she lives here with him. Colin informs Kane that it's the time for his address, and Kane thanks everyone
that's
for
good.
attending and hopes that his media
That was a very close call. My pickaxe is basically dead. Like, it's not going to be able to go no further, sadly.
Impress them as they look like treasure chests, and Kane lets them know that he personally prepared them as gifts for everyone to take home. The king arrives and sees the
Where
beautiful
am I,
drink
though?
waiting for him. After a single sip, he experiences the heavenly feeling of the soda fizzing in his mouth.
Yeah, my
As for
base
the
is
meal, he takes
nowhere
a
in
bite of the
sight.
hamburger and eats the meat until
Wait.
it squeezes the nice creamy white liquid. This is the first time he's experienced such
see.
a delicate combination of cheese and meat, and it feels like a harmony in his mouth. Tellys is enjoying Kane's meat. The queen tells the king
I
that
need
she
these
has
rocks
experienced
so
the
that way
different
I
kinds
can
of
make
fire
a,
and
like,
begs Kane to
beacon-esque
install the
point
same
so I know
sprayer
where to
in the royal
go.
bathroom. Wondering what she's talking about, the king tries it out and climaxes so loud that everyone hears it. He exits the room like
Okay,
nothing
cool.
happened, and scolds Kane for withholding this sprayer from him because he needs it installed in his bathroom immediately. Kane promises he will, and the king says that his hospitality shows in everything, including the food in his house, chanting that this is the ultimate hospitality. The entire crowd claps to congratulate King, filling him with joy for his efforts having been
Well, we've
recognized.
cleared the mine shaft
However,
now, so
Colin
there's nothing left in the
informs
mine
him that
shaft
trouble
really
is
for
on
us
the
to
way.
get, besides those
Cornigo
two
comes
mine carts on the
Kane
opposite
makes
side,
the
but I don't know what the
dog
fuck
as he
happened to
walks.
those.
So Kane doesn't let
Still to
Colin
this day
inform
cannot
him
figure
about
that
the
out.
dragon statue. He screams in
I don't think
terror,
there's
and
much of a
Kane
chance for me to get
apologizes
back,
that his
though.
expensive red dragon caught him off guard. He tries to walk it off and calls his taste poor, but everyone thinks Cornigo's attitude is vile for a person who arrived after the king. At the table, Sylvia offers him some of the carbonated wine, and he says it looks disgusting, but loves every sip of it. Kane offers him a hamburger, and he calls it disgusting but continues eating every last bit of it. All of the nobles have noticed his mistreatment of Kane, and Colin warns him to try and stay composed, which gives him a brilliant idea. He brings Cornigo glasses and explains that they're just a meager offering. Cornigo says they're meager all right, but wants every single one of them along with the recipe for the hamburger. Kane rejects because he's going to gift them to everyone here, but Cornigo is frustrated and screams at Kane to give him 100 glasses immediately. Kane apologizes and tries to stall as another red object approaches. He says he's willing to offer the kingdom's biggest offer.
You know what, I'm just
Even
gonna
more
wait until
amazing,
morning. I need to be able to
Making
find this
Cornigo
area.
excited to take it right
And this
away.
is in like a
He
really
tells him
weird
to please
spot
accept the
too.
kingdom's biggest, and the king appears from behind him. This catches him by surprise, and Cornigo wonders why he's at such a lowly person's home. The king furiously
Nothing should be able to get
responds that
through
King
there.
saved his daughter, and the duke wonders if he came
I'll
after
do a
the king,
multi-stair design,
regardless of
though.
Cornigo's lies. The king threatens to take his ranking away if continues mistreating Kane, trying to weasel his way out of this. Cornigo claims he was just impressed by the meal and the hospitality.
denied.
But the king tells him to start behaving
Actually, do
like
you have
an
armor on?
actual noble and
Come here.
commands him to
No, he
flee.
doesn't have
Silk
armor on,
comes
never
up to
mind.
Kane and knows that he set all of this up, and the duke asks if he is
Are you stupid? Come on, over here. I just want your experience, or excuse me, dragon orbs. My bad. Because I'm dragging Steve's nuts across your face, bitch.
He was sent by the Prime Minister.
Okay,
to
cool.
lead some
We're safe in
monster
here now.
materials.
So
So
Creeper
Dime
somehow
leads him to
manages to
the storage
magically
room.
climb up the
However,
staircase
Kane
and
thinks
fucking
that this room is
fucking
way too
and
small.
fucking
Dime is caught off
and
guard
fucking
and
Targo
wonders
lock
where all
onto
the
me.
size of the red dragon
You don't want to
is.
know what Targo locking is.
But Kane
Bad.
says it's nothing like that. Just the
Oh,
legendary
look at
red
that, a
dragon
skeleton.
that a whole party of the strongest adventurers couldn't take down. Dime is shocked, but tells Kane to leave the monsters in the middle of the field. So Kane releases all of them from his item box. Seeing the sheer number of rare monsters,
I had
asks
36
Cain if
hits on
he
that,
were a disciple
on the
of God,
colorless pickaxe, by the way.
causing Cain to panic
When I
and
say that it has no, like, Duracolor, like, you see how it has no color right
but
there?
Dime asks him if he would like
That
to
means you've
train
got
with
roughly,
the other
I think,
knights and meet their
56 or
leader.
60
Cain
hits left on it, but
realizes
I go with
that
40 just to be on the
this
safe
is
side.
how
If I
the
hadn't made it, I
entire
would have just
army
went
was
back down and
facing
went
off
back
against.
around.
But let's
It's
see
not
how this
worth
starts.
the
Dime
trouble,
introduced
I
Cain
promise.
to the
It's
rest
just
of the
not.
soldiers and informed them
Regardless,
that
though,
they
I was
were
at
rules.
36 out of
One of the
40 hits,
soldiers wonders
4
if they
blocks
should
away
really
from
be
not being
battling
able to do
against the
anything.
ten-year-old.
And
Since
what do you
he
know?
was
We
so
spawned
worried,
next to a
Dime
mountain,
suggested
or
for him to
cliffside.
fight
Big
Cain
surprise.
first. The soldier allows Cain to have the first move, and Cain happily agrees. In an instant, he activates his boost ability and vanishes before the man's eyes, defeating him with a single slash. Cain thanks him and begins trying to leave, but Dime says that he should try fighting all of them at once. That's how we ended up in this situation. But just as Cain was about to be destroyed, the leader screamed at all of them to hold their position. She asked them why the entire army is about to fight a little child, and hugged him to try and comfort him. Cain is too bewildered by her being an elf, and she asks Dime why he's put the child in this situation. Dime tries to explain that Cain was actually the one who saved the princess from 30 orcs alone. She finally understands, and she begs Cain to duel against her with a menacing aura. All the soldiers think that Cain lived a nice 10 years and wish him a happy afterlife. Cain asks her why she's holding an actual sword, but she tells him it makes things more interesting and begins rushing towards him. Cain attempts to fight her off, but her agility allows her to evade beautifully. She boosts her physical abilities, and they rush towards each other and clash their swords. The
creeper.
soldiers are impressed that there's someone who can match her speed.
Too bad AI
Cain
Sponge's
continues
channel
to
got a
parry
copyright
her
strike. They
blows
can't stream
with
now for
opportunity,
9 months.
but her defense is
If they
not
get
strong.
another one, I think
He
their
is
channel's
able to
toast.
even clock up and sprints towards her, but just then, he vanishes before her eyes and teleports next to her, pointing his sword at her throat. Cain says the duel is over, but she's just experienced the greatest climax in all of her life. She hugs Cain and tells him that she's going to be marrying him. Cain tells her that he hasn't even known her for 10 minutes, and she thinks he has a good point. She introduces herself as Tijuana, the daughter of a duke, and even though she may be older, she reassures him that elves can reach 300 years of age. So she
I thought
will
elves
remain
could live to
for
be
a
like
long time.
1,000.
Cain runs away from this creep and says that she needs her father's approval first. But she tells him it's not a
Where is
problem.
that
Her
floozy?
family knew she would be lonely forever, so they won't allow
Hey,
her
yo,
to
what up,
return home
dog?
until she's signed a contract. Still, Cain is
Oh, look at that, a
irritated
hole that I
because
can
he
identify the
found
area
an
with.
entire army of people for
Yeah,
permission,
that's real funny.
and asks Dime to back him up, but he's already fell asleep. The leader comes to her senses and tells Dime that she's going to meet with the king to make things better.
I am really
Cain
getting
thinks
sick and
this is
tired
the
of
worst
waiting.
possible outcome, and Dime drags
In
Cain
Mia,
to the
I'd be
king
dead by now.
inside
Well,
the
maybe
king's
not
castle.
dead. Actually, no, I would probably be dead because of the charged creepers. Although, to be fair, at nighttime you can see the charged creepers charging animation.
The king asks what's
Or,
the meaning.
excuse me, charged animation.
Claims that
They
he
need to
knows
nerf
it
that
wouldn't
shit. They need to
take
make
so
it to where
hard
you
to
can't see
penetrate
Enderman eyes,
into
spider
their
eyes, or
defenses.
charged
So
creeper
that's where
animation
they're
at
at
night.
now. The
Like,
other
no joke,
girls
they
haven't
really need
heard
to
of
fix
it.
that.
That is the advantage. Garm explains
There
that
is a new
Tijuana
hostile
is the
mode too
leader
where
of
the
army.
creepers spawn
She's
charged
the
after the
king
nether
filled with
portal's been
elves,
activated.
and she's basically their princess. The king breaks the sad news to her, saying that Cain is already engaged to his daughter along with the duke. Shocked by what she just learned, she thinks that Cain must be so incredibly amazing to have smitten both his daughter and the duke. The king knows how hard it must be, but Tijuana thinks that she wants to marry him even more now. All of them wonder what type of copium she's taking, because I sure want some of it. But the king says he will only discuss this after she's gained her father's permission. Tijuana gladly accepts and tells Cain to come along. He wonders where, and she tells him that they're going to be battling with their sticks to deepen their love. The king wonders how the strongest knight in the entire kingdom was defeated, and he asks Garm if he knows the story behind Cain. However, Garm himself doesn't know anything about him at all, but Dime remembers him panicking when he brought up the gods. So the king became suspicious. The count thinks they can test him by showing him that, the mythical book. Cain walks around, about to pass out from all the training for the last week. Just then, he hears her voice calling out for him and he tries to run away, but Dime grabs him and drags him to the king's room. Here we f***ing go again. The king asks Cain why he's appearing to be so sad, and Cain says he's tired of seeing his ugly ass.
Yo, that one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't.
The king tells him that he's brought him here to show him something. The count shows the book, an emperor-level magic text that's been passed down from the first king, Yuya.
Okay, I think we're
Asks
safe.
if he can read this book, and the king gives him permission. He opens the book
Where
and
in the
realizes
fuck
that he's
am
seen
I,
all these
dude?
spells and is glad to have learned now how to cast them. The king has finally
Wait,
realized.
what is this
He explains that
alcohol?
the text in the book is one that none of them can read. Cain inspects it once more, and realizes what he just read. The king explains that this
So we're
text
all
was
the way
written by
over
the first
here?
king in a language
Oh, for
called
God's
Japanese.
sake, dude.
The
How
king thinks it
far
all
did
makes
I
sense
go?
since he
Good
definitely
lord,
also
dude.
reincarnated. And the king
Well, I know where
explains
this
that no
is.
one's ever been
That
able to
is
read.
going to be
He
impossible to
asks
see
Cain
because of
once more
that.
to explain who he
So how about
truly
this?
is, and Cain realizes that he can no longer hide his true identity. But
We're
the
gonna
king
have to
trusts
move
him.
our fucking
He asks
pillar
them
over
to
here.
keep everything they've heard a secret. Otherwise, he will have to leave this kingdom. After the king agrees, Cain goes on to reveal that he has memories from his previous life.
Oh,
He used to
what
live
in the
same
fuck?
land where the first king came from, a land
Just
called
imagine
Egypt.
if this ended up
He
being the.
apologizes
Oh my
for
god,
never
no, dude.
telling
If I missed that
and
jump,
God
I'm
asks
fucking
if
dead.
he's truly his child. Even if he didn't want to be born to such a broken, the gods confirmed that Garm was his father when
Fuck.
he turned 5. The entire room is surprised that he met with the gods, and he goes on to tell them of how they were all crazy nutcases. But he meets them all the time. Garm asks him to show him his real status, and the entire room panics when they finally see all of his levels being beyond human. The king has no idea what they're going to do. After all, the god's chosen title is the epitome of the human race, and even kings should bow to him. Cain begs him to wait because that's not what he wants, even though he has memories of his previous life. This is the life he's always wanted to live, and has everything he's ever wanted. A loving family, overpowered abilities, and people who care about him. There's nothing more honorable
Ow.
than living a life like
I'm pretty
this,
sure
because
that
in
this
his
fall
previous
kills
life,
me if
none
I
of his
take
family
the
was
L.
still alive.
And taking the L this
And
late
now
in the game would be
he's blessed with
so
everything
dude,
he
that'd
could
be
ever dream
brutal
of,
as
and
fuck.
thanks his father for
Like, no
raising
joke,
him
I would
as his
actually
child. He
fucking
apologizes
cry.
to the king for hiding the truth, but wishes for them to continue treating him the same way they
Where's
always
those
have.
creepers that
The
I
king
saw? I
humbly
guarantee
accepts.
they're gonna dive bomb me.
Promises
There's
that
no
he
way
will
they
be
don't.
treated the same way as everyone else. However, he wonders if Cain
Oh.
should just be the king instead. Just then, Tijuana enters the room and shows him her father's consent to marry Cain.
You know what? I'm not
Here
gonna
we go,
provoke them.
another
I think
blow
I'm.
to the
I think I'm
halo,
good.
and she takes him away with her. The Duke tells the king not to worry because Cain will
So,
always
are
be
we
the
going
same
in the
way
right
he always
direction?
has. And the king
I
thinks
mean,
he
I see
can
the
prove
pillar.
it.
That's pretty easy for me to
Commands
find.
everyone
Yeah.
in the room to keep this matter a
Fountain
secret.
completely
He
blocks
only
my
wishes
first
for
pillar.
Cain to protect
Naturally.
his
I'm not
his
surprised.
family, the girls he cares about, and anyone who may ever need his help. In the years that
Color me
followed,
very
Cain began
unsurprised
reading
that that
book after
happened.
Lydia. The word said that if Cain can read this, then he is from the same home country as him, Japan. This book contains all the information
Am I
about
going
Lydia's
insane?
life,
Am I going in the
including
wrong
how he was
direction?
isekai
I
by
think I
fate.
am.
Unlike Cain, however,
Whatever.
he was
How did I
able to
end? Okay, so I
gather
was
his
over there.
son
How did
into
I
this
end
new
up all
world.
the fucking
Just
way
as
over
Cain
there,
kept
dude?
reading,
That
Sylvan
mine
tells
shaft
Cain
really
that
must
he
go
is studying
deep or
to be a
something.
captain
I
of
don't
the
even
Prince
know.
of Darkness. They begin offering to study with him, but Cain tells them
Dude,
he
that
doesn't
mine
have
shaft
time to
really
study,
must
they're
just be
both
insane.
dead. They ask him about
You know,
tomorrow,
actually, I could
but
probably
he
measure
runs
the
off and
distance of
spends
this
some
mine
other
shaft
time.
based on an
As he
average of,
walks
like,
through
you
the
know,
hall,
where I, like,
that
pop
page
out.
number 3 came sprinting towards
So
him
I
and
don't
asked
pop
him
out
to
anywhere
train
on
with
that
him,
side
but he
hardly.
said he will do it
Because the
some
mine
other
shaft
time.
doesn't start there,
As
but
he
it
left,
goes,
he
like,
apologized
all
to
the way
everyone,
around
but
this
today is a
entire
very
fucking
special day
premise,
for
and
him.
it's
It's his 12th
massive,
birthday.
too.
It's the day he will finally
Like,
get
it's
to register
absolutely
his
just
adventure.
insanely
Inside the
big.
field, he bumps into a red-haired
Big.
notices he's young, so he reminds him that he's only got one life and to be careful. Cain wonders where he's seen that hair before, but approaches the receptionist who asks him if he would like to register.
Regardless,
As he filled
though,
the paperwork,
yeah,
he
it's a
decided to
pretty big
conceal
mine
his
shaft,
bearing
I'm not gonna
status since it
lie.
didn't have anything to do with adventuring.
Well, we've cleared everything in there. We just need to go back to that
He then
pillar
asks
over
him
there
to
and
put
collect
his
the
finger for a
chest,
blood
and then
magic
we'll be done.
test, and offer
Well,
him
with
the
that
few
mine shaft
trinkets
anyways. I
for
still
his
need to get
father.
those 2
Cain
mine carts that are
remembers
down there, but I just don't have the food to do
and
it.
wonders how they're doing right now. The woman introduces herself as Rita and says it's nice to meet him. But just then, 3 guys come up and tell her to ditch the brat and hang out with them because they'll keep her company all night. Cain thinks,
Ah, here we go again.
Oh, what
their
you
leader
gonna do,
tries
you
to
little
take Cain away,
shit?
but ends up
Fucking
falling
nothing, you
asleep.
little
The
bastard.
lackeys try to retaliate, and both of them rush
Oh
towards
my
him,
god, a
clashing
venom
into
sac,
each
it's
other.
so
The leader
beautiful.
prepares to draw a sword,
I'll be taking
but
that,
Cain tells
thank
him
you.
to just wait.
Thank you very
At the
much, young
same
man.
moment, the red-haired
4
guy
mine
approaches
carts.
and tells him that if he wants to fight, he can fight him all
Fucking
night. They
a
run away
shitload
after
of rails.
recognizing
I'm just gonna
Claude.
keep these rails, because
Cain
I have
calls
no
Cain
use for them
danger.
outside of
Cain
that.
thanks Claude
And
for
also
his
because,
help,
you know,
but
I
Claude
don't
noticed
have
that he
to.
would have probably destroyed them alone, so he asks him to have a drink with him. Since Cain is still 12, He gives him some fruit juice and asks him how he was able to pull off those incredible moves. Kane says he's been training since he was young with 2 tutors, and Claude is caught off guard and wonders where he's heard that before. Claude raises a cheer for him becoming an adventurer.
Well, I have no more major food, which is a problem.
With Ice Flame. So Claude reveals that the name of his party is the Ice Flame. He uses a flame sword and his wife uses ice magic. And because they trust
We almost got 2 stacks. We were very, very close. I don't know if I should go for 2 stacks, though. I don't have enough food to do it.
But Claude thinks it's nothing compared to their first king who had a triple S rank. Just then, a wand hits him in the head, and his wife asks him why he's drinking. Claude introduces his wife as Luna, and she slams his head to not change the subject. Kane tries to introduce himself.
Damn, his wife is fucking like psycho bitch mode.
If there's any guys who bother him.
Actually, I'll take the rail with me. I might need it, and I may have a use for it later. Oh, I don't have any torches. Fuck.
Are you shitting me?
Well, looks like I'm not taking that with me because we're gonna have to go hunting. I'm gonna do that tomorrow, though. There's nothing much left for me to do in this episode, sadly. I mean, can you eat this? Oh, you can't eat this. God damn. That's a shame. I kind of wanted to try to eat it. Well, there's nothing left to do. I mean, what am I gonna do, you know? I have nothing to do.
But Tijuana comes running after finally finding him. She asks him what he's been doing, and he reveals that he's going on his first adventure today.
Stand in the middle. It's an easier way to do it. See? Easy.
Poor dude was never seen again after that day. Deep in the forest,
anyways, I kind of want to go back down into the mine shaft and get another mine rail. We'll start from this area right here, though. Oh yeah, we need to go back down and get that chest, though. Shit.
And she asks Kane to chase after her.
Well, first things first, we're gonna do this. I'm not gonna go get the wood, though, because I don't have a need to at the moment. We can do that maybe a little later. I don't know, maybe I should actually. Shit. Like, do I want to get a whole double chest's worth of wood? I just need 1 rail, and then that's literally it.
So Kane enchants her physical abilities with his magic to power her up. Tijuana thanks him for filling her up with his one magical fluid. She rushes
oh, what's this?
Whether it's in sickness or in health, she vows to stay by his side and wants his
iron.
First joint.
What?
This bitch is psychotic. Kane wonders how he's always ending up with these nutcases, but the green lizards appear and Kane tells her that he will take care of her. She runs away with the man, and Kane casts his light ball, along with an ice pillar to destroy every single one of the
Why can't she make, like, loose dirt into tight dirt? There's an undone area. Oh my god, hold up. Hold up. I'm gonna try to do this without mining anything.
Inside the guild, Kane reveals that he's defeated the green lizards and wonders if he would be able to get the rewards even though he didn't claim them.
I can use the rest of my torches finally.
Because defeating a group of them is usually something done by C-rank adventurers, but Kane explains that he defeated about 30.
Yeah, there you go. That takes care of that, I guess.
To tell him the situation.
I got 1 iron. That's 37 hits on this pickaxe. Ow.
How he managed to get the green lizards. After all, he's a kid who's a G rank on his first quest, so there's no chance he could even kill a single lizard. Free to tell Cedric that it's wrong
wood for moi, you shouldn't have. Now, where are those stinking... Like, where are those fucking, where are those minecarts that I left down here? That's what I want next. We're gonna search for that next. I don't even need a pickaxe for this. It's unnecessary. Because I remember there were 2 minecarts in a burned area of the mine shaft that I was in before. We'll find it. It'll take some time, but we will find it. Maybe I should go get a new pickaxe before I do anything down here. Maybe that's not such a bad idea.
Tijuana enters and yells that she's glad to see her husband. Kane tells her they were supposed to keep their engagement a secret, and pushes her off to ask her what she's doing.
Plus, hey, you never know, I might find something interesting down here, too.
And the guild master reveals that he's known he's a
I might find like a stray rail or something like that, I don't even know.
He was the one to save the princess.
Oh, cool.
He goes on to say that he's the son of Margrave Garn, and if he marries Tijuana, they will become brothers-in-law. Kane is surprised that he's Tijuana's brother, and the guild master asks Cedric if he's going to continue insulting his brother-in-law. Cedric instantly bows his head, and Tijuana says that usually a commoner insulting a noble would get executed. But Kane says he would never do that. He accepts his apology and asks him to avoid making accusations in the future. The guild master tells Kane they will gladly accept his lizard. but he won't be able to stay at a G rank. So as a token of apology,
Well,
he promises to raise his rank to C rank immediately. Tijuana thinks that it's too low since he's already defeated a red dragon and beat her in duels. Cedric wonders just how strong this guy is, so Tijuana's brother agrees that he should raise him all the way to A rank. He commands Rita and Cedric to take care of the paperwork, and Tijuana's brother apologizes on behalf of his subordinates.
oh
Rita.
my god,
He thanks
fuck
Kane for being
off,
understanding,
dude.
and for taking care of his sister because she probably strong-armed him into this marriage. Tijuana tells him that they've already performed Love's first joint task, and Kane thinks she's going to be giving everyone a misunderstanding. However, her brother knows better than anyone how lonely and stupid his sister is. Kane is glad he isn't the only one with some sanity, and the gods think that Kane truly never changes. The god of magic
Just a heads up, you actually cannot climb ladders if you're famished. So once you get to the famished state, you can't climb ladders no more.
Even stronger. Aaron's seal will be broken soon, and the world will be in trouble when that happens. It's been 300 years since he was sealed, so Kane needs to be trained even more before Aaron comes to destroy the world. There's only one way to train Kane, and all the gods agree to have Kane train underneath the mysterious man. After oversleeping on the day of his exam, Sylvia breaks in and panics because she didn't wake him up early enough, so she offers her maid milkers for breakfast.
Okay, cool.
However, Kane runs away and she cries because he only likes mommy milk, but he tells her that he'll drink her milk later. He teleports to the exam site, and while walking to class, he wonders why Tellus and Silk weren't taking the exam with him.
I'll take a stack of eggs down there with me just in case something bad happens. Because I'm gonna need it, that's for sure. Actually, the slime balls can stay here. They're actually pretty valuable. Well, no, actually, hold up, let me take those back. I don't actually need to, like, seal any more like, cobblestone, so it's all good. Oh yeah, fucking pickaxe, hold up.
And Kane realizes that he can't use his ultimate Inferno ability. So when she calls him up, he casts a simple fireball that turns blue. Even the teacher hasn't seen this level of magic before and tries to stop him. But Kane launches his fireball towards the target, annihilating the entire field for kilometers.
Okay, now I just need to get a new pickaxe.
At full power since there's a barrier. But the teacher thinks it's impossible for someone to be this strong when they're this young. She rushes to make sure no one was harmed, and tells them to begin the sword.
Oh my god, stop.
The field, the professor introduces the adventurers who will be conducting the exam, and Kane notices Claude is one of them. He wonders what Kane is doing here and decides to duel him, saying he's just trying to assess.
That would be extremely bad if I fucking got attacked, because I wouldn't be able to do anything.
And rushes towards Claude. They clash against one another, and Kane parries every single one of his attacks, while they continue sparring. Kane begs Claude to relax since he
I could have probably saved my rails and used them on zombie villagers, but at the same time, like, bro.
His boost ability. Even with his enhanced speed, Kane manages to fend off all of his attacks, but worries that he'd break the other kids' bones with his strike. The teacher yells at them to stop their
Yeah, we're just gonna make new tools for all of our shit. It doesn't cost anything, it's just a bunch of sticks. I just don't want to be without tools down there.
But the teacher comes and tells him that the exam is over, and that he should only come back for the results. Kane realizes how bad this is, but Claude pretends like he didn't cause a problem. At home, Sylvia asks him if he's ready for some maid milk, but Kane tries to ignore her and says he finished the exam and that everything went just right. She's happy to hear this and wants to give him some milk to celebrate this success, but Kane
Okay, cool. Now I can go back down. How nice.
Why you always lying?
Why you always lying? That was a good use of that joke. Okay, now I don't have to worry about my pickaxe breaking on me randomly. Thank goodness. Oh boy.
And Kane says he's tired of always having to see his fat.
We will go this way instead, because this way has more wood. This way does look different too, ironically enough.
The entire school and make the king pay for all of it. And if the king won't stop having these visits, then Kane will use his emperor-level magic to destroy his entire castle. The king tells him to shut up already and asks where he took the exam. Tellus and Silk didn't see him, and Kane remembers not seeing them either.
Well, at the very least, this will be pretty easy to do.
The king asks Kane if he knew that the academy has 2 entrances.
Of course, there's more coal. There's always more. It's never enough, is it? To be fair, I kind of threw away 2 stacks, so I guess it kind of makes sense for the coal to want vengeance upon me.
And says that his father should have raised him better. He's caused so many problems that when the teacher approached the Duke to tell him about the incident, he knew it was Kane being the usual moron. and started laughing because he was going to destroy him with this information. After the Count revealed the repair bill, Cain wished he was nicer to them now, so the king asks him who the ugly ass is again. The king's had enough of this little skit, and tells Cain to leave already. The day of the results arrives, Cain looks to see his ranking but can't find it anywhere. Silk runs in and congratulates him on being the top of their class.
So where in the fuck did my stuff go?
For entering the wrong gate. But hearing how he destroyed the entire area,
I know where this is.
Destroy her entire area.
What do you mean by that?
And since Tellys isn't here, they don't need to worry about her finding out. But Cain knows this will end poorly. At the entrance gate, Cain sees his sister and she runs because she hasn't had any.
Oh, a minecart. Look at that. I found one of them. That was one of 3. I didn't even know that one still existed.
He's never heard about this, but she just hugs him hard.
Lapis? Huh?
Julia is wondering if anyone's ever going to.
How did I miss this?
And Cain finally arrives. She asks him if he wants some milk.
We'll go get that chest from that spawner in a little bit.
Emotional damage.
His words crush her, but she hugs and congratulates him on passing to mask her feelings. She knew he would pass all along, so to celebrate, she's going to produce the best milk for him tonight. Cain wonders what the fuck is wrong with this post-menopausal bitch. The butler tries saying she's just happy, but Cain thinks that she'll never get a man like this. During the ceremony, Cain finally waves to the best mommy milkers in the entire kingdom. Rejuvenated, whatever the f that word means. He charmingly asks Tellys and Silk to study with him throughout the years. He says that he will call them beautiful in front of their fathers again, and the girls look forward to it. Once the ceremony begins, all the guys are jealous of him, but all the girls want to feel him. The teacher calls Cain up to the stand. In front of everyone, he admits that he's the dumbass who mixed up the wrong entrances and took the commoner exam. However, he's a genius and knows how to twist this. He goes on to say that just like
he knows how to twist those nipples, like just right. Like just right. Oh, look at that. Free iron. Oh, it was just one.
Regardless of bloodline or nobility status, he prays they can all get along together. Darn is glad that his child can twist every situation the same way he's about to twist Sarah's plot. The king overheard the slander and came to bully Cain in front of everyone. He congratulated them on being accepted, and is sure they won't be useless like this spineless loser.
There is nothing left in this mine shaft. There is like, I mean, there's a shitload of wood, I guess, but like.
And the king goes on to apologize that they're going to be dealing with the failure that gone wrong. Little sucker is finally getting what he deserves. The first class is finally going to begin, and Cain is late after crying in the
I think tomorrow I'll probably just do some relaxing fucking strip mining.
To think about their future plan. Cain thinks he's going to be a free adventurer, and the girls are excited to accompany him on his adventure. He asks
Well, I know where this is. This is that one area that I fucking... Ooh, I missed something.
So she can manage his future kingdom. Silk thinks she will also study commerce to help his future domain. This is a straight-up slave harem. After class is over, Cain walks over to see Parma getting bullied by Habit and his lackey. They make fun of her for being a commoner, and tell her to drop out of the school right now. The knight in shining armor comes and tells them to treat everyone equally instead of picking on others. They realize it's Baron Cain, and he tells them that Parma is his friend, regardless of her nobility status. Habit thinks he will tell his father to ruin her entire family, but Silk tells them to repeat what they just said. Tellys wants to hear them too, and they realize they're screwed. She wonders if she should report their insolence to her father, but they apologize like the cockroaches they are and run away. Cain apologizes to Parma and asks to pet her cat ears, but the girls realize he's too close to the ground.
Nice.
So Silk commands him to
I guess
sit
the
on
only mission now is just to collect a shitload of wood.
Understood how life works, so he behaves like a good boy and
The
wonders
fuck?
what they're talking about. However, as he realizes
What I find funny is that I'm still finding a shitload of fucking other ores while I'm down here. I still managed to miss a bunch of them, didn't I?
He gets up and goes to open the library door, getting teleported to a different dimension. The guy asks him if he would like coffee, but Cain wonders how this guy even knows what coffee is. The man tells Cain that he's been waiting for him this entire time, and that his name is Sheena. The mysterious man tells Cain that there's no need to be guarded. After all, he knows that Zenon reincarnated him here. Cain wonders how he knows the gods, and the man finally introduces himself. He is Yuya, the first king of this country. Cain remembers reading all about him in the Emperor-level text, but wonders if he's a ghost since it's been 300 years. After inspecting him using judgment, he sees Yuya has the special title God of Creation. The world they're currently in is Fab now, and since Yuya created it, He's the god of creation of this world. Zenom and the rest of the gods wanted Cain to be trained, but he thinks that he's already the strongest person alive. Even with his power, however, Yuya asked Cain to try stealing the cookie, but as he leapt forward, Yuya unsheathed his sword to prevent Cain from moving. Cain wondered why he needed to be this strong, and Yuya told him that there's someone he needs to fight. 300 years ago, this person made all the people in the world fight each other. Using an oracle, he sowed the seeds of distrust among everyone, subconsciously forcing them to fight. That man is the evil god Eren, and Yuya narrowly managed to seal him away 300 years ago. But recently, that seal has started to loosen, and since Yuya is a god of this world now, he can't interfere in that world, so it's all up to Cain. However, Yuya tells him that his previous life will come into play and teleports him to the middle of the ocean. He promises that he will teach Cain more if he completes the task and disappears. Cain begs him to tell him more right now, but Yuya only gives him a compass that points back to his mansion. His mission will be to level up to 600 if he even wants to stand a chance against Eren. And since Cain is only level 300, he wonders what will happen to his school if he will be gone for a long time. Yuya tells him not to worry since a year in this world is equal to one day there and disappears. But Cain begs him to wait a minute. Yuya teleports back, telling him he can either do it or don't. Cain's realized that he has no other options, so he rushes...
I know where this is. This is that one area I was exploring before. I actually recognize how to get to most of these areas at this point, hilariously.
5 minutes, and he's already faced countless S-rank beasts. Back in the other world, Sylvia panickingly opens
Okay,
the
that's
door
not
to
what I
see
meant to
Ellie
do.
and Silk. She apologizes for panicking because she hasn't seen Cain all day, but they tell her that they haven't seen him at school either. After hearing that, Sylvia worries he's been kidnapped or imprisoned, or even stuck in a ditch. But Tellys tells them that he's fine because he always manages to find a way out of everything. If they wait here, she's sure he will eventually appear. A giant bear is about to devour Cain, but he annihilated it with his magic. It's been 4 months of being stuck in this forest without any sleep, so his mind is starting to break. He hears a puppy whimpering and begins walking towards the source of the noise. Once he arrives, he sees the tiny white puppy who's been injured badly, and thinks that he will put it out of its misery. But as he raises his sword, he sees the look on the puppy's face.
Oh, an emerald?
The
What?
same sad look on the
Oh,
girl's
I'll be
face.
damned.
Cain drops his sword and apologizes for scaring it. After all, he's always just wanted to protect someone. He hugs it close and uses his extra heal. But since it's not enough, he puts every last bit of his mana into healing, and passes out after consuming all his energy. Hours later, the puppy defends him against all of the beasts, and Cain realizes that it was trying to protect him while he slept. The puppy jumps onto him and starts licking him. He sees that it's been alone all this time just like him, so he asks it if it would like to accompany him on his trip, and gave it the name Haku. It was the only sort of companionship that allowed him to continue moving forward, because no matter how
I know what
bad
that
things got,
is.
there was now someone he needed to protect. And so the years passed. Eventually, Cain finally made it to Yuya's mansion, and Yuya was surprised to see how much bigger he's gotten. It's been around 4 years, and he sees the Fenrir next to him, telling Cain that he's a legendary holy beast. If he's managed to gain his trust, Cain might be able to summon him at any time using a contract summon. So Cain gives it a try and Haku disappears. Yuya tells him he can summon him back at any time, but his training isn't over, and he will be practicing under his teacher, Duran. Cain is excited to have a new master, but he first wants to learn about Eren and
There we
his
go.
previous life.
I got back a
Yuya
few
remembers
torches
his
too,
promise
nice.
and tells him
I got
that they
back
will
2
begin
torches,
talking
how
before he
nice.
leaves. At the training site, Duran says that Cain isn't strong enough. Yuya is stronger than Duran, and since Eren is stronger than Yuya, Cain stands no chance. Cain tries boosting to hit Duran, but he instantly evades and delivers a devastating blow to Cain's guts, knocking him unconscious. He wakes up to a ceiling he's never seen before, and Haku comes to lick him. While going downstairs, Cain sees a hot elf girl, and she introduces herself as Ruri and promises to make him some food. The baby dragon sneezes and Cain rushes down to meet it, but Haku jumps on top of him out of jealousy. Why am I always getting deja vu? Rory is finished preparing the meal and Cain takes a bite, realizing he hasn't eaten something this good in years. Duran tells him to eat up as much as he wants, and Rory tells him she can give him some elf milkers if he wants some too. While preparing dough, Silk sighs in sadness, but Tellys tells her that she's sure Cain will be fine, so they should do their best to create something good for him. Sylvia tells them to hurry up and move their hands or her milkers will be the only ones that Cain gets to experience. The girls realize why this girl's never dated anyone. Duran continues beating Cain down. and he's glad that Kane's finally withstanding some hits. After months of this training, he's finally managing to get home on his own feet, and the baby dragon is still being a tsundere. After a year of training, Kane was still being beaten down, but the anger of having to stop Eren kept him moving forward. He remembered the day when Yue revealed everything about his past life. Eren used to be the god of amusement, the 8th god of Zenom's world. The gods had asked Kane to make them a game because there's no more entertainment in this world. When Eren used the oracle, he was forcing every person to participate in a death game, and if he ever breaks the seal, he will end up forcing everyone to participate in this game once more. The only way Kane can prevent this is if he gets stronger. So Kane continued fighting to protect those who were important to him. But after all this time, Yuya still had one thing left to tell him. He was the one who was unable to protect his friends. The reason Eren is connected to Kane's old life was because of this one reason. The friends Yuya failed to protect were Kane's parents. After they died in an accident, they were reincarnated into Kane's new world and were begged by the gods to bring peace to this new world. But even as Kane's mother casted Inferno, she realized how ineffective her attacks were. Kane's father and Yuya tried slashing against him and landed a scratch, but with a single magical blow, he annihilated their entire troop forces. Kane's mother tried protecting the priestess, but the injuries she sustained couldn't be healed. Kane's father used Overload to rush forward with all of his power and sacrificed himself to restrain Eren from moving. In that instant, Yuya used the stone to seal away Eren. His parents' last words were apologizing to their son. After hearing their words, Kane knew that he wanted one thing. He wanted to protect the people he cared about and make this a peaceful world. So he used his Overload and defeated Durain once and for all. Durain congratulated him on finally finishing his training, and Kane ran towards his parents' grave. Yuya reveals that even as they prepared for their final battle against Eren, they were always looking for a way to get back to him. Kane's glad he finally found out the truth, thanking them for always thinking of him, and thanks Yuya for looking after his parents. Yuya opens his fist one final time, and Kane's speed surpasses Yuya's. He thanks Yuya for all the training, but Yuya tells him that he was the one who put in all the work. He runs off to his old world, but Yuya tells him to wait. His body's completely different after 5 years, so he casts a spell to return him to his original form. Haku appears to accompany him on his journey, and Durain asks him if he would be able to take Jin along with him. He promises that he will take care of Jin, and thanks them for taking care of him as he prepares to teleport to the other world. Yuya hands him a gift for the current
You know, just
Durain
barely.
looks forward to the
Good.
day he becomes greater than both of them. But Yuya is sure it will be
Okay,
safe.
yeah, that looks
After
good.
all, he
Should've
has
done it
something
right.
much greater to protect
Yes,
than
okay,
they do,
good.
and there's also lots of people protecting him. Sylvia sees that Kane is finally back and rushes to give him some of her maid milkers. He tells her to get her lonely ass off of him because he didn't miss her one bit in those 5 years.
You're a victim.
He only missed Telly's and Silk, and they're glad he's finally back. They show him the cookies they've prepared for him, and Kane cries while he starts eating them. They're glad he enjoyed them, and they welcome him home. The king reads the letter sent by the first king, and wonders if this is truly from Yuya. Kane reveals that Yuya managed to create a different world, and lived there as the god of creation. Additionally, he gave Kane a gift for the king, and they are all shocked to see the legendary katana that slayed the Black Dragon. After seeing it, the king finally believes that Kane is telling the truth, but wonders what training this letter is referring to. Kane says that his training was long and rough, just like the spears his wife takes from other men at night. Every single day, he had to fight against monsters and survive lethal mock battles for 5 long years. The king wonders if he heard that right, and asks Kane how it could have been 5 years since he's still a small ugly shit. The Duke tells Kane that his useless ass forgot to accept the quest needed to advance to a rank, and his registration will be cancelled if he doesn't act on it. At the guild headquarters, Kane asks why the guild master wants to revoke his license, and apologizes because he hasn't had any free days recently. The guild master tells him that Tefana was so bummed out that her bottled up love might explode. Kane thinks it must suck to be her, because he only cares about his adventurer's license. So the guild master reminds him of the conditions of becoming an A-rank adventurer. Currently, there's about 10 bandits
what's
on the
up
route from
here?
Gracia to the royal capital, and he needs to subjugate them to maintain his A rank. But it shouldn't be a problem since he's the strongest guy in the capital. Kane promises that he'll deal with it, and the guild master looks forward to seeing it happen. Inside the forest, Kane activates his flight to scan the area for the bandits, but eventually sees a carriage being ambushed by them. He flies down and says he'll help them out, but notices that it's Nina, Sabino's, and Millie here. She had been gravely injured, so Kane ran over and used his heal abilities to treat her wounds. The bandits think that one more child can't stop them, since little kids should just be drinking from mommy milkers. But Kane says that he'll make them pay for
Okay, yeah, this just dead ends up
They
at the
rush
top.
towards
Good.
them.
I'm
Kane
glad I don't have to
activates
waste
his
any
ability,
torches.
knocking them off balance
Well,
and
I have to
sliding
use one, but I'm not
forward
wasting it, so that's
one by
good.
one. He takes care of all of them, and thinks holding back is really difficult. Sabinos thanks him for saving, but Millie wonders why he's here. Kane says he accepted a subjugation quest from the guild, shocking her that he's able to take a C-rank quest even though he just joined the guild. Kane shows them his adventurer card, and the girls are surprised that he's already a higher rank than them. Sabinos thinks this explains how he took out all the bandits, but wonders what they're going to do with them. As they drove the carriage throughout the capital, all the residents were disgusted by how vile those bandits must have been. They eventually made it to Sabino's home and Parma came out to greet Kane, but was shocked to see all the bandits locked out. Her father explains that Kane saved them from all those bandits, and she thinks he's so cool for working even on the weekends like a proper baron. Mill is bamboozled that he's a baron now, and worries that she's going to have to treat him differently. But Nina thinks he's every gold digger's dream now. However, Kane tells them not to worry about the formalities since they were his tutors after all, and Millie is glad to hear that he hasn't changed one bit. Since he's grown a lot in a few years, Millie goes on to unlock a new type of milkers for him, the tutor milkers. Kane thinks he just felt the best milkers in the land, but runs off to report to the guild without them. Inside the guild, Kane hands Rita the testimony that confirms the bandits' subjugation, but as Rita was congratulating him, they tell Millie that they'll show her around the capital. But just before he's able to grab onto her, Kane's hand stops him. The bandit was ready to tell the kid to piss off, but they realized it was the kid from before, and collapsed at his aura. Claude came from behind, and Kane ran to greet him. He congratulated him on driving away those creeps, but Kane says he would do anything to protect his friends. This is the first time Claude's heard he has friends, and sees Millie and Nina. Kane wonders how he knows his teachers, and Claude reveals that Millie is his sister. They tell him that they're the ones who tutored Kane since he was 5, and Claude thinks this is an awesome celebration, so they should drink some juice. Together, they all drink some PG apple cider vinegar, and Millie tells them the story of how Kane saved them from all the bandits. Nina also reveals that he's already A rank, and Claude is shocked that he was able to catch up to him so quickly, but thinks it's not surprising since he was the only one to keep up with him in the exam. Hearing this baffles Millie, because her brother was the only person to ever make it to A rank
Okay,
using only
cool.
his sword skills. Nina
There's
thinks it
so
makes
much shit
perfect
down here,
sense since
dude.
Kane
What
is a
the
baron who
fuck?
already has his own mansion, and thinks he's every gold digger's dream. Claude is shocked that he was a baron, and begs him not to charge him for his rudeness. But Kane screams at them to calm down, and Millie wonders how he was able to become so strong, stumbling on his words. Kane realizes he can't just tell her that he was trained by the gods, but she thinks it shouldn't be surprising since he was able to kill a red dragon even as a little kid. Claude thinks Kane might be hacking for defeating an SS rank monster, but Millie and Nina go on to show them their magic bags. Rena wonders how much those bags hold, but Millie goes on to reveal that she's never had it filled. He laughs it off, and asks Kane where he got those bags from, and how much they actually hold. Nina reveals they could actually fit a mansion, and Rena realizes that those must be some national treasure class items. She begs Kane and says she will do anything so he could create her one of those bags. Kane promises that he will, and Rena passes out, but Claude tells her that it's okay because she won't remember any of this tomorrow. Kane is glad to hear that she'll be fine, but remembers that he has school tomorrow, and panics because he didn't
Oh,
attend
this is
it
that
all
one
last year.
area, isn't
Claude
it?
wonders how he's fitting in, especially since he's
I
already
feel like there
there.
still is that
Kane
one
tries
area
to
that I
pass
haven't
off the
touched
top.
yet.
Nina feels bad for him, so she offers to hug him, but he runs away, and Claude thinks it's very apparent that Kane is going to be a computer science major. They notice Rita looking for someone and ask her what's happened, so she reveals that she's looking for a substitute teacher for tomorrow's adventure class. Claude realizes this could be the perfect opportunity and asks Rita to explain more. At class the next day, the teacher commands all the students to cast their magic towards the target. Kane thinks he's finally going to show off his incredible powers, but the teacher calls out his name and says that he's forbidden from using magic in this academy. All the teachers have also been notified of this, because his beginner-level magic can destroy all the barriers. While spying on him, Claude's group see that Kane really can't fit in with all of them, and thinks that it's up to them to give him a hand. During their next class, the teacher teacher introduces the adventurers who will be assisting him, and all of his classmates instantly recognize them.
Well,
Claude
shit.
asks the class how many of them are adventurers, and sees that all of them have already become adventurers.
Ruh-roh
So
raggy.
he asks all of them to take out their guild cards. Kane realizes he's screwed, and Claude asks him why he doesn't have a guild card, whispering to take it out already.
About time a
Kane
cave
doesn't
noise
want to make
played,
all
good
the others feel
lord.
bad since he already has a gold card, and thinks they'll all be even more put off.
You know what, we're gonna switch out bottom for top.
And Kane says that he forgot it at home.
Nothing
Claude thinks
personal,
that it's really
kid.
disappointing, but tells him to make sure he never forgets it in the future. Millie noticed how they all stared at him, and Rena thinks he's definitely a computer science major instead of a quantum physics major. Inside the training manual, Claude tells everyone that they're going to be learning how to use Boost today. The students volunteer to start, and Kane thinks he's finally going to show off his abilities to Claude. However, he sees all the other students going before him, and sees the lines that form. He was the only one left behind. However, this is all part of their plan, because they want to show how much stronger they are, and if Kane manages to keep up with them, all of the students will be stunned by his strength. This is their 700 IQ quantum physics lecture. With Kane at the end of the line, he worried that he wouldn't have time to make it to the duel, but their turn finally arrived. They jumped towards each other and struck swords, but the bell rang to end class. The teacher stopped the class, and Kane begged for just an extra minute, but the teacher wouldn't allow it. Claude apologized and promised to battle him next time, but the teacher said there won't be a next time. After all, Kane blew away all this episode's budget after he unlocked a new type of milkers. Kane wishes this didn't have to happen because it's not like he wanted a new type of milkers. And Claude
I'll toss
tells
out
him
the
to
middle
stop.
strata
At
once
night,
I run
Kane
out of
takes out his
space.
anger by blowing up all
Ah,
the trees. A giant
jeez.
dragon approaches him.
It's probably because the area is so
Single blow.
open now.
He sees a giant boulder standing before him and casts hundreds of fireballs towards the ground. The guards think it's the god of destruction that has been released, and Garm leads the army towards the source. Kane's managed to calm down and teleports out, and as Garm makes it to the crater, he sees his emblem once more. We're back at it fucking again inside the king's room, and he tells him that his worthless father thought the god of destruction appeared after the entire forest was scorched. He wonders if he received a warning from the gods, and he tries to explain the situation, but the king tells him to hurry up and spit it out. Kane
Where the
cries
hell am
because
I
he didn't come
now?
up with a comeback for today. Far in the distance, a goblin sees an orb, but a dragon eats him. After devouring the stone, the seal has finally weakened, and even though he just consumed a single part of his body, it should be more than enough. At school, the teacher reveals that they will be learning summoning magic today, and asks if Kane is among them. Kane realizes it's his cue to fuck off, but the teacher says that he can stay here since they're not going to be using attack magic, and she introduces them to the specialist of the day. He is a palace mage called Drat, and he explains the two types of summoning magic. The first is to establish a bond with a monster and form a contract with it, while the other method is to summon a monster from a magical sigil and form a contract. Since there aren't any wild monsters around,
Normally I wouldn't
they'll
be
using
doing that, but I don't
magic
exactly have a
sigils to form
choice at the
summoning
moment.
today. He gives all the students magic sigils, and they quickly summon their familiars. One of them summons a giant beast, but the beast thinks he's trying to rip off Mash with his mushroom haircut, so it rejects him. Rat tells him not to worry because he can at least use magic unlike Mash, but he's probably going to stay ugly his whole life.
Emotional damage.
Finally, Kane's turn comes up, and he asks if it's truly okay that he's going to put all his power into this summon. Rat reassures him, saying they'll just leave it.
Finally, I can get rid of that.
Contract, so he can put all of his magic into it. Kane's finally going to use all of his magical power and activates the sigil with all of his mana. Blue light emanates with an intense aura, but Grat begs him to stop before it's too late. However, the summon has already appeared, and the strange man with horns wonders why a lowly human has summoned the Prince of Darkness. Immediately, Kane blinds everyone else, and he wonders if this man is truly the Prince of Darkness. The man casts a red flicker towards Kane, uncovering his
Oh, I
sights.
get back a
He
free
begins
torch, do
approaching
I?
Kane, so he draws his sword, but the prince immediately gets on his knees and apologizes, saying he will serve as the chosen one's underling. He goes on to say that he will gladly form a summoning contract with Kane, and even destroy an entire nation with the Demon's Clan if he so desires. Kane tells him that the only thing he wants to destroy is his mommy milkers, and he won't be needing an entire demon clan for it. The Prince of Darkness finds that admirable, and introduces himself as Seth, saying he gladly agrees to be summoned by the Chosen One at any time. Kane is glad to hear his submission, but begs him to stop calling him the Chosen One. After hearing those words, the Prince of Darkness is shocked by Cain's humbleness and promises that he will destroy a nation at Cain's command. After he left, Grat wonders if he just heard the name Prince of Darkness, but Cain says he was too powerful so he couldn't form a contract. They decide to just go along with that story, and Cain is glad that he covered it up, but he was back at the fucking king's room for the 69th time. The king told Cain that he was tired of having to roast him every episode, so he just asks him what he summoned at school today. Cain reveals that he summoned a demon, but the king tells him he was born at night, not last night, so he tells him to say the truth already. Cain confesses it was the Prince of Darkness, and the entire room panics. The king knows he wouldn't just send him back, so Cain explains that he also formed a contract with him. All of them get a heart attack, and the king can't believe that Cain's ugly ass was blessed with the power to destroy an entire nation, along with his daughter. Cain apologizes because it's not his fault his daughter calls him daddy instead of her actual father.
Dude, that's cold.
So he wonders how he's allowed to talk to the king this way. The king thinks that Cain's training with the first king has made him much more disrespectful, so he asks Cain to show his insane status window. He tells Grat that he's going to find out who the real top G of the nation is, so he'll be executed if he spreads this secret. After he opens his status, all of them scream in shock. He's gained demigod title, and his status has become immeasurable. Grat bows down and promises to roast the king along with him. But Cain says he can handle the ugly king alone. All of them
yeah, that's just so I'm not tempted to come back for it.
And the king is afraid because he has the power to destroy the entire world. Cain tells them to relax already, and wishes for them to treat him as they always have. The king agrees to continue treating him like shit, but thinks that with this status, he might hand him the entire kingdom if he wished it. After his blood pressure had skyrocketed, he tells Grat that this is the reason he allows Cain to roast him.
We're back home to the main area. How much more space do I have? Enough. Cool.
A man who cannot protect a single house or a single town can't hope to protect an entire nation. Sylvia finds out about the news and congratulates him, saying she will finally give him the best-made milkers he's been wanting. Cain tells her to shut the fuck up already because that joke is getting old. But Sylvia tells him she's going to give him her milkers whether he likes it or not. The butler comes in to stop the madness and informs him that
a new area, you say?
By the forest of monsters. Inside the town, all the residents
it is a new area.
So Cain goes to meet with Jim. His brother explains how the number of monsters in the forest.
Okay, I'm not getting gloom good.
Some of them are even too powerful.
I'll do that though, just for good measure.
Their power is beginning to resemble the
Ow.
that attacked their city a decade ago. So
I got my hopes up there for a sec.
But they were unable to confirm whether it's an onslaught.
Looks like I really did clear this mine shaft out. God damn.
They can't send knights on a massive scale, so they're trying to handle it carefully. After learning all of this, Cain volunteers to head into the forest. But Jin thinks he's too young to be doing this.
Yeah, I managed to get this all lit up with only 2 torches. That's pretty impressive, I would say.
That he defeated a red dragon alone. Jin is glad that he has such a powerful brother, so he asks him to help him out in this investigation. But Cain says he will be visiting the Adventurers Guild to see what they think first. Inside the guild, the new receptionist...
Nope, I have no space left for any wood. I am completely maxed out. What the hell?
Sorry, wrong show. Rudy, fuck wrong show again. How do I keep fucking this up? Rudy apologizes for the new rookie's rudeness and welcomes him back, wondering what brings him here today. His brother had informed him that the forest is under trouble, and she tells him that
God, I hear cave spiders, dude.
Severe injuries after venturing inside. Millie and Mina come inside, and Cain is glad to see them again. By them, I mean those two. He wonders what brings them here, and never fails to keep eye contact. Nina says they were called by the guild to create a strong party that will infiltrate the forest. Cain pretends to be sad so he can get a better angle, and Millie says that her brother and his wife will be joining him soon. Cain tells Rudy that he's going to investigate the forest alone, but Rudy begs him to bring someone along with him, so he tells her that he definitely has some companions. Inside the forest, he summons his 2 pets who begin licking him, but they remember that they are actually Tsunderias, and Cain feels an ominous presence surrounding him. His search ability fails, and as he slays monsters, he continues feeling that something is watching all of his moves. He decides to summon the Prince of Darkness, and Seth gets on his knees to serve his master. Cain asks Seth if he could investigate the forest, and asks him if he feels something weird about it. After feeling the air, Seth senses an overwhelming presence with a massive number of monsters surrounding him. Even though forests might have a lot of monsters, this is not normal, especially with how high level they are. To learn more, Seth asks Cain if he could summon a subordinate to help him out. After gaining his permission, Seth summons Dalmatia, and Alfred notices Cain standing behind him, shocked that Seth's formed a contract with the gods chosen. Alfred gets on his knees to serve him instead of Batman, but Cain tells them to just shut the f*** up with the references and investigate the forest already. Seth reveals that Dalmatia was one of the 4 heavenly kings and
Okay, we're getting
specializes in
close.
investigations. He promises to take care of it, and opens a pit of cockroaches to search the forest. Cain is afraid and begs him to close it, so Dalmatia releases them away from Cain. They help him locate the numerous monsters lurking around them.
Shit, I think we found it.
Taking them all down with a single strike. Dalmatia is shocked that this is the power of the gods chosen, and fears that he could have eliminated them in an instant. Cain teleports back to town, and Millie and Nina are shocked to see all
Is
the
that
aliens
good? Oh my god, yes, that is actually
They
good.
wonder where they found all those monsters.
Oh, it's just a normal dumbass spider. Okay, never mind. False alarm.
Dalmatia's insects have located something trying to intimidate them, saying don't come any closer. However, Seth won't allow anyone to intimidate him, so he asks Dalmatia if he's gone rusty. They're going to be infiltrating the enemy defense, and he tells Dalmatia to think of this as physical conditioning to keep his old muscles strong. As they begin reaching the source of the monsters,
Look at that, this is an area I haven't lit up yet.
releases all of the monsters to devour the
That's
humans.
certainly odd, I wasn't expecting that. I actually ended up using up all of my permatorches.
Seth teleports to Cain's location, saying that the onslaught of
So,
monsters
we're gonna
has
have to
begun.
sub them in
Cain
with
tells
something, I
Rudy to inform
suppose.
everyone, and tells Claude to assemble the adventurers so he can keep the monsters from going into town. Rudy says it's too dangerous for him to go out alone, but Cain says that he has friends that are stronger than A-rank adventurers. Seth is shocked that he's made his first friend in years, so he pledges to lay down his life to assist him.
Oh my
They begin
god.
running towards the forest, but Tafana
I found
appears
some
and jumps
rails.
towards
Hang
her
on.
husband, saying she was informed about the onslaught that's begun. Cain says he's on his way into the forest.
4
and
extra
before she's about to
rails,
follow him,
baby.
Cain tells her to stay and protect the town.
That's so strange, though. I thought for sure I'd gotten all of this already.
To protect her husband's
Oh.
home, and Cain runs off. As they ran
Oh, I
together,
missed this.
Seth wondered
Whoops.
why he wasn't teleporting. So Cain reveals
Yeah,
that
I'm not
no
gonna
one in
complain,
this
though, you know.
except him can teleport.
That's some good
So
eating
he
right
begs
there.
Seth to show some restraint.
Even if I don't light this up,
Dalmatia is
being able to get all this
single-handedly
shit
destroying all
done
the dragons
is like the
with
main
him, and
goal.
when one of them flanks him, a giant
As long as I don't lose any
flame
redstone
Cain
blocks, I'll be
casts
fine.
multiple infernos to destroy the monsters beneath
Little
him, and feels the
asshole.
overwhelming presence coming from the center of the forest.
Rails.
Aaron says he's waiting for the followers of the old geezers, and says that the game has already begun. The
Found a
monsters
new
continue
area.
rampaging the forest,
I'm not gonna
but
mind the
Seth
coal, it's
promised
just a
Cain that
waste.
He will take care of him while he faced off against their leader. He told Cain that he will summon his underling, but couldn't promise that the forest would remain intact. So Cain told him to be careful and to not take it too far. However, Seth told him that he should be the one being careful, and Cain smiled before flying off. The earth began quaking, and the army was struggling to protect all of the
Yes,
people
I have an
living
even
inside
number.
the town's
Wait a
walls.
second, this was
Using her
like
search
right where I
ability,
fucking
Nina noticed a
spawned
large
in.
number of monsters approaching.
What?
So Millie began running towards the forest, saying that she wanted
I don't
to
have
do
enough space in my
everything
inventory
power
regardless, we have to go back up.
Nina
That's
began
funny, I
running
have
after her. So
fucking,
Claude
I have
and
extra
Seth
space.
started
Okay, I'm
chasing,
fixing this,
and
dude.
together
I don't know why I
they set
didn't
off
do
to
this from
help
the
Cain.
start, but
While
whatever.
battling the monsters, Seth summoned his loyal subjects, and they wondered why he would summon the 4 heavenly kings, but noticed the ongoing chaos. Seth reveals that his only friend in life has requested for his help, and the kings are shocked to hear that Seth has managed to make a friend. Dalmatia says he was just as shocked to hear how Seth's loser ass managed to create a friend, and he went on to reveal that Seth had created a contract with him, shocking the 4 kings. They wonder how a person could possess so much power in order to form a contract with the
I'll
Prince of
remember where it
Darkness.
is. It's a
So
pretty
Dalmatia
easy one to
revealed that
fix.
the man is
Or
the great
find, I
one,
guess.
the one who is God's chosen.
Yes, and I have an odd number of fucking rails. Wait, no, that's bad.
So they all rush in to
Ah,
assist him
poo.
fighting off the monsters. Meanwhile,
Oh well,
flies
we're
around
good.
while casting his
Found my way
incredible
back
ring
pretty
fire
easily, I
onto the
guess.
battlefield. The fire torpedoes begin annihilating all of the enemies, but a large purple blast shoots
31
towards them
bars.
and
God
narrowly
damn,
evades.
dude.
Second stream
That's
is
a
off,
lot of
but Cain
bars.
manages to cast Inferno to block it off. Once it's settled,
Holy
he
shit,
finally sees
dude.
the Black Dragon and realizes that it's
Oh
Aaron,
my
the former
god.
god of immunity.
We have enough to go back home, baby.
Saying it's a shame
We're
that
going
he
home,
borrow
yes.
the bodies
I'll save that for the
of
next
the
episode,
cast
though. It's
his
like 2 in the
magical
morning.
powers
I'm going to
to
bed.
more monsters towards the city. All of this is a game.
Damn,
The
dude.
monsters would be able to devour all the humans. and wonders how long his friends
quite a
will be able
bit.
to survive. On the other side of the forest, Claude notices the people floating in the air, but his wife tells him
We'll
to
go
stop
ahead and
going.
collect the rest of
She
our
tells
food
her
and
the
we'll
only thing
leave.
funnier than this
We have
joke
to
is
go
going
back to our
be
base to get
when
more
Kate's
food.
on
I don't have a
top.
choice.
But all of them see the people floating in the sky. They realize that they must be on their side, and Nina thinks they're likely Kane's overpowered friends. The four heavenly kings begin getting overwhelmed, but Seth tells them to continue battling so they could make the fight easier for the humans. Nina casts her search ability, and notices that they're about to be surrounded, so Millie rushes forward with her brother to fight off the oncoming beasts. Kane faces off against Aaron, and the god of amusement finds it infuriating how his eyes are the same as the people who sealed him. The lingering regret of him being sealed had made him want to cause Kane to suffer for years, but decides that he will just end him at this moment, so he casts his dragon breath towards him. Kane narrowly evades, and notices the power of his attack and how it turned all the cockroaches into sushi by just touching him. Aaron casts his breath once more, but as the flames begin to chase after him, Kane leaps backwards and casts his infernal spell towards the
Nice,
dragon. The
32.
flames, however, don't leave a
That's
single
so
scratch on
broken,
the earth,
dude.
and he says that such weak magic isn't going
Not
to
as
affect
broken
him.
as this
Meanwhile,
mob grinder.
Kane's friends
God
begin to be
damn.
overwhelmed by all the
6
forces.
venom sacs.
However,
Impressive,
Claude is
impressive.
excited because he's going to cheat on his
Not
wife
bad.
and
I
Millie can't
salute
wait
you,
until she can
tower.
finally
You are
give Kane the
amazing.
milkers.
Stop it.
Well, we have the drops now, so we're good to go there. Yep, that's 11 drops. It's quite a bit. That means I have 19.
Aaron's tail whip sends Haku falling unconscious and prepares a lethal attack.
And almost 4 stacks of iron, too. Oh, yeah.
And Claude gets
Almost
held
forgot.
at a standstill along with Millie. Just after Nina managed to eliminate, a giant beast appeared and was ready to devour Claude.
Put the
However,
minecart in there and then we'll
Iron
be all
spear
good.
through its head. Fauna appeared to save Millie. She told them that reinforcements are here, and from this point on, he will be defending the front line. Claude thanks
Thank you,
him.
Crucible. I'm so happy I brought you here. Worth it. Every second. Same goes for our contraption. I salute you. Beautiful. I am so happy I brought that damn Crucible. I would have been so mad not having access to being able to, like, smelt down my iron. It would just take up a bunch of space.
Saying that they're his friends that he'll protect, because if you love someone,
Ayo. Look at that.
this sentiment could never be annoying.
Alright, well, I'll see y'all tomorrow. But, wait.
Because the only thing he wants is
Before
for
I go
everyone to be
anywhere,
able to
I'm gonna
stop.
make a new
It
axe.
activates his overload ability. Aaron recognizes this light is the same one from before.
So my axe is
Anyone
kind of,
mentions the same
it's kind of
software with
damaged.
The sole wish of protecting everyone. Their blasts hold each other off, but Kane screams with all of his might, and his magical powers begin to overwhelm Aaron. The light emanates as it ascends to the heavens, and Kane says that he's going to protect all of their smiles, and begs his mom and dad to give him more power. Haku and Jin bite him to stop his attack, and Seth and Dalmatia think it's awful how he's acting. They wonder if it was really necessary for him to destroy an entire mile of fertile earth, but Kane thinks that he was just trying to destroy the Black Dragon. They ask him where he sees a black dragon, and they tell him to quit being stupid, because the monsters...
Okay, now I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay, booba. Successful day. Very successful. Before I leave, how much iron do I have exactly?
Here in this world,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5, almost 8.5 stacks of iron, dude. This is more iron than I have at my base. Like, what the fuck? This is more resources than I have at my base, actually. I think this base has managed to overtake the other one. Sadly, I cannot leave all this stuff here. I have to take it back home with me at some point. So, you know. Okay, bye.